Gotta do this. Look at my ceiling. Till I get my ring light. Hi! Oh my god, hi, Clover! How you doing, Clover? Yeah, I just got back from a con. I had so much fun. And now I'm just resting for... I forgot them. I'm good. I just got back from a con. Oh my god, that was so much fun. That was so much fun. I got so many things from the con. It's just a character hangout for as long as I want to be in this again. As long as I want to be in this. Why was that? I like that one. I like that one. Because it had some hearts in it. I like that one. So I got a few things from the con. Well, my mom... Oh, sorry. My mom got me this print because it looked familiar. Hi! Hi, Luigi Peroni. Hold on, let me take it out of the plastic. This one, my mom said that it looked a lot like me. Because if you look at it, the color scheme, but it's not me. It's not me. It's just, it's someone else from a fandom, from another fandom, but my mom bought me this. And then I got two other things from the con. This one was a really small print, but it's Leafeon. It's Leafeon! And another thing I got Pokemon themed was this pin right Oh. Get out of my... This pen right here. This... If I could zoom in. I bet I could. Yeah, I could. Which was this Leafeon. This Sylveon. I was correct on that, on the name at first, but I kept getting tongue-tied. Hello? Oh my god! What the heck is wrong with me? I don't know. I'm sorry if you're tilting back and forth. I swear I'm sorry. It's just my ring light is finicky. And then I got a big print. I got a big print too. A $15 print. And I got my non-binary. Yeah, I know. I kept trying to zoom out and I kept zooming in. And I kept zooming in. I was trying to zoom out, but I kept zooming in on my face. I'm so sorry. I know how to zoom in and out. I know how to zoom in and out. And I just kept zooming in. Oh my god. But I got another print to show you guys. And I got this one because of the saying. Here it is. And yeah, I got it because of the saying. I was in the costume contest, but I ended up not winning. But I won last year. I was the returning champion. I was one of the returning champions from last year. Which one? The last one?
Hello, beautiful. Today we're watching people color their hair green. Yes.
Which one? I showed 3. The last one?
Fully on my head before. Green all around.
Was it the last one that I showed you? The one with you're exactly where you need to be?
Let's see if we can.
Alright.
Today's video.
Yeah, I
We are going green today.
I didn't get this because of the character. I just got it because of the saying.
Really dark brown.
You're exactly where you need to be.
Her hair has been bleached and bleached and bleached and colored and colored and colored.
If you hear music in the background, I'm gonna be turning something on to watch in the background. Yeah, from a podcast, but it's something from a podcast. It's a character from a podcast. I can't remember what they said. That's when they said, but that one was really nice because of the saying. I think I might put it here. I think I might put it here. Even though it might be in the back, it might be hidden. And for whenever I move over this way, hold on first. I need to figure out if it will fit. Just need to see if it. Oh yep, it will fit. It will fit. Yep, it will fit. I just need to find thumbtacks to hang it up. I just need to figure out I just need to figure out the just the way I'm gonna put those on, put the prints I got today on the wall. And last year when I went to PopCon, my first time going to PopCon, this was my second year of going.
Oh,
Welcome to Warby
I
Parker.
just need to find the sweatshirt,
Mr. Beast,
the jacket with it on.
and Logan Paul, life has been a fucking movie for them lately. And it is all
What
thanks
goes
to
over?
their brand new product they
Where the
just
heck
dropped
is it?
called Luxury.
Oh, it's over there. Okay, I'll be right back. Just gotta hide myself.
And in case you're wondering if this product was a success,
I'm still here, Clover. I'm still here.
Alright people, what's up? I think that Mr. Beast has a serious
I'm still here, Clover.
Lunchables, we all know it and most of us hate it. Lunchables has been a favorite amongst little ass kids when they go to lunch and they have absolutely nothing in the fridge to eat. So their obese fucking parents send them to school eating some fucking nachos and salsa, which mind you has countless ingredients and is very unhealthy. Mr. Beast on the other hand had the grand idea to work
Alright, I'm back.
KSI and Logan Paul.
I'm just getting my jacket with my other pin on it that I got last,
Healthy, which, by the way, it's not
which
that
was
healthy.
the one that you saw many times, Clover, because you saw this pin in real life. My lesbian moth pin. If I cannot, I'm just gonna turn the
This was how their product launch went.
here. There we go.
oh my gosh.
I just had to turn my ring light off so that I could show you. You, Clover, you might have seen this in real life when I was in
Video quality is
Amberine.
so fucking bad. Like, why
And I was
did
in
they
my-
put on a live stream
my
on
Therian.
Instagram? Bro, my PlayStation
My
2
char-
has better
my-
graphics than this Instagram
my
live
werewolf
stream. Also,
Amberine.
not even to mention the quality of the live stream itself. What is this acting in the video?
Uh-oh,
Is this
Clover!
minute and improv
Clover, don't be so hard on yourself, Clover.
Usually, if you intend to
Oh my God, Clover, don't be so hard on yourself.
with an improv
I know it's a big responsibility, but
whatever the fuck you did.
I know it's a big responsibility, but I believe in you. You can do it, Clover. Okay, I'm gonna take the pins off so that I can put them on here. I think I can put them on the other side now because there's if I want to wear this with my corset belt, if I want to wear this with my corset belt, I need to have more pins on the other side. I think I might move. Clover! Clover! If you have an aloe plant, you might want to try it today, Clover. I think you might want to try today, Clover.
Instagram live stream was the best idea you could do. This live stream is so low quality and so compressed that the audio is deteriorating in real time. All I hear is, yeah, Lunchables is a thing.
I have to keep adjusting this
What
arm
the
piece
fuck are you saying?
because it keeps rotating.
Audience, do you know who the fuck that is? They literally brought the Rizzler on their Instagram live stream to promote Lunchables.
I might
Obviously, they
go to the
decided
park
to
with
get the
Glacier.
Rizzler in the video because it was a younger kid.
'Cause
So of course that is going to resonate
she's a
with the younger
character
audience
that resonates
is
with me.
Logan Paul and KSI. Because after all, they're trying to target kids for this shitty product.
My mom wants me to go pro.
They're trying to sell this
My mom wants me to go pro, to be a pro cosplayer. My mom wants me to be a professional cosplayer because of how much I'm dressing up. Because my mom says I have a talent that I should go for it.
Sorry, ladies, I have to wash down my Feastables with my prime. Like, really?
You might be able to get a picture with with Glacier today, Clover.
This is the worst product launch I've ever seen in my life. Also,
Wow, we are having a massive conversation in this live.
they did.
But anyway, I'm gonna get the pins off of here to put them on my jacket. I think I might move my lesbian moth pin to the other side so that I can have my
230 calories. Is that it?
My-
The USDA standard for a kid's lunch should be
my
around,
mo-
like
my heart pins on this
660
side,
calories. So that means
and
the average kid needs to have
my
almost
circular
3
and my
portions of that fucking Lunchly to achieve the USDA standard for the
And
proper
my
lunch for a kid.
Kitsune Con
Which, if you
badge.
Also do the math, ladies and gentlemen. That's gonna make you fucking overdose on sodium. So pick your poison, audience. Do you want to underconsume calories, or do you want to overdose on sodium? Your choice.
21 grams of sugar, only 7 grams.
Again, if you go by the USDA standard of how much a kid should eat for lunch, you would be consuming the same amount of sugar as Lunchables.
I got crumble cookie and I should be eating them.
You can already tell which one has better ingredients. Alright, we'll start off with the Lunchable.
Holy shit, ladies and gentlemen, Logan Paul is shitting on Lunchables in Lunchly.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Of course you're gonna say Lunchables is shit. It's a part of the ad. Of course you're gonna act like the Lunchable tastes like SpongeBob's crusty foot.
Alright, now we're trying Lunchable.
Don't mind the video in the background.
That sentence was the embodiment of tell me you're biased without
Yeah, don't mind the video in the
bias.
background. I'm just
I know,
watching
Logan, we're
this
doing a
for the fun of it.
Lunchables and Lunch League
Not for the fun of it,
comparison, where
just
you're
for
trying to promote your new
just
product
for
to
to have
new
something
people,
playing in the
and your
background.
target demographic is a bunch of kids, and you're trying to make a bunch of kids shift from Lunchables to Lunchly. Of course, you're gonna shit on what they think is better, because these little kids are gonna get insecure about their fucking Lunchable, and they're gonna
Yeah,
be like,
that
oh
works
my
better.
gosh,
That
maybe
works
I
good.
do have to wash down
So
my
now I'm gonna
vegetables
just
with
get
Prime, and they're gonna buy your
my
dog
muff
shit
pins,
instead.
my
Anyway,
my
since
heart
Mr.
pins
Beast,
on the
Logan
other side.
Paul and KSI did this launch of Lunchly. It pissed off pretty much everybody, and the main person at the front of this battle is Dan TDM. Yeah, like the guy that had the fucking science lab in Minecraft, that guy. The guy that made my fucking childhood, he quote tweeted the announcement from Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and KSI of Lunchly saying, "What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them." Yeah, so this got a
Might
lot of
see
views
Glacier
and a lot
for
of
Halloween,
favorites from
so I'm gonna
everybody
be
on
Glacier
X.
for Halloween this year.
post got so
Again,
much
for the second year in a
popularity
row.
that Logan Paul
I
and
think I've been
KSI
Glacier
both
for the
responded.
past few
Here's the
years
response
for
video
Halloween.
of Logan Paul reacting to KSI, reacting
Wow.
to the whole situation, and responding to Dan TDM.
You in labor? No. It's any second now.
Logan, did you actually impregnate that promiscuous ass woman? Do you know how many dudes she fucked?
What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money.
To be fair, I do understand why Logan is laughing. It is kind of like, holy shit, you're starting a business because you want to make money? What? This isn't even a drop the mic moment on Dan TDM. It's like, yeah.
If I'm
we're
not
starting a business
responding,
to make money,
just-
okay? Face
you
Rug
can
was
still
making
talk
some
in the chat.
sugary-ass desserts for his audience. Same thing for Ryan. He was also making sugary-ass desserts for kids. Now, what makes it wrong if Logan Paul and KSI does it? It's because everybody's fucking
See why friends tell friends about our OBGYNs. Aurora Baycare Medical Center.
But I might just leave the sword at home. I don't want to lose it. And I don't want to get in trouble for having it out.
What do you subscribe to?
I subscribe to True Love. I subscribe to Bad Behavior.
I subscribe to Monty. And him.
I subscribe to all the channels I love in one app.
I subscribe to this moment.
This feeling. This family.
This family.
This family.
Whatever family I choose.
There we go. Now my this one's not
And what are you doing?
not straight. Okay, I got it.
Now, Logan Paul likes to scam his fans. As for KSI, honestly, I don't even know what KSI did. But to summarize this product's launch, it's behind a bunch of people that are not very liked right now. And that's why it's failing. Simple.
Anything that time. Do better. Do better.
That's exactly how I interpreted it as well.
There.
Let me put this in the context of
Now.
being a who's angry.
He does
All
look like
four of my
Smeagol, not
pins
gonna lie. I'm just
are
kidding,
now
Dan.
all
You
four
were
of my
my
mock pins
childhood.
are
I
there.
love you. Well,
Then we made this. Crackers, bro? You mad? We make crackers? This is what you're mad about?
Bruh.
It's not that Dan is mad that y'all are making crackers, nachos, and fucking pizza. It's the idea that you're trying to sell processed dog shit to a bunch of kids acting like it's healthy. And Logan can easily say, well, motherfucker, our shit uses real cheese. Okay, cool. One real ingredient out of everything. And again, if we add up the portion sizes to an actual meal for a kid to eat, you would be hitting almost the same numbers as Lunchables. So, yes, it is a step in the
I
right
have the
direction to make
one,
healthier
the
food for
one
kids, but you
lesbian
are
moth
falling
pin
short of
that
hitting the
that
mark,
you
if
saw
that makes sense.
multiple
It's a
times.
turkey, real cheese, and crackers.
This one.
stack. And by the way, it's great. I mean, yes, we
This
made
one.
nachos as
Finally,
well.
I can show it without the glare.
People get mad about nachos. That's
My
okay. Oh, and the
pronouns.
pizza. It's literally called the
I have
pizza.
two other
Same thing.
pronouns, but
Mad about pizza?
don't mind if it looks like a.
Because you're trying to glorify it like
But
it's the second coming of
those
Jesus
are my
Christ.
pronouns
For
right
example,
here.
take a look at
She,
your
they.
website, like, what the
But
fuck
I
is
have
this
two
fun
other
fact
ones.
chart? Lunchily, big gestures in the leading
The other
brand
ones.
Lunchables mid-moments. Bro, what
She
the fuck
and
are
them.
the big
She, them.
gestures about your food?
And
You made a
I got
rip-off
my
of the pizza, the nachos,
non-binary
and the
flag
ham
pin.
sandwich. You're not
My
doing no big
non-binary
gestures, motherfucker.
moth pin.
7,000 favorites because we made pizza and crackers
My
and nachos.
Sylveon pin.
Ryan Trayvon, really sweet. Where was the same energy when FaZe Rose? Really sweet.
My
Hey, that's true. I don't remember anyone having a problem with Ryan or Rug when they released their candy. Just funny how that works.
My
But hey, you're a piece of shit. You took money from your fans, so
I'm not seeing people going crazy.
My,
you know what I'm saying, on-
KitchenAid
you know
Con
why?
badge
Because people
that I got
just hate
from this year's KitchenAid
That's it.
Con.
People just hate us. And I've come to realize now,
Both my
don't
protest
hate
sign,
you, it's
my
just feelings of
protest
own inadequacy. You're
bat
dissatisfied with your
pins.
life, You're unhappy. You're angry because your wife left you.
My
Or you're
Pinkie
freaking white
Pie
and
badge,
with
my
every
Pinkie Pie
on
pin,
the street.
You suck. You might as well go hang on the
and
crackers.
my
When it comes to Twitter, Twitter is just a cesspool.
My
of the
prep
most
pin.
depressed people on this
So
earth.
Hey, that is
basically
so
on
true.
this
Twitter
on this
sucks.
one,
I'm not kidding.
I have used Clover.
I
Clover,
reactivated
you
Twitter
saw
because
the
I
ones that were on this side, including the lesbian one, multiple times in real life.
And 95% calling JJ a corporate setup.
This confuses me. I remember a time when like success and dreams used to be celebrated, and now it's like, and this was my response to Dan TD.
So on this sweatshirt, I have 9. On this jacket, I have 9 pins. I have 9 pins on this jacket.
Seeing a headline, it is met with hate, resistance, disgust.
Before I had my
And the people that think
my
they know about it
KitchenAid
still
Con
don't know.
badge
I went to war with community notes
on-
X's
on
regulatory
this
body of truth,
piece.
but they lie.
So
The
that-
whole system is
so
governed
then
by
I
it, because
moved-
community notes is just it's exactly
Then I
that. It's a
moved,
community of contributors
contributing what their point of view is, not the truth. Their point of view.
On
And if
my,
their point of view gets enough votes, it gets marked on the tweet. But that's crazy to me because if you're a polarizing person
On
like
my,
me, because the contributors, by the way, who are not my fans, these are people who sit online all day. They don't go outside. They don't smell the grass. Sit at the computer all day. They'll
On
come up
my,
with something that fits their narrative or might make
jacket.
the tweet look bad. So
That was
they
what I
can
was
racial you.
trying to
Oh
look
my
for.
God.
Jacket.
Okay, so to put a little bit more of what this band is saying into English,
Like I said,
Paul is
I'm
saying
gonna
that, and
probably go to-
absolutely everybody
probably gonna
has
get
been
off
shit on his new product.
later
Then
to go to the
proceeds
park.
to agree with KSI that, yeah, Twitter
And also to charge my phone.
fucking losers. They're always inside all day talking.
I wasn't on it all day,
Wild
but
TDM only made this one tweet and hasn't said anything else about the situation. And JJ's having a fucking meltdown.
if I can
But
find
Logan
more
still
of my
agreed with
my
KSI. Yeah, they're fucking losers.
of
All they
my,
do is talk shit. Yeah, okay, Logan.
I got
thumbtacks.
so hard. So
I
many
might
people.
hang
People are
my-
making, like, a thing out of it. I think I saw like 4 tweets from like small accounts. that
My
were like,
prints
I wanna
up
raise
on
your
my
little
wall.
book. Can you guys help me?
In-
123,000 favorites. I favorited it too, to be honest. Just
in this
'cause that's
area.
hilarious. Like these people will go through life, and that'll be their greatest accomplishment. And if I can help,
I
with
just
that,
need to
I'm
find
so
more
happy.
Thank you,
more
Logan. You're such a
thumbtacks.
saint. I'll have a cheers to
I just
that
need to
with
find more
3
thumbtacks.
Pizza Lunchleys. Well over 1,200 milligrams of sodium, by the way.
But yeah, community notes lies. I had a sports MD doctor on one of my tweets. Lie.
Yeah.
But I'm like, bro, it's not sodium. It's the
Yeah,
400
later on.
electrolytes that we mentioned in the drink.
All right.
Correctables are
All right,
gross.
Clover. See you later.
How you can't read?
Probably have Glacier.
Okay, but you also have to consider sodium,
Probably have
like
Glacier.
potassium, and inside of your drink? I hate to sound like the fucking nerd emoji,
But I'm
but it's
leaving
actually 405 milligrams of
this at home because I don't want to lose it, and I don't want to get in trouble for having it with
It's about being transparent
with
and honest.
one.
Like if you want to look at the whole profile of the entire nutrition
Take care of yourself too, Clover, and take care of that aloe plant.
Instead of just a number that is thrown at you,
Take care of that aloe plant.
consider the potassium and the sodium for the proper amount of electrolytes. If you and your team can't do 400 plus 5, then you all are fucking stupid. Which also makes me wonder what else you guys fucked up.
The drink in Lunchley has 400 milligrams of electrolytes. We're not making that up. And then I'm fighting with
think I
community
got it on
notes.
my
They're like,
sheet.
no, it doesn't. It has this many, is it? And then I corrected them, and I'm like, actually, the Prime in Lunchley is exclusive to Lunchley and has 400 milligrams.
I
of
believe in you,
electrolytes.
Clover.
And
I believe
they
in you.
still just plastered their lie. I can't believe it.
This dude refuses to believe that he made a mistake in his mind. Bro, if you have doctor
I should probably eat my
nutritionist
crumble
after
cookies before they get
nutritionist
stamped.
telling you this shit
Whoops.
is not 400 milligrams of electrolytes. Maybe it's not 400 milligrams of electrolytes. Logan, do not ever dip your feet in being a nutritionist ever again. You're
Actually,
doing
I'm
a
gonna
much better job taking
turn
care
this video off and find a new one. Find another one to listen to. Oh, hi, Nightcat! Oh, hi, Nightcat! Oh, hi, Nightcat. My mom is watching Ryan.
No, don't worry. The visuals aren't melting.
How are you, Nightcat? Just trying to find a video to watch. If I'm not responding to you, doesn't mean I'm ignoring you. Might be a good idea to leave the sword at home, but... Oh my god! Crazy Kid just uploaded! Okay, I'm watching this... Come on. Why are you not working? There. I don't know why... Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I just got home from a con not that long ago.
When your back is turned.
And I got a bunch of things from the con.
Every tree has sprouted from a nightmare that seems
I got 3 pins and 3 prints.
twisting around every root, making its
The
way
3
into
the 3 pins I got were I can't remember
Behold
which
every
side now
ounce
I
of fear
put them on.
and dread.
Right, the other side.
But where one sees terror, we
These
see.
shoot.
Trust me when I
These-
say there's more to
these
such
3 right here.
darkness than meets
You
the
saw
sun.
this one night. You saw this one in real life tonight.
Nightmare sight.
But these
Do
3,
you have the courage to follow us into the
these
darkest
3
of rooms?
are new. But those 3 are new.
We shall see.
And about the prince,
Every shadow casts a secret. Every stone
about the
moves
prince,
when your back is turned.
I got these 3 prints. My mom bought me this one.
Nightmare that seeps deep into the ground.
My mom bought me this
Coiling
one.
and twisting around every
But
root,
then I
making
bought
its way
these
to
2.
the surface. Here we hold
Alright,
every ounce
welcome
of
back,
fear
Clover.
and dread.
Welcome back.
But where one sees terror, we see home. Trust me when I say there's more to such darkness than
So I got
meets the
6
sun.
6 things from the con.
There's more to this nightmare sight. Do you have the courage to follow
Well,
us?
if I go to the park today, as Glacier, I'm right now in this cosplay, I might leave the cosplay home. Not the cosplay, the sword home. The sword home. I meant to say the sword. Alright.
Three massive ongoing projects.
Oh my god.
I was feeling
I just saw
burnt
what
out
you...
about it. need
I
a
saw
nice,
what you
relaxing
put.
break. And for some reason, my brain has decided that comes in the form of a super tight
Wait,
time challenge.
since I'm the owner, I can show it. I can show it. There we go.
Out here, I think that there's something to be said about something really
Come on.
quick and fun for that sweet, sweet instant gratification. So,
Come on, as a moderator. Show it, okay?
okay?
Just show it, moderator. I'm not trying to be mean, but
I do cosplay, crafting, and other
I like
weird
it.
whimsical stuff,
I like
and
it,
am
I like it.
making Hornet,
Why am I
Fortnite, and
saying
Silksong.
that?
But
I
I've got
don't
3
know.
days to complete this, so let's jump.
Oh, speaking about cookies. Speaking about cookies. I got cookies.
The new iPhone 17 Pro
I
is
got
finally
cookies
here.
from Grandma.
With US Cellular, it's easier than ever to get it on us with no trade-in.
Wow, the new iPhone 17 Pro is brilliant.
It even has the ultimate pro camera system.
And the secret menu item for this week was this one.
Thanks for writing.
No, thank you. Get the new iPhone 17 Pro
Was,
from us with no trade-in, and we'll pay off your current contract when you
the
switch. US Cellular, now part
the
of T-Mobile.
trying to block the sun from it.
Ongoing projects, and I was
This one with the
feeling
buttermilk
burnt out about it. I
cookie.
need a nice,
This was the
relaxing
buttermilk
break,
pancake
and
cookie.
For some reason, my brain has decided that
And this was the secret menu item. This was the secret menu.
I know it seems a little silly, a little counterintuitive.
Okay, since I
but
got
hear
it,
me out
since I
here,
got it in my
I
hand,
think that there's
I wanna try it.
something to be said about something really quick and fun for that sweet, sweet instant gratification. So I put some ideas out to my Patreon supporters, and they
That one's good.
Hello, I'm Miss Twisted. You guys can call me Charlotte. I do cosplay, crafting, and other.
I didn't mean to
whimsical
speak
stuff,
with
and
my
I'm
mouth full,
making
but
Hornet,
this
and
is so
Silksong.
good.
I've got 3 days to complete this, so let's jump straight.
But it's the
into it.
buttermilk.
Hornet's design is pretty simple and striking. It's basically a red lampshade with
Yum.
a streaky mask, peak character design. For me, that's gonna mean a red skirt.
You're
and
making me
a
jealous.
coat of some sort with some kind of cosplay magic to keep the
Why,
hairline
Clover?
off
We gonna have
and a
cookies?
nice dramatic color. The mask is gonna be some kind of
Oh my god.
I'm debating putting like wood grain texture into it just for some dimension. I'll figure that part out later. Hornet's trusty weapon needle, pretty straightforward, more foam, but I really want to add the thread that's tied to needle in the games. I don't know yet if that will work. That is a problem for future Charlotte. Jumping into it with the fabric, I've got these 2 cotton linen blends. They are so soft, they are dreamy, they're going to be breathable, they are perfect.
I got scared of a motorcycle noise outside.
I don't want to use both. It's just this one is too bright a red, and this one's more of that like purpley winey color, which means it's time to dye. I didn't think that through, but I'm not mad about this lovely new sash. Anyway, this one's getting thrown in with some wine-colored dye. My hope is
You wanna know
just
who I'm
going
watching,
into
Clover?
red, and this one's gonna be in a pot of scarlet soup. I know that the dye is not necessarily going to make it
Look
lighter, but it
who
might
I
take that
am
purpley tone.
watching.
Long story
Look
short,
who I'm
my
watching.
aim is to get these colors to kind of meet somewhere in the middle, I guess. To the kitchen. So
Miss
much.
Twisted.
Not boiling water. What with the
I'm
wine
watching
color,
Miss
what with the
Twisted.
scarlet. Alright, both of these are getting a little bit.
I just heard.
as well.
It's time to
I
die.
always suggest adding salt. I guess it helps it. No, I almost got lost in the soup. Also gonna check. Oh, I've already dripped.
Yeah, if I can find more thumbtacks.
30 seconds flat. Guys, the fact
Oh,
that
I don't
my
wanna get
entire
these messy.
house is not covered in stains.
I'm gonna hang
It is
these
quite frankly a miracle.
these-
And I think I've just
these
realized
3
this
prints
is
up
not going to be big enough for
on
the
my
Scarlet
wall.
knife butt, and I don't really want to cut it yet because I don't know when I'm going to cut it. I didn't think this through. We're not off to a good start here, guys. Am I going to try it anyway?
Shoot.
Yes, I am. Also, this is not usually
Go for
how
it,
you dye
Knight.
fabric.
Go for it,
You want
Knight.
enough room for it to move around, and you want to wet the fabric first to make sure the dye is really evenly soaked into the fabric.
Okay.
I don't really care about
Okay,
it
Clover. I don't mind that.
so
I
it's
don't
just
mind.
going straight in
This
there
is just a
with some
casual
stuff.
hangout.
Punched up? You know what I mean. Okay, round
This is a casual hangout.
So they're still soaking on the stove, but what I did was take some scissors.
If you
and
do,
snip the
promise
color
me
off.
you'll take care of that
I
aloe
want to
plant.
do a little quick dry so that I
The
can see
aloe
how
plant.
the color's turning out. This is basically this bright red linen with that wine-colored dye on it. That
If
is
you
a
don't, you won't
beautiful
see Glacier
rich dark
today.
red now.
You
The
won't
winey-colored
see.
fabric has had like a slightly more subtle change, but it has
As long
less of that
as you
darker
give
red
it back.
shade and less of the
And I'm
fabric.
not done reading the
So
first book,
basically exactly
so.
what I wanted. So my thoughts are the slightly lighter weight fabric, the press part.
I dropped the prince.
It's not going to keep you like super warm like a wool cloak.
I dropped my prince. No.
Just had no
I dropped the prince. No.
I'm so happy I have.
If you're wondering how far I am in the first book,
This is a pure wool cloak. It's an ivory one. I made it for a wedding.
if you're wondering how far I am in the first book, I'm like right there in the first book. I'm not even done with it.
Are you guys thinking what
I'm not even done with the second book. I'm not even done with the first book. And I'm not even done. I'm not even on to the second.
So basically wools and silks. And I've combined the
almost
leftover
lost my-
scarlet and wine dye in here, so it should give me a dark red.
I
on
know,
the
but I'm in a
walls.
really
Maybe
sad
that
spot
fabric's
in the
always
book,
a little bit of a
which
gamble.
I couldn't.
That's just part of the fun. And if you thought I was pushing my luck with the red fabrics, the size of this cloak, trying to shove
I
it
know,
into this tiny pot, this was a
but
recipe for disaster. Okay, these
I'm like
have been
right after Aladora died.
to dry. But can you see on this one here how there's a lot of that like uneven tie-dye kind of
So
effect? That is exactly
I have
because I'm trying to squeeze way too much fabric into those little pots.
I
So
have
that all of that dye
a
is
really
like
fragile
fully
heart right now
smashed and folded areas.
because
But not gonna lie, it kinda slaps.
last
I
year
just kinda think it adds a
in
cool texture. And if I'm
April,
honest, I
my
totally
grandfather
expect the same
died.
thing with the wool cloak because over ambitious doesn't quite cut
And
it. I
then
needed, like, twice
in
the size of
2019,
pot for these.
my dad
Okay,
died.
while that fabric is
So
drying, we've got to get a wriggle on, so I'm moving straight onto the mask.
I didn't spoil it.
I have a rough idea on how I'm going to cut this out of foam. I have made this Kindred mask before. This was one of my.
I got my
Patreon
pins.
requests.
Got my
This one is also up on Patreon. But
I got my
that
prints off
general
the
face
off
shape
from the
towards
off the
bottom
floor
is not too far off
because
what
they
I
were on the
wanted.
edge of my bed, and I knew they were gonna
Just
fall
give me a solid base.
at some
Now,
point.
even on my bigger projects, I'm not usually a
I know.
measurements kind of guy. I'm
It's
more of
hard,
a
but
vibes-based cosplayer. So of course, there's no plan.
it's hard.
I'm just cutting out roughly what I think is the right shape for the face, heating up the evening
And I know.
foam so it gets a little bit soft and malleable, and then
That's why I'm
holding it
going
over my
to
mannequin head to create
grief
those
counseling.
curves. Now my plan was to put all of my
To
content
process it.
adhesive on outside, but I chickened out because it was freezing cold. But back inside, I did have my workshop fully ventilated and my respirator on. Safety first, guys. From here on out, everything was just kind of figuring
Okay.
out problems
Have a
as
good
I
rest of
went.
your day,
The mask was
Clover.
too flat, so
I might
cut
see
these
Glacier.
pieces to the
I might
side,
see you
added a
later.
headpiece, more at the back
If I
of
go
the
to the park.
nose. Just
If
building
we
this
can go to
up
the park
step
and meet
by
up.
step, well into the night. You know, vibe space stuff. Good morning, my loves. Welcome to day 2. The fabric has all
All
dried
right.
overnight,
Thank
and
you,
it is
Clover.
looking
Bye.
So good.
Bye,
These are
Clover.
my 2 fabrics that I'm using, and like close up, you can see that the colors
All right,
are
night.
really, really close. And like even
I
if
might
they
see you
put
too soon at
it's just
Glacier.
variation, it's just texture, it's just detail. But these beautiful deep reds are just so delicious. I don't know why I always feel the need to describe color in terms of
If I can
taste.
find
but,
more
like, I wanna
thumbtacks,
eat
I can
these,
put
I'm
my
sorry.
prints up.
Despite how nice these turned out, the wool cloak, it's definitely
If I can find more
something.
thumbtacks, I can
Again,
put
the
my
effect
my
is
prints
kinda
up.
cool, but it kind of reminds me of like
But
a
first I
moldy
need to
slab of
find
meat or like zombie skin. I actually put
But
a tiny
first
bit
I
of
need to
black in that
find
dye pot to try and,
thumbtacks.
like deepen the color, which is why I've got all of these little dark spots
I
here.
just need 3.
Basically, this
One for
whole
each.
thing is a testament to my own hubris. This is girl bossing too close to the sun, just trying to squeeze a giant wool cloak into a pot that's not
You
big
too.
enough with not
You
enough
too,
dye
Night.
and not enough
See ya.
space to move around. I'm
See you
gonna put
later.
it aside and worry about it later. It's still pretty usable. As for my mask, well, I've pretty much spent my early morning just kind of building up the
Here,
rest of
I
that
think I
shape to
might
make
be
it a
able to
complete
find
piece.
these on
Usually
my-
with an EVA
on
foam
my other
build,
print.
you would like have a pattern or
Here,
a plan to start with and
next
work
to
on
it.
that
I just
rather
don't
than
know
trying
yet.
to build up the shape as it goes.
I just don't know yet.
But
Ah, my
I had a really
crown
good
is
time
not
doing
even
it like
centered.
this. It's
My
kinda
crown was
like a
not
jigsaw
even
puzzle,
centered.
except that the finished jigsaw puzzle doesn't exist yet.
My crown wasn't even centered with the diamond.
Kind of cut them out and shaped it as
I could have
you go.
sworn
Okay, the
I
big
lost
bubble
that
thing was a bad
diamond,
metaphor,
that
but this is what it
that
looks like
jewel
on.
in the
And I
center of
don't
my
know
crown.
how the audio is gonna come through, so I'll leave it
Oh my
for
god,
now.
excuse me,
But
I'm
the
sorry.
visual's pretty good. The
I guess I'm
shape
really
is
gassy
pretty good.
today.
It's not really weird, like eyelid things.
I
That's
think I
just
might
to sort of
be
reinforce the
gassy
foam
today.
around there. And the weird blotchy texture is because I tried to like wrap the whole thing in a craft foam to smooth everything
I
out.
said I wanted to try the
Well,
pumpkin.
it didn't work.
Right,
I was
so
debating covering it in
after I'm done
water,
with
but I
the
think that's going to add
this
too much
buttermilk
weight to it,
pancake
especially with
cookie,
these
I
big
might-
old horns. Unfortunately, the seams are so ratty that I do think it's going to need some more coverage before I start doing priming and painting. So I'm going to try my own weird version of paper mache. Okay, weird version of paper mache, but first I'm going to start with ripping up some masking tape and taping up over not just the seams but the whole mask. My hope is that this will reinforce it a little bit and kind of smooth out the shape, and it does mean that if some of that texture or lumpiness still shows through, it's mostly going to be in the form of those lines that go all in the same direction like wood grain. Also, I'd like to avoid using foam clay or anything that involves sanding. The paper mache part comes with painting on Flex Bond and layering on bits of torn tissue paper. And you might have guessed at this point, the reason I'm choosing such unconventional methods is because I don't want to have to go and buy anything new, so I'm trying to find things I have around the house to make this. Okay, the mask is outside drying. Luckily, we've got a pretty warm and sunny day for winter, so hopefully that shouldn't take too long. In the meantime, welcome to my floor, because we're going to figure out how to do Hornet's weapon, needle. For that, I've got a couple of pieces of this ultra thick EVA foam. I think this is a 10 millimeter. They're all cut into these triangle shapes because I cut them originally on the diagonal to get a really long strip for something. Anyway, it got me thinking about the fact that I really just need 4 really long triangles to stick together into like a sword-like shape for the base. If that doesn't make sense, you'll figure it out as we go. Now, cutting 10 millimeter EVA foam is actually just a huge pain in the butt. It's just very thick, and that makes it
Guys are still
unwieldy.
here.
You have to make sure your hobby knife goes all the way
Okay.
through, and I'm
You guys
trying
are
to
still
cut
here.
a very
Okay.
beveled edge here, so I'm cutting on an angle already. All of this is also my excuse for why my seams and cut lines were a little bit
I'm
ratty.
sorry
So
if
from
I
there I
freaked you
cut
out.
a second
Okay.
piece, and the beveled edges
I
kind of
didn't
mirror,
see
so they
you
kind
were
of come
still
together
here.
like this.
Okay.
And then I cut 2 more exactly the same, so that should give me like my 4 sides. I also got some littler triangles that kind of come on the end like this. So let's go take advantage of that sunny weather and do some gluing outside, hey? A little bit less freezing outside, but I'm still wearing my respirator even when I'm working out here.
I am about to lose it.
Alright,
I'm about to
promising
lose
start.
it.
I think I just need to make sure that this bevel at the edge is a bit sharper because they're not going to join up like that without like completely ruining the angle here. And I don't know if I can just cut that with a hobby knife, so I'm going to see if I can take to them with a
Yeah,
Dremel.
I'm gonna
I was
see if I can
kind of
find some
hoping I could get through
thumbtacks.
this project without having to do any sanding or dremeling just because I can't stand the
Look.
sensation of the residue and dust that comes off it. But in this case, I just had to suck it up because it was just too effective to take off all of that bulk so that I can glue both of these pieces down into those lovely crisp seams. Meanwhile, mask fully dry, I'm going to chuck some automotive filler primer over this one. It's just going to help me see that texture a little bit better.
I'm just
and
trying to find a
hopefully fill out
thumbtack.
some
I'm
of the
feeling a
gaps.
few
Needle
thumbtacks, just
is
3 of
looking
them.
Fantastic.
I
You
just
can see
needed
I've
3
left one end
thumbtacks.
still open here. That is like
I just
only
needed
instance of foresight that I've had in any of this project. But I've left it open
Sword.
so that I can get into
Don't be like
here
this,
and
please.
add some reinforcements around this thing here, which is literally just an aluminium rod that I've shoved in there. And that's just going to form the handle and like reinforcement through the middle. Up this end here, I 3D printed myself a
You
little
thumbtacks,
donut with a
like,
hole in it. Oh, I
hang up
suppose
my
that makes it
prints.
a donut with 2 holes.
can hang up my
Anywho, that is
prints.
going to form the eye of the needle up here. Now, as for the mask, let's be honest, I kind of dug myself into a hole here where the actual paper mache thing I had
figure
just
out
made
where
it more
I put
lumpy,
my
not less lumpy,
thumbtacks.
and I don't know what I expected. I started to sort of like desperately and frustratingly wet sand this thing.
When you don't use bounce, dryer heat can be a real monster. It turns clothes into static magnets for your hair. Use bounce to stop it. If you want static-resistant clothes,
Reveal visibly improved luminous skin in 14 days. New Olay
Now I'm
Super
gonna try to
Serum
pop the
Body
pie.
Wash.
When I got the news, I was shocked. Stage 3 prostate cancer. And I didn't have any symptoms. Fortunately, I caught it early. It's just a simple blood
Yum.
test. It saved my life. donation to the American Cancer
Oh, good.
Society can help save lives.
No, it's not the deli. It's Oscar Mayer Deli Fresh.
Real water connects all things. You can now experience the movie of that made history. The way it was meant to be seen back on the big screen. Let's do it.
We must protect the people.
See it in theaters to catch a special preview of Avatar, Fire and Ash. This world looks much deeper than you imagine. Avatar, The Way of Water, rated PG-13.
Until I had this epiphany of, hang on a second, I've given myself a 72-hour deadline so that I can have the challenge of doing it in 72 hours. Why am I trying to aim for the sleekest, cleanest build I've ever done? That's not the point of this. So this one's going back outside. I'm going to do a couple of layers of Plastidip, get it ready for painting, and then I'm not going to touch it. While those layers of Plastidip are drying, I'm gluing in a couple of pieces of foam just into this sword to cushion around where the aluminium rod sits. Once that's filled out so the rod's not going anywhere, I'm going to apply those last few pieces to the end here. And of course, the donut-shaped sword hilt is getting some priming and painting too. Okay, it's around 9:45 p.m., so end of day 2. The last step of the mask was basically like just putting the black mesh into the eyes so we get that lovely blank soulless stare. Little bit of elastic straps in the back here just to kind of hold it on my head a bit more. And in terms of painting, as you can tell, since I soft locked myself out of having like a perfect sleek smooth mask, I've just sort of leaned into the texture and gone for like this sort of dry brushing effect. Actually, this might count as a sort of reverse dry brushing. Over my white base layer, I'm painting a light green and then just wiping off the excess very carefully so that essentially on all of those raised areas, it's paler and then it stays a little darker in the cracks. Just to finish it off, I'm adding in some darker areas around the eyes and a couple little lines up and down the mask. Anyway, she'll get a couple of top coats tomorrow to protect the paintwork, but apart from that, this one's done. That's not to say that I'm done for the day, despite it being almost 10 p.m. I kind of want to get at least my basic shape cut out of the fabric tonight. Because we are past the halfway mark for this challenge, and I'm getting a little nervous about the timing. Luckily, all the shapes I need from the fabric are really straightforward. I just want a circle skirt and a circle cape. Rather than fully explain to you guys how to do circle skirts, I'm going to link a resource in the description below. I will honestly take any excuse to make a circle skirt or circle cape because they are so freaking easy once you get your head around them and don't really require a ton of sewing. Alright folks, day 3. First off, quick update that this is where Needle is at. Just a couple of layers of plastic.
Yeah, I think I might do that.
Looking pretty good. I'm gonna
If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just going to hang up my prints that I got from
Circle skirt's my first layer, and I kind of want to try using some horsehair braid, which is this sort of crinoline type stuff that's really stiff and essentially should help like hold the skirt and give it some body around the hem. I haven't used this stuff before in a project. I was concerned about the fact that this stuff is like dead straight, and of course the circle skirts, your hemline is a circle. But apparently with this stuff, if you iron it, you can actually curve it. So let's give that a try. Also, don't at me for the filthy state of this ironing board. I haven't yet washed it after like a bunch of dyes and paints over this thing. We're just ignore that for a moment, alright? So apparently you can kind of like pull it into a slight curve as you iron it, and it'll hold that curve. That went surprisingly easily. And this is going to be the laziest hem ever. I'm literally going to like place the horsehair braid like this and like fold the edge once and sew it. Does that mean there's going to be raw edges on the inside? Yeah, but just don't tell anyone, alright? If I hold this up. Alright, I like that. So you can kind of see the vibe, right? Like it just gives that hemline a lot of body. Guys, I lied. I can't deal with having a raw edge under here. I'm just worried that's going to fray like crazy the second I wash it. One thing I did buy that I didn't think I was going to use is some like red bias binding. Not the exact color of red, but I'm thinking rather than sewing it like a bias binding on both sides, I might just kind of do that and use it to sort of cover up the inside like raw edge, and it'll cover up the remaining bit of horsehair braid that's sticking out like this. With my raw edges of shame sufficiently hidden away, I took some of the off-cut material, cut myself a rectangle sewn together on one end, turn it inside out. That's going to be my waistband. Circle skirt pretty much done. This has been like the laziest and fastest circle skirt ever. I'm having a great time. At the back here, I've left a gap in the waistband. That's just
I just need to find some
because I
more
don't want to
contacts.
really muck around with like zips
Ever
or
one that
Velcro
has
or
the
like elastic. So what I'm going to do
has-
is just
that one has to
couple
have
of
two.
grommets coming down the
That one
edges
has to
here,
have
and
two,
basically do like a little
regardless.
crisscross lacy thing so I can tie it at the back. It also means it's going to be adjustable for me, which I like. Realistically, I don't know if putting in grommets and lacing is necessarily less work than putting in elastic, but honestly, it's an excuse for me to use
that
my
one has
press,
two.
which is
Has
my
three.
favorite cosplay tools I've ever gotten, so it's worth it. Ever since I got my grommet press, I have just found an excuse to put grommets or rivets
That
in
one has
pretty
four
much
over
every
here.
cosplay. I regret nothing. This thing is just so satisfying to use. So funnily enough, as much as I like how this skirt is sitting as a general thing, for the cosplay for Hornet, it's actually much longer than I was expecting. Annoyingly, if I cut the skirt slightly shorter, I might have had enough fabric left for like a whole second circle skirt, because I only have this semicircle left of that same fabric, which is not quite enough for like that full fluffy circle cloak I was hoping for. And right now it's giving more like, what are
get
those
you
popes, the mini
the
popes
thumbtack.
called in red? So the cloak was made entirely with that heavier weight fabric and using exactly the same method except ruffling it at the top. For the color, we've got a rectangle with some iron-on stabilizer just sewn straight onto the
If I
top.
put this here.
This is the
Yeah, I'll
code
be
so
hiding it.
far. You
Yes.
can
Okay, good.
See, like the length
Good.
that
I'll
I'm
be hiding
going
it.
for is just
Hiding
above
that
the knee
to-
there. And
that
I've done exactly the
disgusting
same
dot.
thing as I did with the previous one, where it's got the horsehair braid and the
And I
what's
still
it
do
called?
have
What's
some.
that stuff called? The ribbon that
No,
goes on the
I won't be able
curve.
to put it there because
Bias
we'll go
binding. The
into
main
different
difference here
things.
is that this one was only a 3/4 of a donut rather than like a full donut, just because that's how much fabric I
Okay,
had
it's
to
going-
work with. So
good.
for my collar,
That's
I
good.
was thinking about
That's
just
good.
having them like join directly in the center like this. But I have a feeling that's going to give Dracula. The alternative to that is leaving this flappy bit here extending past on this side, connecting it over here, and then it kind of gives that sort of anime protagonist cowl effect. I know that there's an anime character in my
Jordy,
head that I'm
Jordy,
thinking of
no,
that
no,
has a cloak like that. Someone in the comments tell me what his name is. Anywho, not missing another
Jordy?
chance to use my press, I'm putting in some snap fasteners. Also known as
But you can
press
sit.
studs. I'm not actually sure if they're different things. Now, since the skirt is definitely too long, I'm going to use the
Right here.
leftover fabric here
But
to
not
cut
too
out
on my
some of these
sword.
little singlet top
I
pieces,
think I might have
sew
to go
them
right
together
side.
into the most basic top ever, and sew that to the skirt. Alright, cape is done, dress is almost done, but it is past my
Jordy!
bedtime, so I'm
Jordy!
gonna wait till tomorrow to show you
Jordy!
guys those, and at
Jordy!
least that way you can see it in daylight. Okay, good morning, folks.
You can sit right here. You can sit
the
right here.
sewing was finished off last night, and
No,
I did
no,
a couple
no,
little
do not
seams
go
and
in my
hems this
spot.
morning, but in
Not
general,
in my
look
spot.
at how cool this cloak is. I'm
No.
incredibly happy with it. The
Not
silhouette
go in my
is
spot.
exactly
You can
what I
lay
was
right
hoping
there.
for, and I'm really glad
Anyway.
I could take the time
Anyway,
to
guys.
cover up this inside area, because as
Hang
you
out
can
with my
see,
cat for a minute.
anytime the
For a
arms are
second.
up, you can see that
Hang out with my cat for a
inside.
second.
Most importantly, look at how cool this
I'm just
color
gonna
is.
tilt
You
it
can
over.
sit all the way up like this. You can kind of like pull
Yeah,
it
I'll
out
put it
a
right
little bit for some breathing room. And give me a sec. If you just fold it down a little bit like this, you get this nice little asymmetrical, artistically folded collar. And even though it's a relatively thick fabric, it's
You might
linen
have to
and
go
cotton, so
into
it should keep me relatively cool even in a convention. Which is a definite bonus, because I don't think I really want to take this off at any point unless I absolutely have to, because the dress underneath is the ugliest dress I've ever made. I look like I'm going for my first day of preschool. Also, it's got pockets. They're very bad pockets, but they'll do the job. This side here is my pocket of shame, because I tried to just sort of cut into it horizontally and sew in a pocket, and I didn't think about the fact that if you're not going on the seam, it's gonna like pull all of this fabric and fold it outwards, which is why I've kind of sewn up a little bit here. There's still an opening here, and I've got these press studs.
Yeah,
to, like,
Jordy doesn't
seal it
get
up
that
again,
much
but
attention.
I'm probably not going to use this pocket unless it's for emergencies. So on
Hey,
this side,
Adrian.
I took the laziest way
Just
possible
hanging-
and literally
I'm just
sewed
hanging
the
up some
pocket
prints.
through the
I'll be-
outside. I don't care about whether or not it looks good, because it's going to be
Great.
under the cloak. You're not going to see
I'm just
it
gonna.
anyway.
I'm just hanging up
But
some
we are still
prints
not done.
over here.
We still have to finish
Off
off
screen.
needle. And don't come for me about it being day 4 on a 3-day build, because day one, I didn't even start recording the intro until late afternoon. So as far as I'm concerned, I've still got a little bit of time. And quite frankly, I could just spray paint this silver, but it's raining and miserable outside.
I'll still be able
and
to
there's
see
something I
your.
want to try.
I've seen in
Where you're
cosplay
meant to
normal
be.
people doing a thing where instead of painting their props, they're essentially stretching fabric over it because it leaves like a really, really smooth finish. And I kind of want to try that.
Or I can put my Leafeon up
So,
here.
I have
Yeah,
this
yeah.
sort of,
I'm gonna
like,
put my Leafeon up here.
stretchy, metallic fake vinyl lycra stuff, and my thoughts are to try
I'm gonna have to
and
go
see if
into
I
the
can like
print a little bit.
stretch and glue
But I
over
hope
this
I
to
can
kind of create that silver.
I figured since the sword is a relatively simple shape, basically just a long triangle, it's a pretty good place to start with this technique. To get the rough pattern I need, I've pinned this in place and then pulled out the sword, basically sewing it together like a long sword sock. On second thoughts, don't quote me on that, it sounds like a euphemism. Anywho, since this is a 4-way stretch fabric, it conforms so beautifully to the shape of the sword. To secure this in place, down at the base, I've got some contact adhesive and stretching that last part over. The only wrinkly and weird part is right on the sides of the seams. Barely noticeable once I cut off the excess fabric. And hey, while we're here, I'm going to use some fabric glue to wrap the handle in that same vinyl. It'll give me a nice comfy grip and there's no paint to chip off.
You guys, look at how good this looks. I am so chuffed. Needle is almost done. There is one last detail I want to do, which is the thread that comes off the end here. After that, I've got some silver coin. But this stuff is going to be very loose and floppy. It's not really going to look very good. So I'm going to try and literally shove some armature wire through the center of the twisted cord and see if that helps just like hold some body.
And you know, guys,
I'm
this
doing good.
took forever. This was so tedious. I'm 100% sure.
I don't know
there's
what
a
just
better
said,
way to do
but-
this. Put
Oh, hello, Night Kate.
So it
Hello,
might
Night.
take an hour to shove
Welcome back to
that
the stream.
wire into this cord, but I think it's going to be worth it. It already looks pretty good, but I think it's going to look even better from a distance. For now, that's taken me pretty much to lunchtime, which means we're bang on those 3 days. I'm going to go shove some food in my face because, oh my gosh, I'm hungry, and then I can do a bit of a reveal with it all together. Okay, extended lunch break and cleanup break later, and I'm once again losing the daylight. So let me just talk you through everything. I've already kind of shown you guys the cloak, but I have one extra layer under here. You guys remember the wool cloak from earlier that turned out that weird zombie skin texture? Well, I put it back in a dye pot after a good thorough wash, and it's a much nicer color now. So I've got it layered under the main cloak because it just means that if I'm wearing
There you
this
go. I
out
got
in,
the
like,
I got the
woods
prints up.
and it's freezing cold, I
Yeah,
am
I
going
got
to
the
be
prints
so
up
snug
right
under
here.
Needle
I was
is
gonna put
looking
my
absolutely
Leafeon down
fantastic.
below
I'm not
this
100%
one,
sold on the stream,
but it
so
would
you guys let me know
would have
what
been
you think.
close
I
to my
kinda like
pillows.
the
So I'm gonna
idea
put it
of
right
it,
here.
like, to
Just put
pose
Leafeon
with
right
it.
there.
I'm just not sure if it like is really necessary for how unwieldy it's gonna be.
I was just trying to.
Alright, not sure how much
If you're
of
wondering
this
why
you
my
but
why
I'd
this
like to
arm
just
doesn't
start for a spin before we
have
move the
this
light completely, because let's be
piece,
honest, this room
the
is just like
the arm,
not big enough to get this in
the
frame.
bracer
Even just gallivanting around my
I just had to
backyard,
take it
he
off
told me this is one of the comfiest
to
cosplays
be able
I've
to
ever
put that
worn,
up,
even
them
with the
up.
mask.
But I have it right
Tony
here.
for a
I'm
photo
gonna be
shoot,
putting it
and
right
yes,
back
I
on.
threw together this little horns because I couldn't leave well enough alone, and I wanted a couple of shots showing my face. But it really is with the mask and overall silhouette of this costume that makes it. Those long
But I'm
white
putting
horns,
it right
that
back on.
silver
I just
sword,
needed to
and
take
that
it off because
delicious deep red
this piece
just pops so nicely
stuck out
against those
so much
green
on my
flaky backgrounds.
on like
It
my
was
hand if I
absolutely
put it
worth
on.
clambering through the undergrowth and
If
into
I put this
stalactites.
on,
So on a personal
and whenever I
level, this
bend my
cosplay
fingers,
build was exactly
look how
what I needed.
look
Sure,
how
I
far
could've
up
looked
it
at
goes
this
up.
things I would do differently,
So that's why I
or
needed to
upgrades
take
I
it
might
off.
make later on. Also, I've
Just
figured
to
my
get that,
steps and
just to
planning
be able to
things
put
out,
my
and I
prints
reckon
up.
I could've
Okay,
smashed this out in a
fine.
day. But the point of this project
But
was
I'm putting it
never
right back
about
on.
making the best cosplay or even the fastest. It was to force myself to let go of aiming for perfect or meeting some self-imposed standards. Since I've turned cosplay into a job, I think sometimes I need to remind myself why I fell in love with it in the first place. And quite honestly, I had a really
This piece
damn
has
good
been
time
causing
making
me
this one.
issues
I hope you all enjoyed
today.
this one too. I'm definitely feeling a little bit more motivated to tackle those big projects now.
I don't blame
I've
it
got
because I don't
Just
have
Art
any
Form
like
and Angel to finish, and I can't wait. Thank you
like,
so much to my ultimate supporters. These are my top supporters on Patreon. And since it just occurred to me that I should have been wearing the cloak the whole time in the outro, I'm at least going to announce the names of it dramatically. Artemis, Michael, Mix Randy.
I'm still watching Miss Twisted.
Images. Robert Mischief, Tamara, Verilyn, and Yuri. Thank you also to these other amazing Patreon people who are on screen now. If you'd like to join us over on Patreon, I post work in progress reviews and occasional mini videos exclusive to Patreon. Not to mention, my Patreon supporters literally chose this project. And hey, you guys have got good enough taste that I might let you choose what I make again sometime. Anywho, link is down in the description below if you want to join us over on Patreon. But if you're here watching,
Trying to put
liking,
my-
subscribing, all that good stuff that make the YouTube robots happy, you are supporting me. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye!
Me too, honestly. I'm trying. Oh, I just spit. I'm so sorry. I just spit. Oh, we just hit the hour mark. We just hit the hour mark. Woo! I don't know why I just celebrated. Are we all just existing in this liminal space? Pretty much. Oh, night.
Looking for tool storage that's both affordable and built to last? Choose the trusted
I think I might make you Kit. Not Kit. I might make you a moderator. Cause I know you in real life. I think I might make you a moderator.
With a full selection of
I
colors,
think I might make you a mod.
parts, trays, and more. You can build your setup
Ooh.
just the way you
Okay, I'm gonna make you a mod. I'm gonna make you a mod.
trusted across America. U.S. General.
Standard moderator. There you go. You're a standard moderator. You are a standard moderator. So if you
I went from a
You know what a
complete
moderator
amateur
is,
to a
right?
Total expert corset maker in the space of
Yay! I don't
That
know
is a
exactly,
slight
but
exaggeration. Okay,
but
allow
yay!
But I did speedrun learning to make a corset
Not
properly, and
exactly,
it
but
was
yay!
beautiful, perfect and detailed corset for my dream costume.
Is somebody who
My
like
design
manages
this
like
Fern Calloway cosplay.
like chats
Hello, I'm Miss
and
Twisted. You guys can call me Charlotte. I do crafting,
um
cosplay, and other weird and whimsical
like
stuff.
chats.
I started this project over a year ago. Since then, I've made the legs and the skirt, and I've been
I
procrastinating.
know what a
the corset.
moderator is,
Why?
but
Because this part
it's-
intimidates me. I'm allergic to using patterns and instruction intolerant, and I'm really good at just fooling around and finding out when it
Yeah, I
comes
was
to
reading
my
it kinda.
cosplays, but I don't think I can run off pure
What
vibes
do you
for this
mean
one.
you were
It's
reading
got
it
a
kinda?
proper fitted, curvy
What do you
shape,
mean
these
you
hip
kinda
panels,
were reading
these
it?
tiny flower details. And this
I'm sorry,
fabric
not
is
meaning to
going
attack you, Knight.
because you've got all of the skirt layers, foliage, and the top of front legs that are all going to get
Oh, that's
held
why
up
you
together.
left.
So stick around.
'Cause you
to
couldn't
watch
hear me.
Constantly fight the urge to throw away all my
Almost
patterns
nothing.
and measurements and just go full feral crafting again. And before I get stuck into crafting,
sorry for
I made
laughing.
myself a bit of a game plan to get myself organized
sorry.
with the help of today's sponsor, Milanote. Milanote is an organization tool for creative projects, and they've become a regular side of my videos because
Yeah,
I
I-
genuinely find it such a
Yeah, it's
useful,
so much
versatile,
fun at the
and
con.
intuitive tool to use. Fern is the biggest project
It's
I've
so
ever
much
done,
fun at the
naturally
con
my
today.
Milanote board is huge this time. I've got my main overview,
I went with my
main
mom.
board, and of course a section just
And
for the corset. There's loads
she was
built-in
kind of my
templates, so
cosplay
I like
handler.
to start with the project plan and then jump straight to the mood board.
Well, she
So
was kind of
being able
my
to connect boards and
cosplay
mood boards is one of my favorite features, especially for a really huge
cosplay
project like
medic
this.
and
Here I can start sorting
Yes,
all
I
of the
do.
images and references
Yeah,
I've
I
been
do.
collecting from all over the web using Milanote's web clipper tool. No awkward screenshots or losing your sources. I can pull my color scheme directly from
I'll
the
send
concept
you
art
it
I cropped in
after
here. This was
the
really useful later on for buying
after I
embroidery
finish the
thread,
live stream.
and I can add text
Okay,
and
night.
drawing right on top. Back out to the main board, and I'm keeping this as a broader overview of the project. with
I'll
a
send you
checklist
my
for each section
page.
and videos
Send
for
you
each
to
reference.
the link to my
Finally,
page.
I'm getting into the even put in Google Maps.
It was
link,
just
which I use
glitching.
for my favorite supply
I
stores.
didn't stop the live and
Projects,
we
you can
started
share
it.
your Milanote
It's just
board so your whole team can collaborate and edit together.
alright.
And you can access and edit your board on the app so you can reference it on the go.
No, you
But
get
all
off
of
my
this
ring
is
light.
just how I use Milanote. There is stuff here for writers, for home renovators, for podcasters, or marketing. Just to name a few of what Milanote has to offer. I keep coming back to Milanote for every project. It's free with no time limit, so
If
try
I'm
it
not
for
speaking
yourself.
to you, you
Sign
can
up for free using the link in my description
still
below.
chat
Right,
and
now that that's all organized,
talk
let's
to each
begin
other
at
in
the
the chat.
beginning with
Okay.
a mock-up using a pattern. Just kidding, I still managed to squeeze in a little bit more procrastination by
twisted.
pre-cutting a lot of my flat steel boning, which was easier
It's
said than done,
twisted.
even with these aviation snips. I have the upper body strength of a
Probably finished
lip
my cookies.
noodle, so yeah, this was kind of hard. I did enjoy taking a Dremel to these to smooth over those edges for obvious reasons. Sparks are pretty, but lizard
I
brains
want to
happy.
save that one to the end. So
Bar hopping tonight? Get a free ride with your buddies. Just use code FIRSTUberFree 2025.
all right.
Skip the designated driver duties.
After I'm done with the live, I might go to the park. Still in Glacier.
Get up to
Still in this.
60% off fall and Halloween during Michael's Fall Haul. From spooky and cozy decor.
I just need to see how I'm feeling.
Plus, score a fall
How I'm
favorite
feeling
with buy
about
one, get
going.
one free craft pumpkins. Shop in store or online today.
There's little kids that want to take pictures with me. I don't mind that.
Somebody in the comments psychoanalyze me and tell me why it is.
But
that section of
if
the
I go to the
video
park, I'm
following
leaving the sword home.
All right, measurements.
I'm leaving the sword home because I don't want to get in trouble
Something
with a
like
mother,
this
with
might be a little bit
someone's
weird
parent,
because I'm wearing like
if there's other
three
kids
different
there.
layers under here. I don't
Or I don't
feel
wanna
like
get them
taking them off for
stolen.
the measurements, so we're just gonna guesstimate.
I've got some really thick, cheap canvas that I'm going to use to make my mock-up out of these pieces. I'll put a link to this corset pattern in the description below because I was really impressed with it. Not that I have much to compare to as someone who doesn't use patterns. Now,
Okay.
I've already established that I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to corsets. So
I think I might
guess
make
please
2
don't
other
use this
videos
video as a
tonight
tutorial. That's just gonna
with
be the
Glacier
blind
and
leading the
then
blind
introduce
here.
a
But
new
doing my due
character,
diligence, doing
another
my due
new
diligence,
Halloween
is that
character.
right? Anyway, I'll put in the description a couple
But this
of
one's a
resources
dead
that I
siren.
really
The
like
next
when
one
it
is
comes
going to be
to
a dead
corset
siren.
general knowledge.
You
Now I've
won't
got
get
my
a
excuse for
spoiler.
when I
You
forget to
won't
explain
get a
steps. I'm gonna start
get
off with the
a
husk. That's these 2 flat
snippet
metal bits
into
here
it,
that are gonna hook
but
together the corset at the front. Lots of corsets
you'll
don't
see
have this.
her
They just
when
kind of pull over their head instead.
goes
In
back
fact,
to just
first,
existing.
corset doesn't appear to have one in the concept art.
Oh,
But
nice.
it does also have a ton of skirts and a lot of detail going on around the top. So I think it's gonna make my life so much easier if I can.
I'm
just pull
still
it
watching
around
Miss
my
Twisted, by
waist
the way.
once everything else is on, rather than trying to pull it on over my head. Side note: I printed this so I can have a
Yeah, I'm
physical
still watching
copy
Miss
that
Twisted.
stares at me in my workspace, basically to guilt trip me into.
I just
working
have
on
it
this
playing in the
instead of
background.
procrastinating. Anywho, I've got a folded piece of the mock-up here that I'm gonna poke some holes into to allow these little dot things to poke through.
I
On
just
the
want it
other
in the
side,
background
the bar with these
while I'm on
tabs
the
is
live.
going to poke through the
I just
side
want
of
it
that
in the
fabric
back,
and hook
playing in
over
the
those
background
ends.
while
The
I'm
final
live.
corset is going to be 2 pieces of fabric sewn together rather than folded in half like this one. So usually you'd sew it together between those tabs, leaving a gap for them to poke out. But since my mock-up's just a folded piece of fabric, I can just cut some slits in it. I sewed my mock-up pieces together and I'm going to press out each of these seams. If I'm skipping over stuff here, don't worry about it. This is the mock-up. We're going to go through this like another 3 more times. And next time I'll position my camera better so I don't fog up the lens. This can't be good for the equipment.
Oh,
The burning
thanks,
channels are
Jesslyn.
bias binding. I've got a strip basically sitting on each
Yeah,
of the
I
seams
just
of this
recently
mock-up,
got back
and I'm gonna sew
from
down the side of
a
each
con
one,
like an
essentially
hour
creating
ago.
like a long tube in which I can
And
put the boning. This
I can't
stuff
show
is
you
just
my
cheap,
prints
basic plastic
in my
boning.
hand
I don't wanna use
anymore
anything
because I
too
hung them up.
fancy on the mock-ups.
And they're
mock-up using an actual pattern
if
from
I can
start to finish.
get
Let's give it a go.
people to zoom in
So first mock-up,
on them.
it's a perfect fit. No notes. Everything's centered
Jesslyn?
nicely, nothing's pinching in, nothing's giving me
Alright,
too much room
alright,
anywhere
Jess.
I don't want it.
But those
Still,
are
like, a
the
little
3
bit of
prints
space,
that I
here at
got
the
from the
back
con.
in case I want to like cinch in a little bit
And
further. There's
the
no
reason why I got the
restrictions in
one,
terms
the
of
big one,
movements, like
was because of what it says. Of what it said.
so I consider myself pretty good at just
You
figuring
are
out things
exactly
myself, but
where
I
you
avoided
need to
using
be.
patterns, not because I think they're objectively
The
bad,
smaller one
but
next to
because they
it
just seem like more work and more
is
than just like figuring
something
it out
my
for yourself.
mom
And
got
I
me.
developed this twisted sense of
This-
pride from not using them. I really chose the messiest pie for this metaphor, didn't I? I've made plenty of corsets before,
This one right
but
here.
none of them really ever fitted me all that well.
This one
Just
right
couldn't
here.
tell from the outside because they
And
look really
then
pretty and
that's
they're kinda
the
close enough.
print
But
up
the fact
closer,
that the first
up
ever
close.
time I followed
I
the
didn't
pattern
get it because of the
properly from start to
character.
finish,
I got it because of the
it's
same.
like a damn glove.
And then
I
the
should've
one
started
up
right
here.
on
Ah!
definitely intended a lot sooner. Not to say I'm gonna quit experimenting with my cosplays.
The one
but
up
more to
here.
say, yeah, maybe it's a good idea to rely on some tried and true resources as a starting point. Hey, thank you for
Leafeon.
coming to my TED Talk, Miss Twisted.
Yeah, I got those 3.
Patterns good,
Ah!
actually. Alright, I'm gonna finish this off, which was
Those
definitely no
3
excuse to have
prints
another
from
great pie as a tax write-off.
Comic-Con I went to. If you're wondering which con I went to, it was PopCon. And I made a post about it on my channel.
One of them is this, which is couture,
And then I got 3 other things.
Non-stretch fabric, usually cotton.
I got 3 other things. I just need to find them. They're on my jacket.
Really well, and it takes a lot of strain.
Like
For the fashion layer, that's the part you're going to see. I have
these 3 right here. These 3.
Fiery copper-colored, like silk dupion. I bought this 5 years ago. It's one of those things I bought with no purpose. I just had to have it in my fabric stash, and I've been holding on to it because it felt too precious.
I got my other
thing just hanging around and gathering dust because I'm constantly too scared to use it. I'm just
my
gonna use
other
it in this one. So I
pride,
basically want to make a full
my other
practice corset using this pattern and just so I
identity.
can feel really confident in all the processes before
This one I had for a while since last year. But these 3 right here
each piece of my
were
pattern has 4 versions
are the new
of it
ones
cut out,
and the new
2
pins
of
I
the
got.
fashion layer and 2 of that black couture layer. Since both sides of the corset are mirrored, I've sewn all 4 pieces of this corset together and I've marked out the exact line that sits in the center of the waist.
But you might see me doing 2 more videos with
fabric glue is not going to hold this thing,
with-
but it's just to hold it in place until I can get the stitches down on the boning channel, which is also going to hold that waist tape in place. So now I have my 2 fashion layer pieces all sewn together.
I'm lesbian, so that's why I have my lesbian moth pin. And I do want to get a non-binary flag. I do want to get a non-binary flag one day. So then I could be also, I am also non-binary. That's why I have the she, they pronoun. Or she, they moth pin.
Make sure that I elongate the pattern a little tiny bit to accommodate for that. And then I just forgot. So these ones are
And I
not gonna
do
work
want to
for
get
this
that.
one.
I just
But
need
have a
to
solution. The solution is
save
I
money.
already own a corset
And
with
next
shorter
year,
husks. So this little fluffy bit here,
I'm
that is usually
going
like
to
hide that
FiniCon
tiny
again.
little sliver of skin that would show between
But
these
I'm
two
gonna
pieces.
be
I'm
in.
not
I
gonna do
hopefully
that on
gonna
my
do a
corsets, but I'm
skit.
gonna
I
put
don't
him
know.
in that concept generally. I have
I
an
don't
idea.
know
I'll come back to you later.
exactly
So
who I'm
we've
gonna
sewn
be
together the fashion layer
next
and
year for
strength layer of
KisseNayCon.
this corset right here at the front, so that I
And
can
my
insert
mom
the
wants me to go
fasteners
pro.
really harvested
My
out
mom
of that
wants
old
me
corset.
to
And
become a
sewn
professional
right down
cosplayer.
the side of this one to keep
But I
that
just need to
fastening in place.
find
Let's skip ahead
find
now, 'cause we got 2 more rounds of corsets after this, and no one needs to see me struggle with this one 3 times.
local like cons to go to.
Finished aside from the bias binding at the top and bottom.
I just need to find cons to go to that are close by and not too expensive. But I know cons are expensive
a tiny bit smaller than
to go
the
to.
strength layer underneath. I think I
But
just need to cut
PopCon
out my
is a
pattern piece
free
a
event
little more
to
precisely,
go to.
and I should be good to go. We are moving on to corset number 2, which is my practice
I'm
final fern corset. So
if I wanted to wash my face with my makeup wipes, pull out. I'm all out of makeup wipes, so I gotta use soap and water.
Because I
But
did a bunch of testers back when I made the skirt, and I've stuffed most of this up. The starters, a little bit too much
So,
of that intense orange.
should I go
Secondly,
pro?
a
I'm
lot
not
of this,
sure.
It's really hard to tell in camera, but like the fabric is kind of
Me
permanently
too,
wrinkled and
Jazz. Me too.
Apparently with Dupion, it holds wrinkles so easily that if you like
Me too,
scrunch
Jazz.
it and
Me
leave it,
too.
like, scrunch for too long, it can just kind of like permanently crease the fabric.
Ooh, congratulations! Which one?
What I can do is use all of this stuff to practice.
Which
like,
one, Jazz?
Like gradient pieces and kind of what the final.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Is it a little
KisseNayCon was really
overkill
fun.
Doing an entire practice corset before I do the final one.
I
Maybe, but first,
I
this is
am
supposed to be like my magnum
willing
opus,
to
so
do
I
a
think you may
skit
have
next
permission
year for
to overdo
KisseNayCon.
this one. This round,
but
I'm making
I'm not
some
exactly
heavy
sure.
modifications to that pattern.
Not exactly sure what
And
song
machine.
I'm gonna
Remember how
do
the pre-made corset had that
for my
flat
skit,
bit at the
but
back
I
of the
know I'm
bust?
gonna be
I wanna
Glacier
try
again.
something like that, but at the front of the bust.
I know I'm gonna be
Essentially,
Glacier
to
again
conceal it so it looks more like
because
concept art with
the
no visible
most
bust.
creative
Couldn't
cosplay.
find any good guides on this topic, but I just kinda mucked
Auroricon.
around with some folds and it
I heard
seems to be
many
working. So on this one,
mixed
I need to
views on that
calculate
one,
the
but
flat
on that
area
con,
first,
but
and then it doubles back down into doing this.
oh,
Man, I don't even, that does
a
not make sense
local
even to me. So
local
really,
library
I think what I need to
contest,
have is like here.
convention.
Of around that length.
I almost just said contest.
Extension number 2 will be the fold.
I almost just
back
said
in
contest.
itself,
I
And then
am.
we fold here. This piece comes under. So this will form the very front
I need to
piece, which is
find
unmarked. So I
other
think it's
cosplay contest.
essentially- oh my god, it's just folded.
Oh my god!
That's all there is to this, and I've made it so complicated.
I cannot
It'll work.
speak.
Okay, concealed bust works. I feel like a genius.
I
even though
cannot
what
speak.
I've worked out is probably very
Yeah, I know, Jazz. I know words are hard. I know.
It's actually really obvious now that I think about it.
Me too, because my words keep getting jumbled up. But I need to say.
Stabilizer on all of my Dupion pieces to keep
The
them
words
nice
just keep
and
getting
crisp,
jumbled
and I'm
up.
just re-ironing everything as I'm putting in this concealed bust because I really do want this part to work. You can see I put that extra flap on the dot side rather than the tab side. I think this might have been the wrong decision. My new and improved pattern I've transferred to this sort of see-through sheet,
I can't
and I've
believe
taken
words
extra
are
care to
hard!
make sure that my seam allowances and waist tape placements are all consistent too. The burning channels are now in the middle
think
of
I
each
might
panel rather
be
than the
getting
seams.
out of
When I do
Glacier,
that,
but
we'll come back to it. Also, let's please
at least
ignore
like
the fact
the
that I forgot to
like
keep my
the
like
wig,
sides of the
the
gradient
mask,
consistent with
and
this
the
one.
crown.
I'm tracing out Fern's hip panel
'Cause
section. My plan is to cut
I'm not.
this
I don't want to get out of the
bias
rest
so
of
that
it
it has a little bit of
because
give and
I
wiggle room
love
to
Glacier
curve
so
nicely
much.
over that hip. With that sewn on and looking
The
good,
last time I was
improved
Glacier,
here because
that was
I
in
wanted to do
June.
A couple of practiced little tiny embroidery flowers. We'll talk a little more about the decoration in the final round. I just figured why not practice the decoration?
But that one was in
practice
June.
corset. I'm not gonna
The last
cover
time I
the
was
practice
Glacier,
corset with it 'cause
it
I
was
don't
in
wanna waste
June
the thread.
for
I just really
KitsuneCon.
wanted to make sure that I was happy with how this looks.
But
So I think we can put the other end
me
together
too,
and
Jazz.
put
Me
it into
too.
an actual functioning corset. Okay, not a bad practice
Yeah.
round. Now,
With
I mean,
all
this one was
the-
the first time with me using
With all
new pattern
the
where I've kind of
armor,
added a bunch of
with
stuff,
all the
eliminated a bunch of stuff. So there's
undergarments,
always going to be some teething problems. For
with all the
starters, I don't
undergarments,
think this like
all the
hidden
armor,
busk idea is really working for me. You can see it's like really flappy and
with
it's still
all the
sitting up.
armor,
I have sewn these two panel pieces
and the
together
makeup.
so that like the
Yeah,
face here
it almost
isn't
like
pulling
takes
this
me
that way, but then also this is still kind of like wrinkling up and
almost takes
puckering
me
outwards,
almost like an
and
hour
I
to get into her.
don't know if it's really worth
And
trying to fix
30 minutes
that
to an
or
hour
just
to get
finding a
into
different
her.
solution. Okay, so I've been going back over my mood board for inspiration and brainstorming a little, and I have an idea on how I'm still going to disguise this bust. If I play my cards right, it's relatively risk-free in terms of like using up materials, so I'm gonna just try it straight on the final corset. While
Yeah.
my original plan was to do my practice
It took
corset
me
to
like
completion, I don't think I'm gonna do
around
that. Let's be honest, there was
like
always going to be a limit to exactly how much
hour
practice
to an hour and a half
and
to
doing
get
things the right way and following
fully into her
instructions
for
you can really
PopCon.
do before I just need to let my work around
And
and find out instincts kick in and
I,
smash out the final product.
but that con was fun.
We're gonna gradient dye our final pieces. We've got
If I can find that
this
spare
lovely
Halloween bag,
buttery yellow
I
silk
could make,
Dupion,
I
and
could
have,
try to
hot
make
liquid
my
water
bracelet
and
again.
a little bit of these two.
So I have
Right,
all
Tessa's
the-
getting dunked in some
all
clear
of
water.
the
I'm gonna just
pieces
start dipping this
for
in
it.
and out slowly. Not super slowly because this is gonna take pretty fast.
Yeah,
Do a
I
tiny dunk,
bought the
put this around, hang it up
I
to
made the
dry.
majority of
Okay,
it,
test a piece dry.
of
And
the cosplay.
that is
Hold on, I'm gonna move angles so then I can have my full body in there. So you're just gonna see my lesbian flag up for a second, so because this is where I'm gonna just show. Don't mind my floor. Don't mind my floor. Okay, so let me just.
For some reason, I've done an alarming amount of projects in the past that involve
Let me just-
gradient dyeing, so I'm pretty practiced at this.
Okay,
and I've
so-
learned a lot of lessons the hard
So
way.
I
And if
made
you want a more
the,
thorough look at dyeing and gradient dyeing, go check
made
out my
the
video
leg
on making
armor
fern skirts.
out of
At least
EVA,
this time I'm
and then
inside
painted all the
don't have any hula hoops
all the
involved.
details
In
on
washing,
it.
I am keeping that water running
Made the
towards the dye
hips,
section. I don't want
made the
any
hip
color
armor.
bleeding into the lovely yellow. And I'm trying
Made
to keep
the
this
shoulder-
relatively flat even
this
as
shoulder
I'm applying
armor.
soap so I don't get those scrunch
Made
lines
the-
like last time. Once
the-
those pieces are dry, each of them are getting
the
some
arm
iron
armor.
stabilizer. They're gonna need that extra stability,
Made the
especially for the
chest-
pieces with the embroidered flowers.
Okay,
the
the
chest
colour
piece.
and texture and gradient on these pieces. Oh, this makes me so happy. This looks fantastic.
Don't know.
I'm real chuffed. So
I did make
before
a-
I cut out all
make
these
a
pieces,
chest
I'm
piece
gonna
that
do
goes
the
here.
2 busk pieces first,
But
just because they're the
that
most
was just
central
too
pieces
small.
that I can build outwards.
So I gotta
Don't
remake.
know if that really
make
benefits
that
me,
piece.
but that's what I'm gonna do.
You
But-
guys know the drill by now when it comes to making baskets.
Yeah.
I'm doing all the same
It almost-
steps
it took
here,
me like a
being
year
less extra careful
to get
about it
this
just because this
full
is
cup-
now
the
the
full
final thing. I opted to
glacier to
embroider
look
these front
this-
two panels
this
first
mu-
before I
this
move on,
good.
so I'm gonna guesstimate
But
roughly for each
as
flower
well
set.
For my
well
memory floss,
as I made,
well, during
if you
this
see
stuff,
the mask
I've
here,
got at op shops just
I
because
made
they
the
look
top
like a
piece.
massive treasure
I made the
trove
top
of, like,
piece, but didn't
knitting
make the
and
bottom
yarn
piece.
and
The bottom
sewing
part
stuff.
of it.
So I'm only really
But
had
I
to buy
bought,
like 1 or 2 colours,
like,
and they're cheap as chips anyway.
Now,
like,
I learned hand sewing with the fiery passion of 1,000
30% of
suns,
it,
but I can
and made,
make an exception
like,
for hand
70% of
embroidery.
it
It just feels very
of the armor.
intuitive to me, like painting. You just think of your shape
I just
and
need
you
to remake
start
the
sewing
chest
it,
piece.
if that makes sense. My practice
I just
when
need
was
to
in
remake the
earlier, I
chest
used some
piece
different
better
shades of
than I
purple, but
did.
I opted to keep things simpler for this
You
time, just
stay
because
on
there
my
are gonna be
shoulder.
so many
Do
different flowers
not
on
go
this
off my
thing,
shoulder.
Don't want it to get too busy.
Usually,
And then I made, then I ordered the crown off of Amazon, along with the arms, with the 2 pieces. I'm trying to point at this, not this. I made this, but I
am definitely going to put on a hoop. It's going to make my life so much easier. I
I,
don't understand why, but in my brain I was just adamant I wanted to do these with the bust piece already made and ready to rumble.
I made this piece. I didn't make this piece. I ordered this off of Amazon. These 2 things off of Amazon because they were sold together.
I'm not too worried about that warping. I'm going to go do the same with that one. I think this is going to be a couple of days
And then-
of just embroidery.
And then
I'm
here's
very
the
torn about
here's
that because
here's the
on
piece
one hand,
that
it
I've
forces me
made,
to slow down and pace
that I made the
myself,
blade
which
for.
is probably
This.
good for my mental health. On the other,
If I can get it in
forces me
in
to
the full
slow down and
screen.
pace
Ah,
myself.
ah, ah, no,
And
no,
I'm
do not go on my boot.
good at that.
Like
I'm not
this,
a
the
patient
sword.
person, but in this case,
I made the
my
blade.
determination is overriding
It has
my
some weight
ambition,
to it
so
because
let's
there's
do
an
it.
actual katana.
Luckily, I did
Yeah.
have the hindsight here to
I
I
made,
and mark where the flowers are going to be, all before I cut out the final pattern.
I made
At the
all of
US
it
start
out
with
of
the gradient dye positioning again, I might
3
have just
millimeter,
straight up cried.
3
The
milli.
first time I cried over this was
I
like,
cannot speak.
this time round, all
Here's
the
another
flowers
thing that I cannot
were
speak of.
and some
But
additional stabilizer
I
at the
made
back as I sew these.
this
These
piece,
flowers are
these.
so tiny on the
Wait,
concept
let me
art
take
that you
them off
can't
to show
actually
you.
really pick out any details about them. So I'm just
This is
doing
the piece that I
range
could
of different shapes
take
from
off
these
and show
more
you.
like wattle
Okay,
starburst
so
shapes to more
so if you
defined petals.
can tell here,
Well, after a bit, what
I
else is there to do but sort
got-
of settle in, get into the
I
swing of
made
things, and
the
just
made
keep chugging
the
along.
armor.
I don't have enough patience to enjoy
The
this
armor
process, but it wasn't as torturous as I thought, especially once
for
I settled into
out
some
of
like 3
3
and 4
millimeter
hour video essays.
craft
Side note,
craft
if you have
foam.
any video essays to recommend me,
3 millimeter craft foam.
I love that stuff. I love philosophy tube,
Elastic
Bella, Hello Future
for
Me,
the-
Quinn's Ideas, Juno
for the
Moss,
stretch, of
Super
course.
Eye Patch Wolf, Izzy's. Heck, I'm always
And I
open
did
to
put a
more.
zipper on the chest piece, but it didn't work on my last one.
I've got 8 panels finished here. My
But it didn't work on the
hands
last
and
one
my
because
feel
my
awful. Like I feel like I've just
my
got
chest piece
old lady
was
hands, like I'm putting
too
myself into early arthritis.
small.
I guess people that hand sew all the time just kind of develop the
And the
skills
elastic
of the
was
joints for it.
overstretched.
In any case, I'm really chuffed with these. I think before I get carried away and like try and do the floating flowers
And the elastic was
some
a
beadwork in the center of each of
overstretched.
these, I need to cut out my pieces and kind of sew together most of my corset first because I want to be able to like.
And
iron those
this
seams
wasn't
without things like
reinforced
beads and
when I
floating
got it.
flowers that stick on top getting in the way.
This
The
wasn't
fact that I'm
reinforced
being
when I
really
got it.
sensible about the
So
order
I
of
had to
things,
reinforce
that's
it
new territory for me. I'm not usually this organized.
with
With my pieces
more pieces
cut
of
out,
foam.
I did discover some
With
of those
some
flowers went a
pieces
little too
of
close to those
my
seams, so I
foam.
had to unstitch a couple of them before I sewed my seams together. And let
And,
me tell you
yeah.
guys, I have never cut out fabric or sewed together
Glacier
seams
is my
more carefully and precisely than I
crown
have
jewel
this
in my
time. At
characters.
some point,
My
I felt like I
characters.
was diffusing a bomb, like I was
Cause
so
heck, my
stressed
channel
about
is
getting
literally
this
called
perfect.
Warrior
Good
Queen
was that
Glacier Wind.
gradient? Goddamn. a really good press seam. It looks so crisp.
What
and
did you
satisfying,
go
but I'm
to
kinda sad
Aurora
that all
Con
the beads
as?
are gonna get
Just
covered
asking.
up with some sort
Just
of
asking,
yellow
Jazz.
strip that goes down there. But speaking of strips, for the actual boning,
Oh,
I've got this stuff
okay,
here,
so
which is
she came
boning
from,
casing. It's literally just like a big
yes,
strip of
she's
stuff
a
that's, like,
warrior
all in the middle, so
queen.
you can thread the
That's
binding
why
in there,
she
which I
has
think is gonna be a little bit
armor,
easier for me to use
and she
than
has a
the
sword.
bias binding I've been using
She's a
up
warrior
until
queen.
now.
She's
And
not
unlike the bias
just
binding,
a
the
queen.
casing is
She's
really
a
close,
warrior
which
queen.
means I can use my cheat method of like
I have many
tapping
queens
this
on
one
my
down
channel.
before I sew it to hold it in place. Along with a thin
I
strip
have
of
many
waist tape
queens on my
through the middle
channel.
here, that's just going to help cinch in and reinforce
And
that
so,
waist. Now the boning channels are all
backstory.
getting sewn onto
Alright,
that back
backstory
straight
talk.
layer so that you won't
Oh!
really see any of those
Oh my god, I
sections
love
in
that
front. We've
anime.
got
My
flat steel
favorite,
boning going
my
in the
favorite
front and
character
synthetic
in,
rail bone that's got a little bit more give to it throughout those middle pieces to account for some curve. And the flat
Mate
steel's going in the very
was,
back edge here too. And I
Jinx.
can't believe it took me till this year to start doing this, but I bought
50
a zipper foot just
is
so I can
good.
sew nice and close to the boning without
If you don't
breaking
have
the
that
needle.
many, that much money,
It is time
and
for one of my
and
absolute favorite cosplay tools.
I don't mean that as an insult that you don't have that much artistic. I'm sorry if that sounded mean, but I really didn't try to
I
sound mean.
didn't think my awl could poke holes through a layer of Kuchil, Drupion,
I didn't want to sound mean,
hole
so
punch for this part. Switching out
I
my
just-
hole punch for the grommet press section, and I'm just gonna get these
Yeah,
grommets pressed
if-
in so fast at the back here.
if you don't
Throw
wanna
some lacing
make
in, and we are ready to give this a test
a certain
drive.
piece,
Okay, now
just
the
thrift it.
construction elements are all done and I can actually try it on. The fit is phenomenal.
I bought
Everything's sitting
most
nicely, like the
some
texture
of
of that
it.
Drupion. Oh, it's so good. The gradient and the flowers. The part I was most worried about was making sure this was a perfect fit. And I think we've gotten there. And I honestly think that is partly because I've made this like 4 times now. So let's get into the rest of it.
I've got some twisted
All right.
here that I want to
Sometimes-
apply onto each of these seams, just to
Sometimes
give it the
I
same
do
yellow
sound
light
like
Fran
I'm
has on her
being
corset.
mean,
And this is
but I
sewing
don't
through
mean
both
to.
layers, so now you can see why I wanted to put the boning in the
I don't
center of each
I don't
panel
mean
rather
to
than the
be
seams.
Okay,
sounding
piping is
mean.
now on the seams. I like
To be
how that
sounding
looks.
rude,
It has
because
gotten
I
me
really don't
back
try to be
focused on
rude.
how to cover this front bust. And I think I've got something which is
Because
kind
on my
of a
channel,
return
one of
to
my
original idea,
taglines
a bit of a twist.
is
So I've made
one of
this
my
thing
rules
here,
on my channel.
which
If you
is
don't have
literally
anything
just like
nice to
an
say,
offcut
don't say
of that
anything at all.
gradient dye with
Fro-
some of that piping
by
just
Thumper
tacked
from
on
Bambi.
there. I'm wondering if I can hand stitch this in place exactly like that. So
It's just weird,
basically,
just-
the piping will form exactly
It's just my
on the
brain,
edge
because
here,
I
and
was
this
like
will form the flap. And
autistic since
because
I was
it
like
is an
2.
entire separate
So I
piece that
was
floats
basically
off
autistic
the
for my
top
whole
of this,
life.
it shouldn't get like pulled around, which was the problem I had to
And
start with.
probably
So
because
I'm gonna try
if
it.
my
It sucks
if I
because
sound
think I'm gonna have
rude,
to
it's
hand
probably
stitch
my
that because it's right
my
against
Leo
that
right
metal
my
bust.
Leo
But I think
rising
if it can
in me.
work, like that looks so freaking good.
Now, I tolerated embroidering those flowers by hand, but I was definitely fighting
Yeah,
my
that's
own
me too,
impatience, just
and-
trying to make sure that I did this
and it keeps
neatly
getting
and not
interrupted,
rush it.
and
The
I was like,
willpower it took was crazy, but the
excuse
results
me,
are
I was
incredible.
talking.
This is so
Yeah,
crisp. For the hip
I have
panels,
to
I was
sound
back
more
to my
abrasive to
fabric
be able
glue
to
as an alternative to
be able to
tacking
finish.
stitch illegal sewing
I would be
technique
like,
ways. You
I'd
can
be
take
in the
the
middle
felt
of
quilting out
what
the
I'm
potion, but
saying,
you can't take the gal out of
and
the barrel.
somebody
You get
interrupts
the
me.
idea, right?
Either
I
my
still
grandma or
sew
mom
these
does.
on, being very careful to avoid
When
the
they're
boning.
together.
So bias binding, that is
I
how
was
I'm gonna
like,
seal up the top and bottom. So with the spare Drupion that I
why
have,
do
I'm
I
gonna
always
cut out a
get
strip right on the
interrupted?
diagonal here, and
when
I'm
I'm
running those
in the
strips
middle of
through a
some
bias tape maker, which is just gonna help fold
saying
it
something.
into place. It's easier said than
And
done.
that's
These things
how
are
I
a
am
little
with,
finicky.
like,
I did do most
if
of
I'm
the
doing
bias
one
binding
thing.
off
If I'm
camera
doing one
because
thing
it
and
was
I
late last
get told
night
to do
at,
another
like,
thing,
no freaks left o'clock. But the good news is, I think
that
we're in the home
could
stretch,
get pretty
there's not much
overwhelming.
left to do now. And quite frankly, thank God, I need an entirely non
And I could get like shut down and more
the bias binding is getting clipped onto that top edge, and I'm sewing it on at the same time that I sew
trigger
on
warning
this
for
piece
loud
of board.
noises.
In another
But
example of
I get like, oh my god, I'm just trying to do one thing at a time.
earlier, just
Yeah, that's
slightly
how I
shorter than
usually
the
am.
corset itself.
Like,
That means
if
as
I'm
long as I
doing
push
one
the
thing,
boning down as I
like
go, I can sew
clean
on this
chairs.
whole top bit
If my
without
mom
hitting
wants
any
me
of
to
those
do
boning
one,
pieces.
do another
Alright,
thing,
folks, we are almost there.
like
Home stretch.
put the chairs back, put the other chairs back.
That
gets
Getting into tight spaces is
when I'm in the middle of when I'm almost done with one one thing. She asked me to do another thing. She can't wait until I'm done to tell me.
Yeah,
So for that, I've just made
I'm
a
clearly
big,
in my
long
headspace.
strip of this silk dupion that's being gradient.
I'm clearly in my
I had to
headspace.
do this in like several
And
different
you
pieces and then
wanna
sew them
interrupt
together
me
because, as
and
you
tell
can
me to do
imagine,
one
trying
thing
to
when I'm
gradient dye
doing
something
another
this
thing.
long into a
I just-
pot would really suck. But the
Oh
idea
my
is that I'm
God.
just gonna ruffle the heck out of this
Yeah.
and sew it onto the bottom
That
of my
is
corset.
like
I've sewn a long straight stitch right
That
on the top
is,
of this
like-
piece with no back stitching. So if you grab one of those threads and carefully pull,
very
you can
annoying.
gradually ruffle this up. Not quite as satisfying as my usual technique, which is
My
just
mom tells
bashing
me,
the fabric
okay, you
into
don't
the
need to
sewing
yell.
machine, but
I'm
having
not
this one
trying to
neat
yell,
and even
Mom.
is kind of important this time round.
Just
Gluing this one down with some more of that piping,
kind
and
of-
then once again hand
That's
stitching
just-
this
I
one.
just kinda
I
tend
hate
to
this
talk loud.
so much. I just thought I'd pause to
Just
let you
kinda
guys
talk-
know that this
tend
is
to
the
talk loud.
worst thing ever. Like, I didn't really mind the hand embroidery for the flowers, but like hand stitching on the bias binding and the piping frill
Yeah,
piece
I just
here,
can't handle
that is
doing
this is the
when I'm doing one
worst.
thing,
Having the least
somebody else
amount of
asks me to
fun
do
that I've
another.
ever had cosplaying.
when I'm
There's
right in
not
the middle of it.
really any way around it apart from
Yeah,
just
that
to
gets
suck
pretty
it up
annoying.
and do it. So I'm just gonna keep doing it. The back side of the bias binding, not quite as difficult. There's just not as much to get through with that needle.
I'm autistic
filmed the
since I was
process
like
for this because
2.
I was planning on doing that on the other
My
half,
mom
but
told
I've
me
been doing these little
that
seed
I
bead
was
clusters in the
autistic
center of each of those
for the first
flowers.
time
I've
on,
been doing that for a
well,
couple
I
hours,
knew I
and
was
now
kind of
my
autistic
hands
because I had like
really
a
hurt
speech
from
impediment
trying to hold that
when-
tiny needle and squeeze it through all of this really thick fabric.
when
And
it came
eyes
to my,
hurt 'cause for half of that I
to
wasn't
pronouncing
wearing my glasses.
two
I'm still
certain
wearing my
letters,
glasses, but I got them for the purpose of
R's
helping my
and
eyes
S's.
with all of these close-up detail work. So it's not going to help my
Because
eyes,
before
but I'm not
I would
wearing
say,
it. All this to say, I've been
whenever I'm trying to
staring
say
at the seed bead
say a word,
clusters
yeah, that's
for
how
a few
I
hours now.
how I
Watched a video
usually
that say,
when I was
don't like
younger,
them. We're not
how I used to
doing
say
seed
it.
bead clusters
But
anymore.
now
Something
I
about them,
say
my
it
instinct
with-
just says no. Instead, I'm
with
going
the
to
S
try doing
sound.
a bunch of flat back
And my
crystals
R's
in the
were
center
even
of each
worse.
of these. It will be easier, which is a bonus. But
Right.
my main concern is just that
Right.
it'll be hopefully
I
like
used
a
to say
cleaner
it like
and sleeker finish.
W-I-G-H-T.
Overall, like, you probably can't pick it up on camera, but these are quite
When I meant to say
and
right.
I like the organic touch. I might use those for some
So-
of the flowers that are fabric flowers.
So I knew
don't know,
that
I think
that
I'm just
part
gonna
I kind
justify
of
it by
knew
mostly running off
I
bags again.
was
We've got
had
good
to be
old reliable
autistic.
E6000 in the center
But
of each
then,
of these flowers, and I drove
when I
over
was
2
really
hours
young,
to
like
my
around
favorite place
6
I
months
knew had
old,
these crystals in exactly the right size and colors. So you might have had
it
to
is
get
now.
some
But when I was
flowers
really
or
young,
fabric flowers.
really young,
What
yeah,
that
that's how I
meant is
used to say
Ferns
it.
got, like, not just those
Really
tiny
young,
flowers on her
and how
corset,
I
but loads
don't,
of
like-
tiny and larger flowers,
right.
like on her skirt,
I kind of
on her hair,
right.
all that sort of thing.
I kind
which
of
I'm probably
talk from
gonna
the
make
corner
out of fabric at some
of my
point.
mouth
But what I want to do is add a couple of those fabric flowers onto
when I
that corset.
say
They'll sort of blend in
my
amongst a
words.
lot of the embroidery flowers. But my thought
And-
is that maybe like ferns.
But when I was
wild
young,
fay magic
I
or
used to
druid
say it,
magic
and you
is
used to have a
making the
really
flowers that
hard
are decorative
time
on her corset
until I got into
slowly
speech
come to life
therapy
and start
at
growing
through
off
my high
the
school.
actual corset too,
So,
like the other bits of foliage.
high school
This is
and
so
middle school.
unnecessary. Like the concept art does not demand this. Nobody is asking me
And
to do
then
this. Most
I-
people are
and
not
then when I
even
was, like,
gonna
6
notice
months
this on
old,
the costume because it's going to be so
I
subtle,
started
but it's
walking
one
when I
of
was
those
6 months
tiny
old.
little visual storytelling elements
When
that
it
I
usually
pick up on,
takes
and so
a
now
toddler
I just have to do it, even if it means
when they
giving
were
myself a lot of
1
extra
year
work
old
for no particular reason.
to start
I
walking.
mean, at the very
I
least, it's
started-
good practice
I-
for when I do all those tiny flowers
Hold
on
on.
the rest of her. So we've
I
got some
started
scraps here of cheap
walking
hardy satin
when I was
and
6
lining
months
fabrics,
old.
and I've got
My
this
brother
stuff, stiff and stuff to be
didn't start
exact.
walking
I'm basically
until
just
he was
brushing it
1.
on. I'm not even
So I
bothering
kind of
spraying
knew
because
I
I've
was
got to
I was
absolutely
autistic.
soak this fabric. I might have gone a little bit overboard.
Good morning, folks. I have left these all entirely.
I'm sorry, I
different,
went
so,
on and on and
let's
on and
move
on and on and
so
on
we
and
can
on and
make
on
some
and on.
flowers.
But
Very satisfying. Oh my goodness. Hey, okay, that's really promising.
just went
So,
on and
yeah,
on
it-
and
it
on
just-
and on
it's
and on
changed
and on and
literally
on.
fabric satin to have this like waterproof plasticky paper.
I don't know
texture.
why
Take a
I'm
little
like
bit
that.
here. If
Probably
I
because
cut
I got
that,
it from my
what I
grandma.
see is-
I probably got that
Okay,
that trait
that's
from
what I
my
wanna
grandma.
see. I'm not seeing like fraying happening on
To
this
get
edge
the
here,
over
even if I try and,
repetitiveness.
like worry at it. Okay, if I cut myself out a petal like this and and I want it to like be a little bit curved because I
Yeah.
think traditionally they would do this with heat and like these weird expensive tools. But I think that I might be able to just
And
so if
I
start to
think
pull on
I
that,
might
can
want to
get
go
some cool
to be a
texture. I don't know if it's
professional
necessary for this
cosplayer.
part because the flowers in the
I
corset
guess I
are
don't know
so
where to find
versatile.
cons,
And
like local cons,
that's so static
cons that I don't have to
Look
go
at that. If I
driving
try and,
that
like,
far
just
to.
physically cut
The
one out,
reason why I go to
cut one
Kitsune
out
Con
that small
every
is
year,
gonna be
because
so
it's like
hard
6
for me to,
minutes
like,
away
get
from
the shape
from my house.
right and to get it even
Because it's 6
inside.
minutes
And
away
then
from
I
my
was
house.
thinking about
And
this. I just
reason
bought
why I
this
go to
thing, which is
PopCon
like a confetti,
every
you know,
year,
hole punch
well,
sort of thing. And it
last
works
year
pretty well on paper.
was
Like,
my
you can
first
see I've
year.
tested it
This
out
was my
here.
second
I
time
wanna
going
test
to
it out on
PopCon.
this, but if I don't,
Was
I've
my
got-
second
and I
time
sort of
going to
been like,
PopCon.
I don't imagine this
And
would
then-
work well on regular fabric because it would just kind of get caught in the thing.
Last year-
But because
oh,
this one's
speaking
kind
of
gone
a
all crisp
PopCon.
and like a papery texture,
Oh, speaking of PopCon,
that sounded good. Oh, I think that worked really well. Okay, not quite.
last
So it
year,
almost
my
worked.
first year of
No,
going
it's all got
to
caught in
PopCon.
there. Okay, this whole bunch is
I
not
ended up
designed
winning
for
their
fabric.
adult
But
contest
that's another
last year,
fancy hole punch.
but I didn't win this
I
year
don't regret it. It
because I was
worth
one
the
of the
shot,
winners
and
last year,
I have a
which
feeling
was
I'll
this
have use
one,
for these in
which
future or
was
something. I
the
don't know.
2024.
My option is my happy medium. So I'm literally just gonna do like snowflake style, right? Where you just fold the edges.
'Cause I live
and
in
you
Green
fold it
Bay,
in half, and then you fold it
and
in
I
half
don't know
again. You
where to
what?
go,
I'm not gonna
where
fix it
to
this second.
find
Let's,
cons.
Let's move this around a second.
I might be
Okay,
able to.
little square
Yeah, there's
fabric,
one in
fold
Appleton,
and fold it again, and then I'm gonna
but
take
that
this
was
middle
Phoenix
fold
Con,
here, and from there,
and
I'm gonna go
my mom
out
and I
like
couldn't
this.
go because it interfered, coincided with my my mom's work schedule. It coincided with my mom's work schedule, and I go to PopCon every year because, yeah, me too, but a Gandalf cosplayer won first place. I was like, okay, my mom said to calm, was mouthing to me,
That's gonna fall.
okay,
Hey, there we go. That's
and I kept
kind of
telling
what I
her,
was thinking, right? I got my
I
four little
know,
paws there.
Mom, you don't need to
Look
tell
how tiny
me
this
to
is in my
calm
hands. I
down.
have small hands anyway. Doing this like surgery because my
God, my
fingers are too
throat
big
is
for
getting
this.
dry.
Like if
I
I
wish
do
I had my
that,
water bottle up here. Hold on, I'll be right back up. I just have to go grab something.
Can you see the vision? The funny thing is, I thought it was going to be so small, but they're still a little bit big. So I'm going to cut these like a little bit smaller again. They're so tiny. This stuff right here is why people get confused about cosplay competitions when like these really intricate cosplays win, because you don't see a lot of these details from afar. So they look so plain next to like really big builds, but like there's all these teensy little details like this. The main issue is these look very flat and textureless and cartoony. So I figured out that if I take one of these makeup sponges and push into the center of it with some tweezers, I'm gonna steam the heck out of that right before I push it in, and it basically scrunches that around the tweezers to create some creases that I just otherwise wouldn't be able to get because they're so tiny. So now I can tie some thread to my corset here with a little bit of E6000 here just for that extra reinforcement.
Alright, I'm back.
So two of these
I just have to go grab my water bottle
together, that
so I
actually
can
makes for a
refresh
very
my
convincing little floating
my
flower
stomach.
here, especially with one of the
My
crystals
stomach?
to help blend it into the
I
surrounding.
meant to say my
When I
throat.
started making more of these, I did a couple of variations as well, so there was just as much variety as with the embroidered flowers. And despite how tiny and tedious these were, I had a great time making them.
Alright, I'm back.
I'm glad to finish on a high
I was
note.
just
And with
grabbing
the last of those floating
my water bottle
flowers
because
attached,
my throat was
we
starting to
have
get
ourselves
really
a corset. I'm
my
gonna
throat
keep
was starting to get really
everything
dry.
as neatly and precisely as I've made this corset. I even gradient dyed the back lacing to better match that orange.
If any of you didn't get a drink of water today, make sure you get a drink of water. Make sure you hydrate.
What this actually looks like. So let's put this on with
Because we all need water to live. We all need water to live.
Actually, that's not accurate. This is not Fern's horns. These are not Fern's flowers.
Thank you. I got all of them from Michigan. From when I went to a concert with my mom in Michigan. I got
here we go. The final corset on and
These
fitting with the
two
rest of the
from-
costume so far.
from
Everything's
Mac-
sitting
in
nicely, it's
Mackinac.
comfy,
Wow.
like all of those details together.
The two
sit
Pokemon
so
stickers
well. There's already a couple
and
of tweaks I
the
want to make. For starters, I want to
take
shorten
time
the
to make
frill
your
a little
soul
bit.
happy.
I want to actually shorten the whole corset because it just feels a
from
little bit
from
long.
a coffee
All
shop
of those
in
things are future Charlotte's
in
problems.
Mackinac
Now,
City in
I
Michigan.
am really happy with how
And
this
then
is
I
looking.
got
And I don't know if you guys
this
can tell,
deer
but
sticker.
it added some extra layers to the skirt, so it's
And
like
this
organza and
I Love You
coats on
More
here, so it's just
from,
extra floaty and dreamy now. And let's be honest, a costume like this demands
Deer
to be
Ranch.
frolicked in. So
I just had to think of it. And then I got this sticker from it's kind of fading, but I got this sticker from Sweetwater
so at least I
in
won't be squinting in my thumbnail image.
Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Look at this. I've got short sleeves on. I haven't seen my forearms or my collarbone
In
for
Ann
like
Arbor,
6
Michigan.
months, just because I've been living under 5 different layers of thermals and fluffy dressing gowns. Anyway, actual conclusion stuff. This was hard. I'm not entirely
This
sure I
cosplay is
enjoyed
pretty
it.
warm
It was very
'cause it's a
satisfying seeing
lot
the results, though. I
of
feel
stuff
like
to put
I
on.
could learn to love this kind of precision work.
I might
think
do
this is
another
actually
live
as
on
good as I could
Halloween.
possibly
I'm
get
not
for as
sure.
inexperienced as I am. Like, I'm sure
I
that there
think
are
I
tweaks that I
might
could
do
make.
another live
Years
after
down
I'm
the
done
line
trick or
when I've
treating.
made, like, 8
Oh, my
cornflakes.
favorite Pokemon!
I'm really happy with
I
it.
got
I hope
Pokemon
you
cards
guys
of it,
enjoy
of my
watching
favorite
this.
Pokemon.
A big thank you to my ultimate supporters. These are my top people on Patreon.
I actually have 2
Marsupial
favorite Pokemon.
Owner, Joshua, Michael, Mohican Creates, Mix Randvi, Residual Images, Robert Mischief, Tamara, Vera Lynn, and Yuri. Thank you also to these other
These 2 are my
Patreon
favorite
members who are on
ones
screen now. You should come and join us
they're
over on Patreon. I
horses.
post previews,
They're
work in
fire
progress,
horses.
and sometimes
But
entirely
Rapidash
custom mini-videos.
had a
Like Balance
horn,
of
so I
Delicious
called
Dungeon, or
called
this
him a
headpiece
fire
right here,
unicorn.
Vampire Ball Gown. Sometimes I even do
And then
giveaways as
I
part of
got-
the competition. Like recently, I gave away this Harlequin hood. And of course, joining Patreon
Not my
is
crown!
the best way you can support me. So
Oh no, my crown came off!
and ambitious
My crown came off!
But even just by being here, like
I'm just adjusting it real quick here.
all that good stuff that keeps the YouTube robots happy, you are also supporting me. So thank you guys so much.
My
And I'll see you
crown,
guys next video.
my crown
Bye.
came off. So, there we go, got it back on. And then I got Leafeon right here. Got Leafeon on my wall.
Pro player.
And then I got,
Fuel the chase. Fuel the moment.
got Sylveon right here. My favorite
For life.
evolution.
Explore now.
My favorite evolution.
You can hear me say
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, that's what I keep saying whenever I see Rapidash, because one of my favorite animals is a horse or horses, and plus I even sleep with a stuffed animal.
Last year,
I even
committed
sleep
myself
with a
to
stuffed
the
animal.
biggest and most ambitious cosplay I've ever attempted. First
Even though I'm
of all,
20 years
it's
old,
open.
I still
My
sleep with a
last
stuffed
piece,
animal.
My chef d'oeuvre.
I still
And I'm
sleep with a
definitely
stuffed
pronouncing
animal.
that one wrong. I just circled
We have that in common, Jess. We have that in common.
I made some legs. I promised to
We have that in common. Wow.
And that is
Oh,
as
oh,
far as
oh.
I've gotten. Well, almost a
Speaking
year
of
starting
Sylveon.
this project and all I've done
Speaking
for
of
the leg feels a little silly. That ends today, my friends. We are getting back into
I
it.
got her in Lego form right here.
Makeup and other
Don't mind all the dust on her.
And we are going to make
Ah!
this utterly ridiculous, floaty, multi-layered skirt.
There used to be like a
I'm
a
scared.
clip
Let's break this down, shall
to
we?
keep this on,
First up,
so
look
I'm
at how it's
trying to be
sitting.
very
All
careful
these
with this, not to
floaty,
lose it.
curly layers. We
And
need
I
some
have
sort of supporting
have
underlayer, and for that we're doing panniers,
Sylveon
also known
right
as
here.
pocket hoops. I want to stick with these
She came
because
with,
it's only the
um,
volume that I need at the
with the
side.
other
I have
evolutions,
never made pocket hoops or a hoop skirt or
with
even
another
a body prep before,
evolution
so
Lego
that's gonna
set.
be a
I don't know where they
time.
went.
So we are getting into
I
the
think
meat
there's
and potatoes
some.
of this skirt. And for that we have all of these green
I'm
and
sorry, I'm
yellow
not giving you my Sylveon.
and they have to
I'm not
be
giving you my
ultra lightweight
Sylveon.
to
I'm
make them,
sorry,
you know,
Jess, but I'm not
with
giving you my
insulating system
Sylveon.
of like a chiffon or organza. And they need to be able
I'm
to
sorry.
dye extremely well because my old enemy
She's
is
the only Lego Sylveon I have, so
brilliant dyeing. And the fact that we have all of these gathers and ruffles and floatiness and layers means I'm going to have to turn to my other old enemy, mock-ups. Once I've done my pocket hoops and worked out my pattern pieces,
I'm Sylvia, I'm back up on my
my
shelf.
my pieces, and then I need to do those perfect little curly hemlines.
I had to get Sylvia back up on my shelf without her, so she doesn't fall. And can I ask you something, Jess?
I know there's all these bits of foliage and whatnot, but I think that's going to be another video. Well, we have that all mapped out, so let's start with the pocket hoops. So I was super intimidated by the idea of this, but looking at some online tutorials, oh my god, they're relatively simple. They're just like a rectangle with some burning in it and another rectangle to hold it together. I don't want to jinx myself, but this part might actually be super easy. So I've got some steel burning. These are
Okay,
pieces that I
so
pulled out of,
do you
like,
know
a
any
shirt
anime?
That wasn't what I wanted, so I've just kind of salvaged the part. I've got some nice ribbon, I've got some bias binding. The only reason I've got bias binding is because this is a really stiff bias
Oh, I don't
binding.
mind.
It might work
I
better
put
as,
things
burning
in
pieces
chat
than the ribbon is. And I've got a meter or two of this
when-
cotton foil. Why banana yellow? Well, fern skirts are like green and yellow. And
What's your
orange.
favorite
And the
anime?
place I was at didn't have orange, and their
What's your
crinkles
favorite
actually
top?
tell.
Well,
And I
what's your
kinda
top
really
two
like
favorite
this
anime?
yellow. I mean, you're not going to see any of it anyway under the skirt, so the color is really
Mine
just for us.
might
Watching
be
a few
surprising.
tutorials has sparked my hubris, so I'm not going to use any patterns for this, just vibes. I'm going to cut out roughly the shapes I need and see how we go. Let's find our way to some patty ears.
My Hero.
I'm gonna cut myself
I
a couple of
got
these little
two My
rectangles.
Hero
I suppose
Academia
they're closer to trapeziums. I'm gonna cut
figures.
myself some longer
One
ones
right
to go
here.
on the side,
Mina,
and a couple
because
of
she's my
shapes for pockets.
she's
My
my
original
favorite
ones,
character
my
because
pockets are all
she
made from seam. So basically sewed together and
she's
then
my
turned inside out
favorite
and
character.
sewed together again. That way all of those
and my
edges are
favorite
fully encased,
character
and I'm gonna
in the
put- I'm
anime
gonna
because
sew
she's
that
a
directly into
dancer.
this slit that I've put at the top
She's
of
a
this
dancer
rectangle
and
called
she
trapezium. And as
and I
you
do
can
have
see, I'm
Deku,
gonna
but I don't want to
explain
get up
myself.
and
That's because
get
I
him from
also
off
have
my
no idea
shelf.
what I'm doing. I'm gonna fold and iron
But
down the bottom edge of this rectangle
wait,
trapezium.
wait, I might be able
And
to
onto
zoom
this bottom edge,
in
I'm gonna
on
sew
him. I
some
just
of
need
that
to
bias binding. Just a
see
nice
what I'm
straight
doing here.
stitch down the top and bottom edge to create like a little tube in the middle where I'm gonna be able to thread the boning. And then I'm gonna sew in two more of those. So I've
Right-
got three total
right there.
little pockets for the boning going up the pocket hoops.
Don't mind the
I
Elsa.
put that extra long
I got it.
panel onto one. I tried to reinforce
Don't
that
mind the
by
Elsa,
putting
but
some
he's-
bias binding on the back. Okay, metal boning piece has been cut exactly to the length
If I
of
could
these little
figure out
tubes,
where I'm
and
going.
like a true professional, I'm gonna seal off the edge by wrapping it in masking
Jeez.
tape, threading the boning into the channel. This was very satisfying
Right here.
to see, and you can kind of get an idea.
And he
of
has
how
little
it's gonna
area
hold
on
the
his
structure
shoulder.
already. Now, I think this is definitely not how the instructions would have you do it, but I don't like following instructions, so this is just the way that I did this. I'm holding it together with the boning in it.
I got those ones from KitsuneCon last year. And then
It kept trying to like spring out. I have a feeling
Fucking
I was
good.
supposed to sew the whole thing together and then put the boning in.
Also,
But, you know, we got
my
there in the end.
bigger
And as you can see, I'm trying to seal up this edge
figurine,
with some more of that bias binding just to try and
anime
make everything
figurine,
as sealed in and reinforced as possible.
I have
All
a
the
Mitsuri!
pieces are now in here. This is
I have a
fully sealed
Mitsuri!
up. I'm just
I
gonna
got
use
her
the top here
the first time I went to
twist it, and then
KitsuneCon.
just scrap piece of that bias binding
I
over
got-
the top of that raw edge because I forgot to hem the top.
I got
before I
her
sewed it onto the
from
waist.
KitsuneCon my first year.
Pocket hoops.
My
They are
first year I
looking
went
lovely. I'm pretty happy
with-
with them so far.
Well, the
They're
first year I went with my
DIY,
grandma,
and that's gonna be
and then the
very
second year
valuable
I
because
went
anybody
alone.
who's weight on this costume is gonna be of huge
The third
benefit.
year
At some point
I
later,
went
I'm
alone
probably
again.
gonna, like, put a buckle across
And then the
here, so
fourth
I won't
year
have these
I
straps, like, flapping
went
around.
alone again.
Anyway, these are looking lovely and flirty
And then the
fluffy,
second,
so hopefully
then
with some
this
flowy
year
fancy skirts over the top.
I went alone the
It's
first day.
overall, and of course, it's got
I
pockets.
went alone
One
the
big
first
looky
day.
outlet I made. I used that really stiff
And then
bias
I
binding
got-
as casing 'cause I'm like, it's gonna
Then
be
the
nice and reinforced.
on the 10th
Because the casing
I went
is the
alone,
inside
but I went
and
as
where the
two
boning
characters
is
that
pressing
day.
is on the outside
And
where
then-
it's just cotton voile. So where it's
Then
actually
the
pressing against the
12th?
wheel, there isn't
No, not the
really any
10th.
reinforcement.
The
So at some point,
11th.
I'm gonna have to go over these areas
I got
and
my-
put something on the outside reinforcing
I
these sections.
mixed
Otherwise,
it
I'm
up.
afraid it's just gonna rip through the voile at some point.
I
So
mixed
that
it up.
is
I
all
mixed
future
my,
shows to worry about. For now, I want to move straight onto the mock-up.
I
Oh, hi
mixed-
there.
No sponsorship
I
today.
mixed
This is just
the
reaching
dates
me,
up.
interrupting
But I
last
know
week
it
to tell
was
my fellow
through,
Aussies that I'm going to be
what
at PAX Australia.
was-
I'm going to be there
went
all
through,
3 days.
um,
On the Friday, I'm going to be this Zelda. I'm going to be in 2 panels, both of which are very
went
serious.
through
I will put the details up
the 11th
above somewhere
and the
for you to
13th.
read. I'll be there Saturday too, as
And-
Jennifer, and Sunday as whatever. I have
and
the
I
energy
was
to wear. But feel free
in
to come and say
the
hi
in
if you see me.
the
I hope to see you there. And back to past me.
Their cosplay masquerade.
Voluminous, super floaty skirt, which instantly to me says chiffon or organza. Both
As
super
Glacier.
lightweight
But I just have to
fabrics,
find my
and
award. I
traditionally
wonder where it went.
a little bit stiffer, it
I
holds the shape a bit better, whereas
hope it didn't fall on the
chiffon
floor.
is draping. If I
Probably
got that
didn't,
wrong, some
but-
people can actually me in the comments. Anyway, because these are also going to be
Get back here.
gradient dyed to get that transition between yellow and orange.
I was holding my popcorn award.
Way easier to achieve with natural fiber.
I'm putting you there so then I
The only
can.
natural fiber you can really do for chiffon or organza is silk, which is famously very expensive.
If I can
Price
find
silk,
my
I would
fucking
go with
award
synthetic
from
and just deal
Tiffany
with the
Con
fact that the dyeing
this year.
process is gonna suck a little more. But this stuff is pure silk organza. And I
I
know
can
you're
show
thinking
you.
this must have cost an arm
But
and a
I
leg,
can't
but
find it.
listen,
I can't seem to
this
find
is
it.
$4 a meter. My sewing girlies out there already know what's up, but for everyone else, just understand that that price for silk is preposterous. It is unheard of. Now, I
but-
got this stuff from a place called Silk
Where the
and
heck
Stitch.
is my print?
They do dead stock fabric, which is essentially fabric no longer needed for a big company. Essentially,
No worries. I tend to talk
you probably wouldn't
a
find
lot
that price
too.
If you went there right now, I
So-
just got extremely lucky that they had exactly what I was after, and they were having a massive Black Friday sale, which
If I-
combined with my wholesale discount.
Why did I not
So
find
hear me
my-
out here. I'm not really going to make a mock-up.
Tiffany
And
Con.
I'm not just saying that because I want
know I
a chance
have
to get out
it.
of making a mock-up. I promise.
I know I fucking
Because
have
the skirt is essentially just like a
No, it's
block
not
of
in my closet.
and
It's-
ruffles
it's-
and swags of fabric. can
I know
just
it's not in my
grab
closet.
my existing silk on the mannequin.
I had it on my
and
bed.
twist to determine the shape that I want without
I had it on
cutting
my
into
bed and now I
expensive
can't
silk.
find it.
Side note, this is chiffon, not organza. I only discovered that later in the process of making this though.
So
Oh, it fell down there.
it's
Okay.
very roughly pinned to the
I found it.
mannequin with the
It just
pocket
fell
hooks,
between
just
my
so I
bed
can get
and
an idea of how
my
things
wall.
are like draping, how they're hanging, and this is looking pretty promising. I love this.
Yeah, it just fell between my wall and my bed. But I got it. So, I got my- Oh, I don't want to show the award off right now. Right yet. Just this moment, my pajamas. No, not my pajamas. But this award is highly special to me because this was my first time doing the Kitsune contest, the Kitsune the Kitsune Con Masquerade.
If I have like two of these gift swags, two of these like
Masquerade.
here, and then two
And
of
I
these
ended
that
up
go all the
winning
way around and will join at the front.
Alright, time to dye this
an
fabric.
award.
Now my light green is not
And-
far off the bottom of this skirt, but I'm
And it
gonna
was
lighten up with a tiny bit of
Creative
teal
Cosplay
and
Upcycle.
green just to brighten up that
I-
color a tad. So I've got the
This
dark
one was my
distilled water
first
and the vinegar heated
time
up
being
on my
in-
stove top, and with
in the
a little
Kitsune
bit of
Con
salt
cosplay
right
contest
there so that the dye sits nice and evenly.
for,
I'm just gonna start lowering this in and pulling it
because
back
of all
with
the
dye
stuff I'm wearing
gradually.
underneath it, and then I put my own flair.
Alright, initially
On top of everything.
wanted to gradient dye the green
So
or
I-
do it all the same flat color. Because looking at the concept art, there is like a little bit of a gradient, but that also could
This
just
one,
be
I was
how
like-
they represented shadow. Ah, but even if it is just representing
That was
shadow,
me!
it's gonna look really cool if it's gradient dyed. Anyway, my test piece
I was like- And then my mom had to hit me on the shoulder to make me go up. Oh my god! And they have a video of the contest up.
And if I decide once the whole thing is dyed, that
They have a
I
video
want
of the
to
contest
zoom
up
in
on
slightly higher up into the gradient
on
section.
I
Okay, big
believe
challenge
it was
with gradient
Fox
dyeing is you kind of have
Media.
to hold your fabric piece flat.
Thank you,
so
Jazz.
that you can dip in and out easily without
Thank
getting
you, Jazz.
like, crunchy lines or
I
folds in
appreciate
the
it.
fabric while it's dyeing. Very easy to
You
do.
might
It's
see
more
another new
technical
character
techniques,
coming
but
up
with giant
later
rectangular
tonight
pieces like my skirt is
after I get
15,
out of
that is
Glacier.
really hard. I think I've come up with a solution. It looks kind of silly, but like, hear me out on this. So this is a bunch of like the spare steel boning that I used my pocket hoops
Come on.
that I've like
There.
basically taped into a
I wish I could
giant
put a
hoop
like
and just
background
hang
on
my
here.
fabric onto. And my idea is that it's essentially going to provide like
And I can't
a
put
bit
a-
of
put a-
frame so that I can dip this in and out of some sort of
I don't know
like,
how to
giant
put a
pit for my gradient
picture
dyeing.
on
Oh
here.
my god, this is so stupid looking, but like I have tried this once before for my Aravos cosplay like ages ago, and it kind of
Yeah.
worked.
I got a lot.
I think it's either this or cut it into
I got a
a
lot.
bunch of individual
And
triangles
the ones that I
with,
made,
like,
I
8 to
most
16
recently
different
did
seams to sew it
were all my
together.
Halloween characters.
I'll be able to get
But
the most
luckily
even
for
green
me,
dyeing that I
luckily
can.
for
And
my
at the
subscribers,
very least,
including
this
you, Jazz,
layer can serve as a
I have a
protective
full
ground
playlist
because
with
the
all of
much
with
more
called
visible
My
relative to
Spooky
orange
Wonderland.
shaded dye. The only problem is with a hoop that's
And it has
size,
all
I
of
can't
the
do this
characters that
inside, and I can't do it
I
using a tiny
just
little stovetop.
released.
Luckily, these test layers went into this deep
And I
green
did create a new video
instantaneously,
with
so
Glacier
I
at
guess what
the
I did
con.
is heat up most of my water on the
I was gonna do
stove,
two,
rise
but
the
I ran out of time. Because I created the one that you saw.
So it's a very roundabout way
Unrelated.
to do things, but if I
But
can
what are the
follow up,
plushies
I
behind you?
think it'll give me the best results. I am
Okay.
doing some sort of,
So
like, giant, shallowish
so
pit
let me
to
get
put in, though.
okay,
I'm gonna go to
so
Bunnings, and I'll see you guys in a bit.
I got
Okay, success. I have a giant plastic
I got two of the
shallowish
stuffed animals
cup,
from my
which I
trip
should be
to
able
Michigan.
use my deep dye.
My
The only thing is,
bee
of course, it is gonna be like 5
and
times
my
the
deer
volume
I
as
got
my
from
little
Michigan.
tiny
I got
now I bought like 5
this
little
one.
things of that dye, so it should
Let me get 'em.
just about be enough as long as I keep this relatively shallow.
So heating up
These
all
two.
the
I got these
concentrated
two
dye
from
in my
Michigan,
designated
from my
dye
trip to
pot
Michigan.
while my safe for
I got these two from my trip to Michigan.
boil up a bunch of water on top.
And
all of that super hot water is going in this giant
I got
bucket
this one
outside, and
from
now time is of the essence because I'm racing
from
against it before all of this
University of
cools down
Michigan.
too much to really affect the dyeing
And I got
process.
this one from Deer Ranch.
Moving as fast as possible, but also not spilling
Yeah, I got
dye
these
or
two
hot
from
water anywhere. I've got a
from my
big
time in
bucket
Michigan.
here of just plain
My
water
week in
just to
Michigan.
dip my fabric in, make sure it's wet through.
So now I gotta
Letting
get
the fabric soak
her
beforehand
back in her
really helps
spot.
everything stay even, and when you're dyeing outside like I am, it also means it's not going to blow away in the wind. Beginning the nerve-wracking part of actually dipping this piece of fabric, I was a little bit panicked about the fact that the fabric kept sticking together despite the hoop, but the folds at this point didn't
Remind
really
me, I'm
affect
just
it
putting
too
my
much,
stuffed
and
animals back
having
up.
it on the hoop did ensure that,
Okay,
like, no
so
matter what,
next.
the top of the fabric stayed
Okay.
at the same level, so the gradient was forming a long, like, parallel to
Yeah.
where the hem was going to be. I'm going
And
right
then
around the outside of my house
got.
to give this a rinse off in the laundry. I
No,
don't want to
okay.
lose my
I
blood
heard something
dripping
pop.
dye onto any of the carpet.
I heard
All of
something
my
like
green pieces are now fully
like-
dry and
like
look
snap.
at these.
And
They're
then
looking
most of them.
absolutely fabulous.
Oh,
Like, look at this
oh! I didn't
color
show you another stuffed animal I got from Michigan, which was this little girl. I got her from Cape Point. From not Cape Point. That's not in Michigan. That's in Door County. But this is a little dragon, and her name is Mia. Who did I got this one? But because of look at that, she's sitting in my hand. But whatever. But anyway, I got her from Castle Rock in Michigan, and her name is Mia. I had a neighbor in my old neighborhood by the name of Mia. By the name of Mia.
Luckily for me, none of the other
For little
pieces
dragon.
actually be in a gradient, so everything can just get scrunched
I
into
think
my
she's
pot on
my
the stove, no
fourth
going outside for this
dragon.
one. I just had to make sure
Big
it
Boo I
dunked
have.
in, swirled it around,
The other three are up on
before
my
it got screwed
are
right to
up
yellow.
on
This
my
was like at 11 PM, so I had to hang this
I'm gonna
out
turn around
outside
here.
in the dark, and we have no lights in our
And then
backyard, so please enjoy
that
this
top
footage
shelf
straight out of
next
my
to my Rainbow High dolls. Those are all my Beanie Boos. There's a lot more behind them. And down below is my Squishmallow collection.
For round 3, with the orange, I've got a couple of different dyes to use. This is going to be the main one I want to use, which is a coral.
Yeah,
and I really like
I
this
know.
one because it's
And
got
then-
sort of peachy pinky undertones. It's not just
And
like
then
a straight up
I got
orange,
this
and I think
one
it kinda matches
from
the
another
color
cosplayer.
well. But
From
I've
another
got
co-
a tad of tangerine
from another
dye as well,
cosplayer.
just to buff up the orange a little bit.
And they were trying to get rid of all their Pokemon plushies. And I ended up being able to get Score Bunny. I've been able to get Score Bunny from them. And then I got 2 Squishmallows on my
Get
bed.
a free ride with your buddies.
I got 2 Squishmallows on my bed. No, not 2.
25. Skip
Not
that.
just 2 Squishmallows on my bed.
Don't
I got.
claim your free
I also got Stitch, Junie the Banana, and Mira the Rosie Maple Bot.
Only $3.99. Can I take a look?
let me show the delicious sliced steak and onions first.
And then
Okay, you deserve it.
up there was not my,
Little Caesars is the real
was
deal.
not,
So test piece turned out pretty well. It looks actually
but not,
in camera.
that was up there, was not all my Beanie Boos.
But then I found this slightly
Most of
too
them
long
are
and not
over
enough
here on my
And
bed.
I know that like
I got
nobody's gonna sit there and be like, oh, yes,
Buckley
okay,
up there.
boring. Actually, someone will. There's
Mia
always
over
someone in the
here,
comments
which I
that's
just
going,
showed you.
actually me about my
And then
content.
I got
Anyway,
Phoenix,
test run,
the
and
art,
tiny
the
little coral, but one
Arctic
of the whole
Fox.
down that wasn't too strong is this one. And again, in
Like,
camera, that looks like
Snowy,
nothing, but it
no,
is
no, I
right
did not
between
name
its
her
toe
Snowy.
So
I
this
didn't
is
name
the
this
sweet
one
spot I'm
Snowy.
aiming for, and I just have to remember my
Sophie,
exact ratios when I
and
do the giant
a
one.
coincidence about this one, I have a cousin named Sophie. I have a cousin named Sophie. I have a cousin named Sophie. My cousin and I have this exact squishmallow. This exact squishmallow. This is not a squishmallow. It's a Beanie Boo. This exact Beanie Boo. My cousin has the bigger one. I have this one.
Alright,
The
I think I've been
the-
dyeing fabric now for like 2.5 days
the
straight.
6-inch
However,
one.
though, this is an example of one of my orange.
And then I got.
I have a lovely
I can't remember your
soft
name.
gradient there. I'm really happy
And then I
with
got
it.
Atlas.
Oh, fun story. I lit my
I got
countertop
Atlas.
on fire during this process. So
And
this is when I
then
was doing the
this
smaller
one is
pieces for the
near and dear to my
courses.
heart.
So I was doing it inside on my stove
I
top.
got it from my.
And a little
This
splash
for my
of dye
college.
landed on the top next to the stove.
I got
One
this
thing
one from
I've
my
learned
college.
gets dye out
They
of
had
really well is like nail polish remover, right? And you can see where this
Oh,
is going
Sophie
now. So
or
take
Atlas?
the nail polish remover onto the countertop
Sophie or
and
Atlas?
wipe up that to make
Leopard.
Sure it doesn't stain
Okay.
the countertop with
Purple
dye.
leopard.
And apparently it was like
Purple
just close enough
purple
to
leopard.
light flame on
Can you tell me the colors of it?
and suddenly my
I know
countertop
you
was
said
on fire.
one color was
Luckily for
purple.
me, the only visible sign is like a
Oh, Sophie!
discoloration, and it was on fire for like maybe 3 seconds.
Oh,
before my flame
Sophie!
circuited, and then it was gone. So it wasn't
Yeah,
like
my cousin's name is
it was
Sophie.
just a moment of like, oh, that wasn't
Is
very
that
fun.
crazy?
Okay, so with all
My
that
cousin's
being
name is
done,
Sophie.
The mannequin's back out because I'm gonna have to like pin and
That's
cut
crazy.
my fabric and sew my
And then
pieces together.
I didn't show you all
I'm
my
just gonna
my
start
Pokemon
ripping it and pinning it in place,
plushies.
and
Cause
this one's gonna
I
be-
got a hoopa. I got a hoopa.
I need to start cutting off the excess.
I got a
This one,
hoopa.
and
I
the
know,
photos
right?
are gonna get a
I got a
little
hoopa.
nerve-wracking.
Now the front of the skirt
I
is
keep
going to be
calling
quite
them a
short to
her
show those forelegs,
and
but
a
then I'm
she.
also
I
cutting
keep
off
using
some
a
of
she,
the
her,
excess, which means that some
she,
of the
her
gradient
pronouns.
dye isn't going to be
But
perfectly even. I'm kind of okay with this on the
Hoopa
green
doesn't
layer
have a
because there's
gender.
So much movement. It feels a little bit more organic to me anyway, to have some of that color variation showing through under those orange
Yeah.
areas.
So I've got something kind of
I was-
planned for the hem.
before I
I haven't
moved
tried
my
before, so
moved
this is
house
gonna be a first for
to
me. This stuff
to
here
where
is
I live
called
now,
fan roll. think
I don't want to
it's
dox
called
myself,
membrane tape,
so
but it's essentially like a tightly woven tape that's very
I don't want to
very
dox
thin,
myself.
kind of almost
for-
like horsehair braid. I came across this
Yeah.
while like looking
Confusing,
for
right?
different ways of doing like really tiny hems on things
Confusing,
like
right?
organzas and chiffon to try and make them neat because I
And-
always struggle with that stuff.
And I was trying to
Apparently with this stuff, the
find them
idea is you
everywhere
kind
in my
of, like,
room,
cut off
but
just
they were
the
not
very
even
top
in my
part of
room.
this. So
They were
I
in a
should be able to,
box
like,
in
cut
the
out some of
basement
these threads.
of my old house.
With 4 or 5 of these strands pulled away, it leaves us
I was
a
like,
foam of like little tiny bits of
Papa!
all on one end.
Okay, I've got a nice long strip of the bamboo.
And then
that
I got
the threads, and I've got a little practice
this
piece
one,
of the
right?
silk.
This.
So
Ah!
we're figuring this one out together,
Falcon,
guys.
Falcon,
We
Falcon,
have that
Falcon,
little
Falcon.
foam section facing
There.
towards
I
the
got
edge of my
this
fabric. I'm using
macaw.
the switch to help me line this up and putting my needle down
This
to make
macaw.
sure it's hitting where
And
those
it's
little combs start and not on
this
the
little
ribbon
macaw.
part. And we are just gonna
And it's
sew
my
it
Pirate
on with a
Queen's
lovely little straight stitch. Because
macaw,
the
pet
fan roll
macaw.
tape is so stiff already, it helps stabilize the chiffon below. And
I can't
so
remember
everything
what I
is
named
straight
her.
line. Now that
named
straight stitch is
Willow's
gonna hold that
macaw,
fan roll tape to
but
the fabric
I
just for
know
now, and we're
I
gonna
have.
cut off all the
And then I
excess
got.
on those little combs. Alright,
If
now
you
the
are
fun
really,
part. We are going to
really
turn this fan
familiar
roll
with
tape
Harry
around
Potter,
twice, and that is
in
essentially
the
gonna break the
corner,
fold in this
right
fabric
here,
and hold it exactly
is my
where we need to
Hufflepuff
get
bear.
a lovely straight line out of this hem. And then once again, we are going to sew down a straight stitch.
Oh,
the same way as you would
not.
with any
I'm
roll
pretty
tape,
sure
because
it
we've got the
can
fan
because
roll in
it's.
place, it's holding the
like-
fabric exactly where you
They're
need it.
gonna pull in.
Stretching or puckering, and it's gonna
There goes a
nice
bolt
straight line.
and
Use the magic. When you pull this
a
out,
plate.
because you've got those exposed
Oh shoot, my
parts,
phone's at
this is
15%.
actually gripping onto anything, so you can
If I want to
slowly
keep doing my
pull
live,
the fabric away from this band roll tape now. I was being very
if I
careful
want to
not
keep
pushing
doing my
it,
live,
but you can essentially just pull this
I gotta
straight
charge
out
my
with
phone.
confidence. And
I gotta charge my
it's only
phone.
my first try of this one, but even so, I'd have this tiny.
If I want to keep talking on live, I gotta charge my phone. It's at 15%.
Use the actual skirt, but that definitely works. The aim there is to get that enclosed edge on basically as small a hem as possible and still have it neat. And I think it achieves that.
So with a few tests
That
under my
one, the
belt,
one that I'm in, that is way in the corner that you can't barely see, is
Adding fishing lines to hems like this can just make them a little bit floaty, so we're gonna see how that looks. It did make this a lot more awkward because I had to keep pushing it back in to make sure it was in the stitch line. On that note,
Oh,
I
Sophie's a cat.
underplayed
Sophie the cat.
exactly how frustrating this
It's
whole
Sophie the
process
cat.
was. And let's not forget, I had around 8 to 10 meters to hem.
This
After
one's-
all the wrangling of the fishing
yeah,
line,
she's a
I
cat.
pulled it out because it was kind of giving
I
jellyfish
could
vibes.
probably go grab
That's
one of
not
my
the vibes I wanted.
snow
So about
leopards.
2 meters of that green fabric, I've cut that off
One of
the
my
main
snow
part of the
leopards.
skirt, and I'm cutting out some smaller rectangles
Because
to
it's
turn into sleeves.
easily
Very
to,
important break
it's
from my
easily
sewing projects to show you this little guy.
understandable
He was hanging
to
out outside my window at the time, literally
some
like
off.
half a meter away from my window. And now I feel totally justified procrastinating mowing my lawn. Back to my sleeve pieces, so I've cut out 8 of these shapes. Basically, I'm going to make
I'm trying to find one of my leopards.
sort of layer up
One of my leopards.
just to make them extra full.
Because
As per usual,
here,
this is no
yeah,
problem, just
there's a,
vibes. Now, I was
yeah,
already
it's
enamored
easy
with the
to
band
mix,
roll thing. I wanted to try and
to
see if I
mix
could
them
use the
up,
seams as well as hem. So I've got my 2 pieces of
to
the
mix
sleeve
them,
together that I'm
mix a
sewing
cat,
as I
a
usually would
leopard
with the band roll.
from
But
a
because this is
cat.
2 pieces of fabric, when it comes to turning that band roll around, I'm still turning it around
From a-
the same way.
from a
but my
leopard
2
and a
pieces
cat.
of fabric are folded open.
Yeah, it's easily,
I think
it's
this is the
an
equivalent
easy
of a
mix
flat
up.
felt seam. Sewing people, actually
And the
correct
cat
if I'm
ones
wrong about
are
this.
a little bit
Aside from opening
shorter
the fabric, I'm sewing
than
this down
the,
exactly the same way,
or maybe it's
except
the way I'm
doing
holding
2
it.
straight stitches,
Holding
one
them?
on each edge of that folded seam. I hope that makes sense. Because
Yeah, I was
most of
holding
these
it
top
right here.
stitches on the band roll are
I feel like
being
head
stitched
shapes
on
are
that
different.
front section and not the woven ribbon section.
Their head
You
shapes
can
are just
still
different.
pull the band roll out the
Yeah,
same way
it's
as
very
you would with the
easy
hem, and you guys,
to,
this is the neatest
mix
seam
them
I
up
have
because they're
ever done.
both
I'm
cats.
sorry for skipping over some of this.
Not
I'm
big.
gonna come back to the sleeves a little bit later. But now it's back to
My
the
neighbors
skirt.
earlier had a
All
party.
of my green parts of this skirt have now been hemmed.
We're having a
Right
party.
next to Pins and Maddie.
But anyway, back to the, to see if the macaw can stand on her own, on her own. My macaw's name, my macaw is a sheep, by the way. And I'm just pointing it here.
I don't know where I got that idea from. Anyway,
Okay.
Chiffon, famously one of
Okay,
the
let's see if you
worst
could sit on your
fabrics to
own.
sew
You
with
can
in
probably.
the history of the universe.
Oh,
Just
my
really
my
thin.
ring
And
light
then
is about to
this
fall.
is an ultra
Yeah,
fine
to answer your
velvet
question,
silk chiffon, and
yeah,
yet these are
she
like
can-
some of the
she
neatest
can sit on her
things I
own.
have ever done in my entire life. On a less positive note,
She can sit on her own.
chiffon is the absolute devil's work. This stuff, I swear to God, you look at it at the slightly wrong angle and it will tear.
And
it will
this
pucker,
one
it
I
will
didn't
just
show
destroy
you
itself.
yet,
And part of the
but
reason
this
why
one
over the last
is
day or so
not like
I
a
was
stuffed
sick,
animal
I
per
haven't
se,
really, like,
but
shown my
she's
face
more
on
of a
the footage,
pillow.
is because I was, like,
One of
dancing
my
on the edge
5th grade
of what was
teacher,
meant to be,
Miss
as the
Singer,
kids say.
gave me
Because
this
even with something
when I was
cool
like
as the band roll
really
technique,
injured
which I
with
wrote
my,
using forever,
cause when I was
this stuff
9,
is paid to work with,
I got
it
ran over
almost
by a
was-
car.
It really did. What I have learned is you have to be so patient and so delicate, and
Got
then
ran
just
over by a
pray
car.
to the cosplay gods and anything else that's listening for everything to go right. So remember how I had for my yellow and orange gradient pieces?
Yeah, I got
6
ran over by a
real
car
big
when I was
rectangles
9.
of fabric that I dyed. Well, basically what I've done so far
Yeah,
is sew
I
all
got
6 of
ran
those
over
together
by a
into
car.
basically just
Yep,
like one
yep.
really, really long,
But here,
really,
this is
really long,
this
really
hand's
long
the van.
rectangle. And I think
Yeah,
this is
it was
around 10 meters or so worth of like
11 years ago.
it's basically just
It
one
was
giant
11 years ago
rectangle.
when it
Now,
happened.
the one good thing about this particular layer is
And
that
then
unlike
pretend
this
this
one,
hand
which
is the
has a
car.
weird up and down
This hand is me.
hemline, this is basically basically
So we're
just gonna
driving
be
down
one
the
big
road,
rectangle.
down.
There's not really much
We're going down the
extra
street.
shaping I
I'm
need
on a
to worry
bike.
about. The bad news is
I'm on a
this
bike.
does mean I have
And
a
then I
tangential
turn. No,
singular
no,
hem to do
no.
on this whole
The car
piece.
turns.
Luckily,
The
I
car
ordered
turns.
a ton of
And then
Bedroll. I'm gonna try
I'm
and make a 10
riding
meter
my
long
bike. I
strip of
don't
this tape, 'cause I
see
wanna
the
make
car
sure my
coming.
giant seam is as
And then it
neat as possible.
turns,
I've gone for a slightly
goes right
thicker
through
fishing
and
line
hits
this
me.
time, which does make it easier because I can actually
Yeah,
feel
now that
the seam in order
yeah,
to
I'm
push
okay
it
now.
onto the edge,
I
making sure it's enclosed within
once
the
in a while I
stitches. So at the
do
point where
once
I
in a great
feel
while
like I've been
I
sewing for
do
like
have
an hour or two.
a
I don't know exactly.
slight
I'm
limp.
really discouraged looking
But
at how much
I'm
I
gonna take a
still
walk.
have to
I'm
go
doing I'll
of
drink
this
water now.
damn giant piece of freaking silk. Oh, I just want it to be done.
Patience is not my strong point, and that took forever. But we're finally at the fun part, so I get to
It
take
wasn't
the
even a
actual,
car.
Tape off.
It wasn't even a car that hit
That's
me.
looking pretty promising.
It was a van.
Like a good press under an
It was a
iron.
van
Just
that
to
hit
straighten
me.
these out a little bit. How's that hanging? Is
And the
next
driver
question. Okay,
tried
this
to
is
blame
what
it on
I
me.
wanted to see. I think that fishing line in there is wonderful because it's not giving jellyfish, but it is just giving that hem, that slight floatiness that I was really after, which is wonderful. I hope it looks this good once I've got it up on a mannequin.
For the front edge of these skirt pieces, I had this great idea to use a strip of horsehair braid, essentially the same way where I'm going to flip it over a few times to enclose that edge. The idea being that the horsehair braid will provide a lot of lovely stability and
It was
create, like, a
probably
nice
because
straight
I
line
was
front. Honestly, even in
whenever I get
hindsight, a
hurt
great
really
idea
bad,
in theory.
when I get hurt really
So
bad,
okay, I've like
I
re-sewed and then cut off and then re-sewn a few times now, both of these edges, and no matter like how carefully I pin it down to make sure
it was a
it's sitting
female.
straight, I always end up
A
with
female
it
driver,
going curly
and
like
she
this.
was
And, man, that's the problem with
get
chiffon,
this.
right?
She was
Is it's like
texting
it's
while
so
driving.
slippery, it's like
Not
you're
even
just
paying
so
attention.
jelly, so trying to
Not
get,
even
like,
paying
force
attention to
a
the
really
road.
straight
Texting
piece of
texting
braid
while driving.
onto this really slippery
That's
piece
highly
that's just
dangerous.
not having it. So I actually think I'm going to ditch the whole
I'm sorry for yelling.
and just go for a standard band roll
I'm sorry for
down the
yelling.
front and just
And
deal with it, because I
she
just don't think this is
sued
working
my
out
family.
for me. Much like with the green layer, I'm just loosely
She
pinning
sued
this onto the
my
mannequin
family
just to
for
make sure that I'm
for
having the
her
color
mistake.
fitting sitting.
For
Alright,
her
so,
mistake.
like, obviously, exact placement I'll worry
Well,
about once I'm sewing it onto some sort of waistband. But in
texting
general, I'm honestly
while driving.
really relieved to get to this point.
Because
I was feeling really
when
bad
I got hit,
before because this was just
yeah.
being such a pain
Yeah.
to sew with, and once I realized that this was chiffon and not organza,
But
I
luckily,
damn, I should've
we
used
won the
organza.
we won
What
the
am I
lawsuit.
doing? I've wasted all this money. I've wasted
Even
all
though
this
it took
time.
a
But, like,
while
on here, I think this was
to
actually
do
the
that.
right choice.
Even though it took a
Organza
while.
would have been very easy to give everything like a really big body,
You
but
get
it's
behind
very
my
crisp.
head.
I wouldn't have had like these lovely soft drapey vibes, which I think just works so well for fern. I think before I put this all onto a waistband, I'm
And-
going to tackle the sleeves. I've done like
And
a
I
little bit
ended
of
up
work on them
being in a
already, but I think I
cast
wanna finish those
since
off, like,
I
while
was
still relatively
for
fractious
4
with the
weeks.
chiffon.
So I missed
Mostly because I think
no,
if I
not 4
break
weeks.
down and then come back to the chiffon,
Yeah, I was
I'm
in a
gonna
cast for
want
4
to
weeks,
not do it.
and I missed
I
4 days of
cut out
school
8 total
because of
little
it.
trumpet sleeve pieces out of my orange
I was
and yellow
almost
fabric,
robbed
except for
of my
the
life
full band roll
that
seam.
day.
I've sewn the
I was
whole
almost
seam
robbed
along the
of
top
my
here.
life.
This seam, it didn't go well.
And
It did
then
not go well. Like,
on
I've
one of
got
the
this
days
weird
I
floppy
was
bit
resting
and I
at
thought it was
home,
a thread tension. And so I was like changing it back and forth, and it seemed
my
to do
teachers,
nothing. Like, these stitches
3 of
were
my
so
teachers
loose. And it was, oh my
came
God,
by
it was
to
driving me
visit
crazy 'cause
to
I'm
see
like,
if I was
have the
okay.
thread tension all the way up to the top and all
Yeah.
the way down, and the threads look the same.
Me too.
And then it turned out that it was the bobbin had come like,
She
you know, like
shouldn't
come across
have-
like this and then comes out. It had come unhooked from
She
there,
shouldn't
just
have
coming
sued us
straight out, which is why the
for
whole
her
thing
mistake.
was so loose. Oh my God, and it took me so long to realize
For
it. So
her
these parts, I'm
mistake.
not going to redo these ones because some of these, like,
But
you can see that the
that's in
threads
the
are
past
a little
now.
bit loose, but only if you're
That's 11 years
sewing
in the
them like
past.
this close. I
But
don't wanna, like,
it took a
lose too
while
much
for us to
actual
win the
length,
case,
but I think
to
I'm
win
gonna,
the
like,
lawsuit.
just cut this
But
seam and redo that seam because it looks so bad. And I'm so,
took a while since
so annoyed
I-
because
since-
I was sewing for so long without realizing
since
what the issue was.
since the
I hate
accident.
chiffon so much. Actually, I can't blame that on chiffon. That is entirely
Since
me
the
not
accident
knowing how
to
to
now.
troubleshoot. Because again, like, no one's ever told me
To a
this,
few
so
years
I
in the
just
past
picked up a sewing
when we
machine
won
and started experimenting. So
the case,
sometimes you
the
just gotta
lawsuit.
muck around until something
but
works,
then
and
we
at least I figured out what the issue was. But if I redo
Luckily, my mom had really good lawyers. Vegas. I sounded southern. There it goes. There's the mispronunciation of my S.
I'm not gonna go buy more silk and crank and dye the whole piece
And
again, and then sew it
I,
together all over again just to get a couple of extra inches of it. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Oh, I would have burned this.
Okay. So that was in the past.
I got this old thing.
Me
and the
too.
bill from the store where I got it.
They could be unfair at times. The court system could be unfair at times.
Guess you're not as close to Verizon.
And then
For a better deal. You don't know that?
yeah. I lived in Green Bay for most of my life. I've moved a lot.
Up to 60% off fall and Halloween
In the
during
past,
Michael's Fall
not the
Haul.
I didn't move that much.
To florals and candles,
But
plus score
I was born in
favorite buy one,
Seymour.
get one free craft pumpkins.
Then I
Shop
moved.
in-store or online
Then
today,
my family
only
moved
at Michael's.
to Green Bay. And then
Okay, so
my
it's
mom,
been a
my
few
brother,
hours.
and I
I'm not gonna lie,
moved
had a little bit of a
to
cry. I know it
Ashtrabadon.
seems kind of silly to cry over seams.
And then
it is very silly. I'm not
now
sorry.
we're
I'm
living
very
here.
emotionally invested in my cosplay.
We lived in
and
Ashtrabadon
honest, like I said
since
before about the skirt, I was so frustrated, and I think this frustration
I was in
has been
like
building up
my
during
senior year of
this
high
project,
school.
And I think also I'm putting a lot of subconscious pressure on myself because
I was in my
I
senior
want
year
to
of high
enter
school,
competitions,
which
so
was like
I'm
2 years ago.
trying to make it as perfect
So now
as
we're living
possible,
here.
but I
We
need
lived
to be
here for like
realistic about my
2 years.
expectations because
Not
I'm
2 years.
working with silk chiffon,
Yeah.
which is a famously hard fabric to work with, and I've never worked with it before.
Because the reason why we left like Green Bay
I have no formal training.
when I
We're
was
working
in
on
like
essentially a beginner's machine, doing techniques that
halfway
I've never
done
before
with 4th grade.
It's just unrealistic and unhealthy that I was
And
even subconsciously
then we moved me
expecting
to
everything to
the
go perfectly. I think
Ashtrabadon
combining
School
that is the
District.
fact that I want to enter this into a competition
Because I got
eventually,
bullied
and I have this,
out
like, image in
of
my head
the
of
out of the
judges
Green Bay
ignoring
district.
every other part of my cosplay and all the ingenuity and multiple techniques to just stare at the seams with like a ruler to measure and be like, oh, there's no points for you. These
That's not
seams
something
are
really
perfect."
good, but
So
they're
anyway,
grilling.
I've had a bit of a break.
It might be the cookies I have in here.
Snacks. I've got my tea now. I went on a stupid walk for my stupid mental health, and I'm feeling a little bit more well-rounded. I'm kind of glad that I got that emotion out, though. I think it had been building up for a little while. Also, I ran the iron over the seams, and it definitely looks a lot better now. And honestly, like, nobody's gonna be looking
I'm
at it
in
right
Glacier all day today.
Finish off my tea, maybe do some gaming for a little
I'm
bit,
in
and then I'm
Glacier
just gonna
all day
smash out the
today.
rest of these little sleeve pieces. Okay,
I was. I was in Glacier
yellow pieces,
all day
and I want to
today.
attach them together relatively close to the top, just to make sure that they
Just like
stay
I was in the
relatively
on the
even.
12th
And my thoughts are to take these two
of July.
seams and essentially line them up, and then
Doesn't mean I was in
slowly
Glacier
like here down the seam, so that essentially I'm
a
disguising
while
any
through
extra
that.
seams and stitches
Then to
together
now.
in an existing stitch
Oh,
line anyway.
it's
So now I have two double-up sleeves for each
6:46.
arm, one of them with a double
And
layer of
I
orange
started
and one
getting
with a
ready
layer of green. I'm
at
gonna
7,
shove the green layer into the orange and yellow
and I
layer
didn't
and just
get
sort of
into
try and
Glacier
line it up so
until
that those
almost 8.
ends are roughly at the same point. To make
Yeah.
up for the fact that these sleeves
That
are
is
slightly
long.
shorter than I expected, I've just sort of
Till
sewn
now.
them together at roughly where the
So I'm an hour ahead of you.
In every project
Okay.
that I do, there's always like a second win moment where I feel motivated again. And I think this is it.
One of my
because the
friends
sleeves
go
look
to
pretty fantastic.
Colorado
So
State,
the main thing I wanted
but
to do was try and
she's
get all of
online.
this fullness
She goes
here,
to
because
college
these
online.
art, they defy gravity, right? Her hands are like this,
I
and
believe
these
she
little
goes to
ruffles
college
going on.
online.
Yeah,
I'm
how
not
does
sure.
that work? Anyway, what
Yeah,
I've
she
done
goes to
try
college
to
online
get
because
some
she's
of
still
that
living
happening is I
in
made these green
believe
sections
Ashtrabadon.
slightly wider than
Yeah.
the yellow section.
Yeah,
so that
Ashtrabadon.
it kind of is forced to
And-
bunch up a little bit in here to kind of create an extra ruffle. So that's how that works. Looks really lovely from
She,
this angle here. Does look a little bit awkward
but
here.
anyway.
Like I could have made this all one piece. It was just easier making a
What was I
separate
saying
tube.
earlier
But remember
before
that this area here is
I
going
said
to be
I'm
covered
in
up
Glacier
with
all
the
day
paper
today?
scarf. So you're not actually
I
going to
can't
see this
exactly
little
remember.
section. It just really has to be there to hold everything else in place. So with
With the sleeves
Come on,
done,
Brie.
I'm actually going to make
Think.
that little spiral piece before I start to sew the rest of the skirt together, just because I kind of just need a break from that.
Knowing full well this was going out of the frying pan
Think.
and into
Come
the
on,
fire,
think.
I just started
Friggin'
experimenting
think. Come
with
on.
different curved and spiral shapes out of paper to try and create like a paper
Oh, right.
version of
Right.
this that I was happy with before
I got bullied out
purchasing any
of
expensive fabric. And this whole
the Green
thing
Bay
was
School
just
District
trial and error,
halfway
trying different
through
shapes, seeing how much curve, how much spiral
halfway
I needed to give each
through,
piece, what kind of size I needed for each piece. With the help
4th
of
grade.
some hot glue, you just
And then I
hold it in
moved
place until I
school
was happy with the
districts
shape. This took an
halfway
entire
through,
afternoon, well into
halfway
the
through
night.
a
I'm
school
not sure if
dis-
it's
a
good
school
or
day,
bad thing. I've
and had the
never
rest of
made
the day
a shape
off
like this
that
before,
day
but it was just slowly building up until I was happy with the rough shape.
Okay, good morning.
Until-
I stayed up past midnight making this, and honestly, it looks kind of
If you
cool.
were
I wanted
hearing
to
talking
make
from
basically
outside,
like a paper pattern
outside in
of
my
zigzag
hallway,
printed
that was my mom.
absolute monstrosity
But anyway.
on her skirt. And I think this is pretty much nailing the shape. Like I've tried to
But
match
anyway,
every single little
back to what I
curve
was
and
saying.
shape on it. Why do they draw it like that? All right, thinking
But
about
anyway.
how I'm going to try and get my chiffon into that shape.
And then
First things that come
I
to mind
moved to
are
the shop.
hanging boards and starching the heck out of it. I did a little practice run.
Okay.
Of this, which is literally just some scrap chiffon off cut.
But you had fun, right?
A little bit of Mod Podge. As you can see,
But you had
it
fun,
does
right?
ruin the texture of the chiffon and makes it look like it's permanently wet even when it's dry. So I don't think that option is going to work, although it does hold its shape really nicely. So I have a couple of
Oh my
different
God.
kinds of starch
Yeah.
products and fabric
By
stickers
2
that are gonna
girls.
come in the mail, but all of
By
them I
2
had to
girls.
order overseas. I couldn't find any here in Australia.
By 2
So
girls
I'm gonna set the
who
little
every
decorative spiral
day
piece aside for now
at
and
recess
just treat it as
would
like a
take my
natural stopping
only
point,
friend
and that
away
just might be
from
like
me.
in a future video or something. So
And
thinking
then
about how to attach it, I
after
wanted to be
school
something like
was
wrap
over,
around
they
me
would
and
find
clasp
make their
and
way to
somehow
find
approach
me,
like a belt, but I do want it to be relatively
make time in their
low
day
profile because
to
it's
find
gonna
me
be
and call me
under
loser.
water and sturdy enough not to come undone. So I bought some bras.
Even though I did
Because
nothing
I'm actually
to
going
them.
to nick the
Just
little bra
existing.
hooks off the back of these because of course bras are designed to be low profile
Just
under
existing.
clothing, and they're not going to come undone. Usually this is the kind of thing I would go to an op shop for. That's food
And
stores
then
for my Americans. But,
in
like,
the-
cheapest bra I could find was $12.
in
These are Kmart bras. The most
middle
expensive
school-
one was $4. I try not to do fast fashion, but I can't justify spending $12 a bra just to nick the bra hooks off the back. Anyway, we're gonna nick the hooks off this one, and a lot of the extra cups and straps I'll keep for something. I
In
really
middle
love finding
school,
ways
like
for
in
things.
7th
So these
grade,
hook sections are
I
just
believe,
being sewn directly onto a piece of
I
elastic
found my love for
roughly the same
dance.
width, and that is all there is to it.
I
to
found my
attach
love
this
for
one.
dance.
I have no idea
And-
why we don't use this method to attach tons of different
And then
waistbands
I,
and skirts.
um,
I've now got 3 of these little waistbands ready to rumble, and I'm hoping eventually I can stagger where they
And then
sit
I made
against my skin
a heck
under the
ton of
corset,
friends
so I
because
won't have
of
any big
my
visible lines showing through. Now, I'd love to
teammates,
show
my
you
dance
how I sewed
teammates.
the green skirt onto the first waistband, but
And then I was
unfortunately,
on
all of that
the
footage,
Ashrabanon
so
dance,
sorry,
the
that part is
Ashrabanon,
skipped.
the Jaguar
so you have a
Junior,
second layer of skirt now fully waistbanded,
Jaguar
I guess.
Junior
So
dance
that
team
second layer of elastic just helps kind of like seal in
for
that raw edge,
7th
and it does
7th
have, like, an
to 8th
elastic
grade.
stitch so that there is still
And then
some
I
stretch
tried
there. So
to,
what
I
I've done
tried
to
out
the
for
back
my
now
high
is,
school
for
team,
starters, I've done
but
like
I
a
didn't
nice
make
band
it.
roll hem
So
on
I
this
went
exposed
to
edge, and right in the middle of that,
this
I've
nice-
put on one of these hooks just with
this
some
nice
hand
dance
stitching,
studio
which means essentially when these little
in
bra
Howard,
hook things
in Howard,
are hooked
Grim-
together,
in
I
Howard,
can
Wisconsin.
use this little hook
And
here,
it,
chuck
the
it onto
place
one of
is
these,
called
just to basically
Power Up
pull up
Dance.
all of that leftover
The
fabric
reason why I
that,
went
like,
there
creates the slack
to
in the
dance,
back.
to
That
continue
way
my
it
dance
pulls up
journey,
this fabric
was
and
because my
stops there
cousin
being, like, any uneven
dances
hem
there.
right at the bottom here. And these little loopy
And then my
bits are just
cousin
gonna touch
dances
the
there.
corset anyway, so yeah. So you
And then I
guys,
made
like to think of
a
myself
heck
as,
ton of
like,
more
you know, a bit of a
friends.
smart lady. I've got a
A
bit
heck
of a
ton of
brain
more
going on.
friends
I'm pretty good at problem solving sometimes. Sometimes I do some really
at Power
stupid
Dance.
things that have a very obvious solution. Like I've gone to all this effort of having this little hook.
And then
thing
I
down,
graduate.
all
Then
this
I
stuff. I've gone to all this
graduated,
effort of having, like,
and then I
a
haven't
waist
been
that can go
bullied
around rather than
since
me pulling up.
moving
And then I've, like,
to
sewn one solid
to
circle
Valley
piece
View,
around here,
which
and
was is
realistically,
the Ashrabanon
obvious
School
thing
District's
is to split
is
this
one of the
whole
2
thing down the
Ashrabanon
back
School
so that I
Districts
can literally
elementary
put it
schools.
around without pulling it up over my head
The
or,
reason
like,
why I went to
underneath.
Valley
I
View
don't know why
was
that
because it
didn't
was
work
close
for
by
me,
to
and
where I
just went
lived.
ahead and did
To
this
where I
thing,
live.
which is, like, not
to
a
where
bad
I
idea,
lived.
but it's just so unnecessary. I think
Lived in the
splitting
pretense.
skirt down the middle at the
'Cause
back
I
here
could
is
just
an
walk
excellent
there.
idea for future
Charlotte to worry about. I think I don't want to touch this layer.
I
for
did
now.
a lot
I
in
just
my
wanna get the
video,
whole
my
skirt
short
together
videos.
and functioning, and then future
I
Charlotte
did
can
a
worry
lot
about
in
those other bits.
my short
Another
videos.
round pinning the fabric to the waistband, and you can see this
Oh, I
beauty
did.
tone
My
is a lot
favorite
softer
dance
because I
style
think all
would
the
have
ori
to
pieces
be
are really
jazz,
hot
because
wash
I've
to
been
soften
doing
that
it
color a
since
little bit. I
7th
basically
grade.
laid this all out on the
Then
floor.
stopped
Now
in
that I've got,
8th
like,
grade
one side cut to what
because we did
height I need
kick.
it, so that essentially
And then I
I
went
can
back to
cut
doing
off
jazz
all the excess in a straight line,
in
so no
9th
matter
grade
what,
when I
it's
moved
the
when I went to
right
power
height for me to
dance.
sew onto the waistband, and it's all an even height. Okay, with
When I
my
went to power
giant
dance.
10-meter long rectangular fabric now on the
And I
same
only did
height,
kick
I'm
one
repinning this
time.
one to the
One
waistband, and I did
time
actually
through my
find
dance
it
journey.
was easier to sew together
And
some of these gathers. I've also
yeah,
concentrated the
and I
gather
found my
fabric
confidence
at the front and
through
sides of this
dance.
one, and less so at the back.
So the skirt is like 90% done, and it's just kind of looming
Through dance.
over my
Yeah.
shoulder back there in the background. I'm gonna leave it before I attach the hip swags. As
Hey,
like a
Clover!
last option, just because like I can tell I'm getting so frustrated with this.
Oh,
thing.
me
I
too.
never want to
My
touch
first
the
one
again.
was
I
to
can
a
tell you that
song
much.
by
To give myself
Lizzo.
a bit of a break mentally, I've
My
been
first
working
one
on
was
that little
by a
fractal
song by
spiral
Lizzo.
piece.
Now, I fully
And
expected
that
to
one
make this spiral piece
was,
for another video, but I remembered I had this piece of silk taffeta that I
and
bought
that
from
one
Ulta.
was
It just like a sample piece, but it was just not the right thickness. But perfect
Boys
for
by
this.
Lizzo.
So I've got some ultra hold heat and bond
And
ironed onto one side. It's like a
I
double-sided adhesive. On the
I
other, I'm ironing down
still
some
do
white
dance,
organza. This
but
combination
not
of
through the studio
materials
anymore
means that it's going
because
to be stiff enough to hold its shape,
I
thin enough that it's
wanted to
gonna
do
hold some nice crisp folds. And the heat and bond basically seals the fibers in the silk so that you don't have to worry about fraying on the edges. So I had to
at a studio you can do it at any age.
so that I could use these
I just
individual shapes as my pattern pieces on my
I just
silk heat and
started
bond
doing
amalgamation.
dances like
This
seventh
exact
in 7th
combination of
grade.
materials also ended up with a consistency
I wish I
not
could
far
put
from
like
paper,
a
so I was able to
background
just
on my
manually fold
on
these
my
to quite a great
on
degree.
here,
I
but I
just let it
can't.
iron over it with
I
very
don't
low
know
heat
why
and
they
high
got rid
pressure.
of it.
Reactivated the heat and bond just
I don't
a
know
little,
why
which
they got rid of
basically
it.
means that it's gonna kind of hold these folds really well. Given I only had a very small
I don't know
piece
why
of
they
silk
got
for
rid
this
of
project, I
the
had to use some smaller
green
pieces
screen
and like glue
effect.
them together to create that larger pattern. For a nice steady base, I've also got some scrap dupioni,
That was
which I have heat and bonded
such
to
a
itself. Basically, so I've got
long
like a
time
nice
for me
sturdy
to talk.
circle piece that I can attach all of the spiral pieces to hold its shape. I used a combination of fabric glue and stitching it to the base here, which was harder than I thought. I think just because
That's
the
okay.
is going through
That's
several
okay,
different layers
Clover.
of silk and the heat and bond,
Alright.
it just became a bit of a pain in the butt, but we got there in the end.
So far, this is working absolutely beautifully. I really love the fact
You are
that it's,
welcome,
like, just the
Jess.
slightest
You
bit
are welcome.
translucent, which kind of makes it feel like it's gonna be
Have a
somewhere
good rest
between
of your
the,
day,
like,
night,
close
whatever.
sheerness of the silk chiffon and like the crispness of the silk.
I
dupe
might
on
be
the
getting
top,
out
of
of
course,
Glacier
later.
After wrestling with
soon,
the fabric glue for a
not
while,
now,
I did find that hot
because
glue,
I've
which
been
is a
in
far
Glacier
better
all
solution
day.
to get these in place nice and
Been in
quickly and
Glacier
give it a bit more
all
dimension. All of the
day.
hot glue areas are going to be
Since-
well embedded within the shape, so you're not
since
going to see any
almost
lumpy
8
bits
o'clock
or hot
to
glue
now.
strings.
Okay, this
I
looks
just
fantastic. I'm so happy with how this turned out. That was such a pain to get right though. That was also nerve-wracking because like
Words
in
are
terms
hard.
of what I've got left of that silk,
words are
I
hard.
have this and like these two pieces that
Words
didn't
are
work. And
freaking
apart
hard.
from that, I would have had to have bought some more and wait months
Wow.
because this
Words
stuff
are
came
hard.
up overseas. But we're not done yet because I have to paint this now. So I'm going to airbrush this, and I've got a couple little pieces here left over that I can use as testers because if I stuff this up, I'm going to cry about
Yeah, I
it
might not.
because
I
there's
might
much I can do if I stuff it
get
up.
out of
So I'm just
Glacier
going to hope for the best.
soon.
Now, I'm no expert
Probably
with
like
the airbrush. I think I am
the
slowly
next
getting better.
hour
That said,
or
if you
two
think I'm doing any of
to
this
get-
wrong, please
so I
feel free
can
to tell me.
get out of
I'm
her.
constantly looking to try and improve
Oh.
this aspect. At any
Yes,
point,
I
this is
do,
one
actually.
black orange layer to
Yes,
start
I do,
with.
because I'm
Before
part
applying
of
a
the
detail
LGBTQ
for
plus
much
community.
airbrush paint that I mixed with
Because
a little bit of a
I
blue,
got
just because I didn't want it to sort of
my,
clash against the yellow.
my
Even with this
left
bright
bin moth
pink
pin.
layer, it still dried relatively dark. Same with the orange, so I went back over the orange with
And
a heavier,
my
more opaque paint,
non-binary
back
moth
over
pin.
the purple with a little tiny bit of an iridescent
And plus,
paint
on
mixed in just to
my
give it a texture
feeling,
and then added in a
I got my lesbian
silver
flag.
orange to highlight the ends. And then
Because if you watch my videos,
very, very fine lines of
it's
a
in-
much
it's in the
lighter
background of the majority of all of them.
Just to try and highlight and
It's
define
in the
those
majority.
zigzags. And I like this effect so much, I did the same thing with a very, very light yellow right on the corners at the ends here. And then because I couldn't leave well
I
enough
was
alone,
lesbian
I
since
added
I was
a few streaks of the
in
orange too.
29
This
since
was
2019.
seconds before I spotted that giant splash
Before my
of
dad
paint
died.
down the right. Had a good 10 seconds of panic there before I realized I could just kind of go over it with some
I
of that
miss my dad a
Good
lot.
morning, everyone.
And
So I was
I
up
got,
till like midnight last night, but look at that. Oh, is that not absolutely freaking gorgeous?
Don't mind my hands,
All of those highlights that I did, those little tiny streaks on like the ends, just
in
help really sell the zigzaggy pleating. Oh,
in
the colors in this.
this
I'm
photo
so
right here.
pleased with this.
That's my
To
dad.
show you
That
a friend
was
of mine the
my
concept art for Fern, and she said of this area
stepdad.
that it looks like an
But I
AI
don't
has
call.
tried to
I
draw a
didn't see him
spiral,
as
and
my
I can
stepdad.
totally see it.
I
And
saw
so
him
the
more
fact
of
that, like,
as a
the shape
dad.
that looks so
And then the
weird
two
and
people,
impossible that I've managed to do this to. I'm just
and the two
incredibly
people who
chuffed,
are
guys,
in it
and
with
this
him,
was a really hard
that's my
process,
younger
like, all
brother.
over, so this feels like a
Let me
moment
put
of
my hair out
triumph
of
at
the
the
way.
end of the day. And
That's
that
my younger
has
brother.
given me, never mind second
And
win, we're going for third win
and
because we have one last thing
and that's
today
me.
to do. And God, I hope it's done today because I don't think I can deal with any more of this project.
Oh shoot! Don't mind that.
And the skirt is done. Let's do it.
Try to zoom.
Silk that I've cut into basically a
Stop.
trapezium shape so that they are slightly longer on one edge
Ugh.
than the other.
I can't even zoom out. Come on, there. There you go. I've been having a problem.
One edge is going to hang a lot lower than the other in this beautiful fold.
Okay, so
Hey, look at that! My cat is back. Jordy. Jordy.
Obviously, like this isn't going to be here. It's going to
Jordy.
be some sort of band. That's kind of looks like.
Oh, excuse me.
Ignore this, but I kind of like the crisscrossy vibes going on.
Bug lover.
Something interesting. I can do whatever the heck I like with the back because the concept.
Oh my God! Excuse me.
Doing a cosplay of a thing that
I did not mean to burp like that.
In the final stage of
I'm
this
sorry.
project, my resting bitch face was added full force while I stitched together some of these gathers.
Oh, fuck. I've got like I did the thing where I forgot I was wearing makeup and rub the eye. This is fine.
After I finished gathering up these ends here, I still ran it through the sewing machine just with a zigzag stitch very carefully because there's a lot of fabric
But
layers
now
in here.
I'm
But
just
this is a pretty
keeping here
reinforced
on, so
edge
I'm
now.
just gonna
Those gathers are staying
start getting out of glacier.
Well, that's another broken needle. Didn't think I'd have so many broken needles on a project involved.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of glacier now.
But I guess I'm
I've been in her all day.
The rest of my gathers were sewn together even more carefully after that, pinning these gathers back onto the waistband and once again very carefully sewing them on. No more broken needles this time. I did the exact same with the second round of hip swags just to layer them up for extra fullness.
Okay, this skirt is, well, it's basically done. Everything is like sewn in place. Everything's sitting nicely. I just need to like hand stitch this
There goes my
here
wig.
and then take it off the mannequin and give it a try.
Yeah, I don't actually have.
A bit of starching and we're ready to try this on.
So, bit of a time skip forward because I wanted some time to just go touch.
Yeah, I
the
don't
grass,
have
make
actual
this
white
project a
hair.
little bit,
It's a
come
wig.
back to it for any finishing touches. I touched all of the grass and discovered the two most amazing words: spray on starch. That was 3 words. I meant to say spray starch. Anyway, this stuff. So I got this
Finally, I'm out of the
originally
wig.
for that little spiral piece, but it didn't arrive as.
Oh my God! Now I have a band on my forehead.
And I kind of thought spray starch was gonna actually
Now I have a
like
band
Mod
on my
Podge
forehead.
and glue, like soaking into everything. But I did a little
Now I have a
test on
band
some of my scrap
on my
silk chiffon,
forehead.
and my life was changed forever. Holy heck, you guys! I've never used starch before.
Oh
I had
my
no
God.
idea what it did, but like a light spritz on all of my edges and a good iron, and I have now some of like the tastiest, crispiest, floatiest edges I have ever seen, without losing all of that beautiful swishy motion of the silk chiffon. I think it's about time we tried it all on, don't you?
Taking this cosplay from the mannequin onto my body.
Oh
made
no!
all the
I'm
difference
finally
in
gonna
the
get out
world
of glacier now.
because so
Because
much
I've been in
about
her
what
all
makes
day.
this skirt impressive is all of that beautiful, floaty, swishy movement. I could
I've
finally
been in
envision
glacier
what this
all
is gonna
day.
look like when it's all done. For a makeshift bodice, I just tied a bunch of my
I'm not
scraps
gonna get
of
out of her
around
on
the
camera. I'm
waist,
just
and then it was
gonna
just
get
a
out
case
of
moving around in it,
the
seeing
top
how everything
armor
felt.
pieces.
Everything about this is so light and floaty. I can't believe essentially like 20 to 30
the top
meters worth
armor
of silk
pieces.
feels like absolutely nothing.
I'm gonna
on
get
me.
out
I
of
really
those
had to get a bit of
first.
backyard
I'm not
frolicking
gonna.
just so I could really get a feel for the movement.
Doesn't mean I don't like glacier.
In
It's
several
just
places in my brain.
like
was
being in
so
glacier. I
worth
just
it. Seeing it actually
just-
on me for the first
I'm just starting
time,
to now.
realize I've truly begun this monumental
Oh right,
challenge
I gotta unpin it.
made This
I gotta
honestly
unpin
is
it.
cosplay. I'm not being dramatic. You're being dramatic. Anyway, despite the blood, sweat, and tears that have
There.
already been sacrificed to the cosplay gods, I am immensely happy with how this is looking, and I cannot wait to start on the rest of this cosplay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you got some amusement out of my pain. A huge shout out to my amazing and
Come on.
insanely patient ultimate supporters on Patreon. Artemis, Brian, Dakota, Fluky, Mix Ranvi, Rakishin, Residual Images, Robert Mischief, Tamara,
Doesn't mean I don't
Berlin,
like being
and
English,
Yuri.
or is
And thank you as well to all of these
a
other
lot to have
amazing
on.
Patreon supporters. Hey, you should come and join us over on Patreon. I post previews, work in progress, and some other mini videos and stuff that you can't find anywhere else. And joining there is
Right, I
the
was
best
gonna
way to support
make
me
videos
so I can keep making
like
the
other
most
videos
ambitious
with her,
and
but
ridiculous projects. The link to
I
my
don't
Patreon
mind
is in the
anymore. I
description
don't
below.
actually care
That is
anymore
it for
if
today,
I'm
my
not
dears.
English,
I
or
hope to
if I
see
don't
some of
make
you
it-
at PAX,
make more
and I
videos
can't wait
with
to
her.
see you all in the next video. Bye!
I can keep this on here. Keep these on.
Really well against the leather of the shoe.
Okay, shape's looking good. Color, it's entirely the wrong gold. I have complained so many times before about the fact that every single product comes in a slightly different shade of gold. I swear, you could buy 30 different things, and every single one of them will be a slightly different shade of gold. Just pick a gold! Anyway, that whole aggressive segue is to say that I'm going to give a little bit of fabric paint to these to get them close to every other gold that I have. For that, I've got this color here, which is, can I get it to focus? There we go. It's the Jacquard airbrush color in Solar Gold, I think. It's a really deep honey yellow gold. It's not quite as yellow as
I looked like I was like scared. I was trying to get it over my head.
Jacquard dye as well, and when you mix it
I
together,
was trying to get it over my head.
I want to call it acid gold because it's got that real strong, bright color to it.
And because these paints are designed for fabrics and for airbrushing, they're thin enough that they soak into the fabric a little bit, but should be durable enough to last. I also have regrets about taking off the little gold detail on the side of Sucrose's boots, so I'm basically putting that back on with some vinyl covering a foam dowel. We've got a couple of ugly raw edges on these shoes I want to cover up, so I'm using that same trim that I used on my hat. And yes, that's the
Now I gotta
very
go ask
same
my
trim
mom
that
if she
comes
can help
with
me
a
get the
tiny
back.
little jingle bell on every single point that I had to manually cut off. I could have just used a different trim, but no. Apparently I had my heart set on this exact trim.
I will say, this looks very, very good. Like, I think that looks fantastic. But it also
Yeah, I'm gonna go
looks
ask Mom if she can help me
very,
get the
very
girl.
Christmas elf. In hindsight, it really should have occurred to me that a
Mom?
elf character with a lot
Mom?
of jingle bells, a lot of gold, and things like pointed toes and puffy pants was always going to lean a little bit Christmas elf. I think once the full outfit's on and it's a lot more blue and teal as opposed to just this much gold, it might be okay. For now, I'm going to hold off doing any extra decoration to the shoes until the whole thing's together. That way I can kind of see what it needs. Okay, shoes done. Moving on, I want to just do a lightning round of some thigh-high leggings, which I guess counts as like leg warmers. Anyway, it's going to be a lightning round because this is easy and boring. This is an existing pair of leggings I have, and I literally just want to use this to copy the shape, which is just going to be like from here down, and it's literally just like a really long rectangle that tapers off on one end. So I want to cut exactly that out of this stuff here, which is a cotton, really, really stretchy jersey. What I especially love about this jersey is it does not fray at all. So I don't even need to fully enclose my seams. I can just leave
There we
those
go.
four on the inside
Mom helped
and
me
nobody's
get
gonna
stuff.
know. I did do a little rolled hem at the top just to make it look pretty.
My mom
That
didn't
was
even
the easy
unpin
part.
this. My mom didn't
Actually,
unpin
it's not
that.
that more difficult. It's just going to take longer, but I want to try and get these stripes of a white jersey with this one and just like sew a bunch of those stripes together to make one leg plain and one leg stripy. I don't know if it's going
There.
to look good or work.
I was
We're
able
just
to
gonna
unpin it
find out.
myself. Mother, I wanted to
Good morning,
unpin
my
it,
loves.
not
Thanks for
repin it.
stockings last night. I ended up ditching the stripy pair and now I've just got 2 of these instead. I initially liked the idea of adding a 3rd color into this outfit, but I'm also operating off gut instincts and the vibes are telling me just not to go with the white. So that's going back in my stockings. Today it is time for
Now the shoulder's
after
back.
that, I want a
Being
pair
normal.
of Hopkins pants, also known as Tudor pants, Tudor hose, sassy green
Okay.
I don't know. They're just big and they're puffy, and I'm just gonna do like short versions of them. So on my mood board, I had a couple of versions where they had these floating strips over the puffy bloomers, and I quite like that. I did a little test run this morning, which is literally just like a big old strip of the Dupion that I've sewn together on one end. The problem is it's a little bit too thin and flappy, so I think if it like goes around the pants, it's gonna hang down and loose, and I really want something with a little bit more structure. I don't want to be dealing with these weird flappy flaccid pants. I'm sorry. What I'm trying to say here is I think I want to go for structure rather than a lot of movement. So over the Dupion, we are going to press in an iron-on stabilizer, essentially just to really thicken up this fabric so it's almost the consistency of cardboard. Folding this over, I'm cutting out a long strip, and that strip is getting the edges folded inside as well, kind of like
I'm just taking Glacier off now
I'm giving
because
this a good hard press
I've
to
been
set
in
those
here all day.
edges. And this wooden thing here, that's a tailor's clapper. You can thank my craftsy class for teaching me how the heck to use this. Finally, I am chucking a top stitch right down this open edge to keep everything nice and crisp. See how rigid that is now? You can imagine this on the pants now is gonna hold like a really nice shape. And I have a ton of like really irregular pieces of this satin because they're all offcuts I got secondhand. But I think I'm gonna try and make a ribbon for each of these to go down the middle just for some like color variation, I guess. Especially now that I've decided not to incorporate white, I think I can lean a little bit more into doing different variations of teal, I guess. These little strips of satin are lined with Heat and Bond, which is basically a double-sided iron-on adhesive to make sure it's going to stay
I'm not
put right
taking
in
the
center
full
here. With that
cosplay
secured
off.
in place, I'm still going to add a top stitch down each side because I don't 100% trust the Heat and Bond. Unfortunately for me, my gut instinct also told me that this was the trim that I now had to use on everything, which meant, yes, an awful lot more time cutting out bells. Despite the fact that I started with like 18 meters of this stuff, I think I am gonna need to order more though. Anyway, since I can't fully finish the strip layer, I'm going to at least get the bloomers out the way. For the base bloomers, I'm not even using a pattern. I am just cutting straight into this linen and hoping for the best. In today's lesson of do as I say, not as I do your mock-ups, people. But I have made enough like various kinds of puffy shorts or bloomers before that I felt pretty confident just getting straight into it. So if you are making a regular pair of shorts, this is roughly what your shape would look like. You've got the crotch seams here.
Oh yeah, I
you
can
have
see
one
what
leg like this,
what happened.
You have the other leg exactly the same. For me, because I want these ultra puffy bloomers, it is like way
I was
wider
Glacier all
than it
day,
is.
so I need to
Because I'm
get
gonna
out
gather
of
that
her
all
now.
up at the bottom.
I'm ready to be myself again.
So, which hopefully should give me like a lot of puffy volume through the middle here. A straight stitch down both of those crotch seams.
did hear
Then we're gonna move it
something
so that
pop.
it sits in the middle.
This
For both of
cut
these,
through all the
you can
phone-
already see the
cut
pant
through
legs forming, and I'm gonna sew along this line here. Okay, here we go. Right now, it kind of feels like I overdid it in terms of sizing. That said, I did want them as puffy as possible, so I guess I'll together it all up. We'll see how it looks. This is a straight stitch on the longer setting with no back stitching. You know, I think this is the first time I've ever done a ruffle in any kind of correct way. Usually I would literally just mash it into the machine with like random folds, but with these long tails here, with those long stitch,
I'm
I
ready
think
to be
I can
myself
pull on
again.
one of them, and that starts together it. Yep, there we go. I will admit,
Plus,
I can
Glacier needs
understand why
to
this is
go
like
back
a
to her
better
kingdom.
method for ruffling, but I do kind of miss just mashing it into my machine. Okay, bloomers overall sitting pretty nice. They're a little tight to me right now because I'm wearing like 2 pairs of thermal pants and 2 thermal tops under this top because it's winter in Melbourne. Side note, none of you guys are allowed to scoff at Aussies complaining about cold because our houses are basically glorified tents.
Insulation is just not a thing here. Mini rant over, moving on. I've cut a little bit more of that fabric in a slight curve shape to kind of make up a waistband for these. They've got stabilizer in them as well because I kind of want to encase all of those big thick strips. So it needs to be pretty sturdy here. Fun fact, I had to do this step twice because I've sewn in these strips the first time, forgetting the bloomers need to be sewn in the same time to encase them in that waistband.
The strips are just comically too long right now. Most importantly, I need to put the
just ready
pants
to be
aside and wait
myself
till I
again.
get the rest of that trim to decorate the strips. And hopefully also wait for a
Yeah,
day
my
that's
mom
not
wants
quite
me
as
to be a
biting as
professional
possible,
cosplayer.
because to get, like, a
I
proper
never
fit on
thought I
these,
was here
really
today.
try to
I
bulk
never
it
thought I
out
was
like
here
this.
today that my mom
So,
wants me to be a
I don't wanna
professional
do that
cosplayer.
right now. So I'm gonna put these aside for now, and I'm gonna move on to whatever the heck I'm gonna do with the torso. Hello, my darlings. Welcome to Doublet Day. I'm calling it that because we're kind of making a doublet slash bodice.
I'm just taking Glacier off now. If you're wondering what I'm
I don't know
doing.
exactly what you call it, but I'm gonna call it a doublet. Because
If you're
that
wondering
way
what
I
I'm
can say
doing,
Doublet Day.
I'm just
Side
taking
note,
Glacier
this is
off
the
now.
morning after a massive convention. I went to Oz Comic Con on the weekend, so if I sound a little seedy, that's why. But also, please enjoy my new beanie from Button Fox. Isn't it cute? I'm gonna be living in it all of winter, probably. Anyway, let's get into it.
And I'm gonna be real with you guys, this is the most feral crafting of all the feral crafting in this video. My goal here is literally just
There's
to
the
sketch
leg.
the shapes
The-
onto some calico,
the
not
shin.
even using measurements, just
calf,
kind of
the
roughly
shin down
guessing
here.
from how many of these I've
But I'm not
made in
taking
past
the
for my
the
body.
knee
And I'm
off
just gonna start
because
sewing them together and chopping
I
and
don't want
changing
that
things
moving
until
around.
it works. There is
I don't
no
want that
rhyme or
moving
reason
around
to exactly how
that
I'm
much.
doing this. I think
I
if
don't
you do
want it
trial and
moving
error
around.
enough times, eventually you just get pretty good at the trial part. Finally reaching a mock-up shape that I was happy with, I'm tracing my pieces onto some more of that Dupion
I need
with
to
the
sew those
stabilizer, and a
elastics
second
on.
set of the same
So
shapes
then
out of some old linens
I
and
need to sew
cottons.
those
The
elastics on.
Dupion set of pieces is all
this.
getting sewed together, and so is the cotton linen set. That is going to go over the top, right sides together, so that I can sew both sets along the top line here. That way, turning this inside
I
out
think I
gives
might
me
want to
that
go
cotton linen layer
downstairs and
as a
take another
lining.
shower
Okay,
because
even
I'm
though
sweaty.
this whole Doublet Day section is a bit of a cluster. I can't keep swearing in videos. Cluster heck. I do want to just take a second to explain some stuff about.
Yeah, if
boning,
you're wondering what I'm
because
doing,
putting
I'm just
boning
taking off my
into this
my
doublet, right? I
cosplay.
don't want like a full-on tight.
Just taking the armor off.
waist
I'm
corset. I just kind of want some structure, and so I'm not going for like full-on stainless steel or things like that.
trying to
But
see what
something
my
to take into
bed
use
now
is-
looks
I
like.
don't know who came up with it. I felt
There's all the armor.
Zip ties.
There's all
Just
the armor.
zip ties all the time.
There's all the armor.
Especially if you don't really need
That
it
was
to be
removable.
super
I'm
crazy
not
and
removing this because
Actually, scratch that.
I
If
don't
you
want to
need
be
some
pinning
more
on
heavy-duty
my
zip, you can buy,
my
like, big,
shirt
big,
again.
heavy-duty zip ties. And I've used
Because I
these
got that
in, like,
on
some corsets
when
before, and they work surprisingly well.
I
With this
gotta
doublet
I
that
gotta
I'm
turn my
using
camera off so that I
relatively
could
thin zip ties, just
so
to
then I
kind
could
of hold
take
some structure.
my
Ideally in corsets,
shirts
I
off and
wanna
put
start
my
using this stuff, which looks
my
the same, but it's actually synthetic
tank top
leather
on.
foam. So I assume, therefore, it must be a little bit more sturdy than your zip ties. But I'm starting to ramble. Let's get back into it.
The zip ties are going in between the lining and the Dupion layer, somewhere near the seam, and I'm sewing down either side of them. The other good thing about these zip ties is I'm a little bit less terrified to break a
this
needle.
supposed to be
Combine
better?
that with using a zipper point to get nice and
This is
close,
our
and this
zipper.
was actually so easy to do. The back of my doublet here is going to have corset lacing, so I'm using slightly heavier chain
there we go.
and doing two
Perfect.
strips close together with a little bit of a gap in the middle where the grommet's going to sit.
Speaking of grommets, don't handle the grommet press. My absolute
no,
favorite
no.
cosplay tool I've
There.
ever gotten.
Got
Do
it.
I sound like a broken record talking about this thing in every single video? Yes. Too bad. You're gonna hear me talk about it again.
I will try and keep things brief. Long story short, this thing you can get lots of different sets that go in this section here that presses down. So you can use it to punch holes in pretty much anything. You can use it to press in grommets. You can use it to put in snap fasteners for easy fastenings. You can use it to put in rivets. It's just really cool, alright? Let's punch some holes all the way up this line here and then open
Finally
it up
getting
a
out of
little bit more
Glacier.
with an awl just so I can fit these giant grommets in. On the other
Now
side
I
here, we've
feel
got
like
little washers to put in over those, and then
Me
I'm gonna
again?
use my grommet press to
Now I feel like me
press
again.
the grommets.
Without
My
all the
weirdly
arm- without
enthusiastic
all of the
reliance
armor
on the grommet
on.
press is becoming as regular in these videos as my fragile tape, but look at how neat this is. Once I started lacing it up with some ribbon, I realized I needed some extra boning around these busk areas just to reinforce it and stop it warping.
When I was sewing the boning in, I've accidentally sewn the lacing onto the corset. That
Get a free ride with your buddies. Just use code FIRSTUberFree 2025.
Come on.
Febreze, love your plugins
Bum, bum,
that push
bum,
you
bum,
scent control? Meet the Febreze Plug Scent Booster. Enjoy the same 50
I don't know
days
why
of
this
continuous
did
scent
the
Febreze
bum,
Plug,
bum, 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 bum.
support for flexible placement
Yeah, after I'm done
and
with the
a push
live,
button
I will
for
put
extra
all this
scent.
away.
Febreze Plug Scent Booster.
I don't want to take these off because they're finally.
on brand. On brand. Whoa, John. Off brand.
On brand.
People uses the Colgate Total Allergy Prevention System. It's 15 times more effective at fighting the root cause of many oral health problems. As for the other guy,
Sarah? Good luck.
be dentist ready with Colgate Total.
Hey, get new Little Caesars cheesesteak crazy puff. They're so good, we ran here to tell you.
Thanks, Betty Quan.
We ran here? Try new
We
cheesesteak crazy puffs for $3.99.
ran here.
Caesars is the real deal. Pizza, pizza.
Pita, pita.
That's
I don't know why this said pita,
At my
pita.
big age, I should not be doing that.
There's little Caesar right.
Okay,
Don't.
this is my doublet slash corset slash bodice hybrid thing so far. Everything's sitting pretty neat. It's sitting like very structured. There's a little bit of boning in there. There's some bubbly stitching and puckering here and there, but nothing super noticeable. Some bias bindings left on the bottom here to seal up that edge. And this one is at least structurally complete.
Guys, I fully expected those last steps to be like wham, bam, done. Extra boning, bias binding in, moving on. Sadly, the bias binding that I bought, it's entirely the wrong color. It's this really like foresty green, nothing near a teal. And it's also way too thick. Like putting this over my doublet, you can see it even covers up the very bottom grommet here. And I'm okay with some color variation. You can see I'm already using 2 different types of teals on the bodice. But this is just not quite what I want. I'm feeling stubborn enough that I do not want to drive to
But I'm
a
gonna
shop
put
and
the-
spend more money on a slightly different kind of bias binding. But what I do have is this
Anyway,
stuff here,
look at my.
which is a I cut out a big strip of
Look at
and
my
that stuff. And somewhere in
and
this
my-
room, I have one of those bias tape makers, the little doodad that you pull the fabric through and you iron it to make the bias tape. I don't know where it is at all, so this one I had to kind of clip into place and manually iron down. Was it a pain in the butt? Yes. Is it a little bit of that sunk cost fallacy where it probably would have taken me a little bit less effort just to go to the shops and buy some more bias binding? Also, yes. But we're here now.
Despite using the zip ties, I'm still a little worried about breaking a needle, so I am being extra careful going around those boning pieces.
Additional boning and bias binding now complete. And for anyone who was absolutely mortified by that process, yeah, that is not how you're supposed to use bias binding. There's additional steps you're supposed to do to make sure that it looks neat. And you know we're getting into the feral crafting stage because I've given up on wearing normal clothes and I'm in my dressing gown now. Although that's also just because I checked my electricity bill and I should probably turn off the heating a bit more. Anyway, it's now technically time for the sleeves. Am I going to do the sleeves right now? No, I just don't feel like it right now, so I'm going to skip ahead and do the little ruffly sleeve bits. I did make these when I made the hat, and I don't like them. For starters, as I mentioned before, I'm just not vibing with the white. Secondly, I made the rookie error of making these out of like little circle pieces, so they want to flare out like that. What I should have done is make them out of long rectangles so that the whole thing, even when it's ruffled, wants to stay upwards towards the hand. Hope that makes sense.
Okay, much like the leg warmers, I'm going to make some arm warmers the same way, tracing out on my arm roughly this long tube of fabric to sew together, leaving just a little hole on the side there for my thumb to stick out. We tear away the tearaway stabilizer, we cut off the excess down the side here, turn that
Are
whole
you
thing
freaking
inside out,
kidding me?
done. Arm warmers. For the ruffles,
I have curls!
organza, dupion, and some of the satin from the dressing
I
gown
have-
found for $5 at an op shop. Each of these I folded over and sewn along that fold to
I'm
create
not brushing my hair.
Same
I'm
thing
not
with the
brushing my
top.
hair to get rid
Also
of these
stabilize
curls.
it to keep it nice and stiff. This is going to be my base cup. This time round,
I
I'm
didn't-
reverting back to my feral method for
Look at
ruffles,
that.
which is just
Look at
mashing
that.
the ruffles into the sewing machine as I go. And once the ruffle's the right length,
I'm
that's
not-
getting sewn
I'm
into my
not
base
brushing
piece.
my
I did
hair.
that twice more to get this triple-tiered ruffle.
I'm not gonna
So I
brush my
finished
hair.
off the wrist
I'm not gonna
ruffles
brush my
with some
hair.
gold trim and some jingle bells, and I've sewn the
this.
edges of the ruffles together to create that full circle, except at the wrist here where I've got some press studs. I'll give you one guess as to how I put those in. Guys, I don't even know anymore if it's
Yeah,
actually
I got
collar or if I just
natural curls.
It requires like a
I got natural curls after doing that. Having my hair in that little bun.
While I'm in a complaining mood, my trim has still not arrived. It's been like 2 weeks, and it was supposed to be relatively fast posting.
I did
but
not
that's
expect
what
this.
life is like. Ordering
I had my hair in a
everything.
little bun
If
all
all
day.
goes well, it'll be here early next week. So until then, I can't finish
I
the doublet
got
pants,
curls.
which means no more procrastinating. It's sleeve time. Okay, sleeve plan. I have this like template from a previous project. I guess you call it the sleeve block. Anyway, it's just kind of like the sleeve shape that I know fits as like a really nice big loose sleeve. And what I've done is made that even wider. This is probably overkill. We're gonna find out. But the idea is that I've got a lot of
I was
space
like,
that I can ruffle
wait,
at the top
wait,
and bottom.
those
to
are
hopefully make, like,
curls.
a really nice, like
Those are
bubbly, balloony shape on the
nicely
sleeve.
defined
And I made a ton of these,
curls.
which is more of those strips with the
Even
doobie on.
though
I made this
they
exactly the
are
same way as I did
messy
with the legs,
curls,
except
still
with a little
curls.
bit less stabilizer.
It's not
There's
a
a
messy
little bit more
curls. They're
movement.
still curls.
I'm basically doing the same thing that I've done for my half-finished pants, which is creating that big, ruffly,
Dang.
balloony sleeve, and
I've
that's
been
getting
on
pinned
this
onto the shoulder
for
along with
almost
some of
3
these
hours.
big, long strips that float over the top to see how everything sits. Okay, so
Been doing this all day.
it looks a little silly, but I don't hate
I might
it. I really
have
don't.
trouble
I
getting
think the concept is there. You can see that like the
this-
positioning of these is all a little bit awkward. Like I'm
makeup
gonna have
off,
to think about that,
at least
and
the
the ones
scars.
towards the bottom are gonna have to be like
I have
less
quite
poofed,
initiated
but like
getting those,
these
getting
ones
that
here,
off.
I think that's the vibe I want. I think that's it there. That mock-up sleeve was poplin, so now I feel comfortable cutting it out of my linen stuff. And I fiddled around with the placement of these strips to make sure I'm happy with where everything's sitting a little bit nicer this time round. And that is looking
You're gonna come
so
with me
much
to get
better.
wash my
Look
face.
at that cuff. I finished the sleeve with a satin cuff and some bias buttoning which helps hold the poofiness. Put a pin in both of those. I'll explain a little bit more when I get to the pants.
And we're just going down to the bathroom. Say hi to my mom. Live. Mom. Say hi to my live. I have curls, Mom. Look. I literally have the best. The best.
Alex's 3 times great grandfather.
I don't know why I just said the best. I'm gonna need a hair tie too.
I am going to remake these, put a pin in that, and I'll talk about it later. So, I am still desperately and impatiently waiting for the last of the trim to arrive.
Just having my hair tied so then I can put my hair up and wash my face. Put my makeup off. But first, before I do that, I'm gonna go show my grandma. Grandma! So I got out of Glacier, right? Yeah. So I've been in here all day. Look at my hair.
Beautiful.
They're all it's all curled.
Yeah.
Cause I had it down. I had it in a little bun all day after I was done with my shower, and
Enough to work with?
it was perming my hair the whole day.
Hey, come here. Please.
I'm gonna be going to the bathroom and then washing my face.
I just dropped those on the floor. Can you pick them up for me?
Say hi to my live, Grandma.
Hello.
Oh, but one person. There's just one person in my live right now.
Okay.
I've been live since I got home, basically.
You've been live since you were born. Oh,
No!
I'm teasing you.
Live on YouTube?
I know. I'm just teasing.
It's metal against metal.
Live on YouTube since I got home from PopCon.
Yeah.
Oh my god, can you believe that? Can you believe that? Almost 3 hours. This was almost a 3-hour live. Now I'm going to grab a towel so I can wash my makeup off. Let's just use this one. Hello! I'm just gonna wash my makeup off now. Because I was in my character all day today. Hope I can get the balance. There. Okay, perfect. I don't want to damage these curls. Okay. I don't want to damage these curls. I might damage them. But I'll be right back. Let's go and grab something. I'll just grab something. I was just grabbing my setting spray because it's just water. Yeah, that's probably I should put some soap on my face so then I could get yeah, I would use makeup wipes, but I'm out. But I'm out of makeup wipes now. And I don't have any here anymore. Yeah, that. Oh, right. Just have to do a lot of scrubbing to get this lipstick off of my face. And it looks like it's starting to come off good. Perfect. I don't know why it smelled like that. I'm weird, I know. My face is definitely gonna be stained, like on my eyes, but maybe I should get more soap. Oh, that's coming off easily now. Oh, that's coming off now. Beautifully now. Probably not, that one's not gonna probably come off easily. That is my other one. Luckily, she's my pride and joy. Because she's me and I'm her. And oh, I'm just taking my makeup off. And I have pimples on my face. I have bumps in my face now. Yeah, see? Cosplayers are humans underneath. Cosplayers are just humans underneath. All the stuff that they wear. Now my face is makeup free. Okay. Before I do that, I'm just gonna now just blot my face dry. There. Now I'm just putting the towel away. Okay. Come on. Come on. I didn't ruin my curls. Yeah, that's what it can look like after you were done with a convention. When you're done with a convention, my hair can look like, my hair is normally not wavy. It's normally not wavy. It's just straight, but with a slight wave to it. With a slight wave to it. Grandma?
Yeah.
Now I'm barefaced.
You are beautiful.
Now I'm barefaced.
You are beautiful.
Yeah, I would have took my makeup off with makeup wipes, but I'm out.
Oh. Well, you still look beautiful.
So I use soap and water.
Do you remember that tomorrow we're going to church?
Yes, I know. Yes, I know. I'm going to church.
You have to leave around 9.
Okay.
Focus on the floor.
Bossy. Boss McGee. And I didn't ruin my food.
Very good.
I don't know how to maintain them.
Yeah.
But my hair is usually not this wavy, this curly. My hair is usually straight
Yeah.
with a slight wave to it. Right? My hair is like usually wavy, straight but with a little bit of a wave to it. I'm back now. I'm just heading back upstairs so I could enjoy the rest of my stream and then get off. But I'm not getting off of live yet. Not getting off of live yet. I'm just.
And if you're already using it for your own projects, let me know in the comments what you're working on. Try Melanote yourself and sign up for free using the link in the description below right now. As for me, well, with everything organized to Rumble, let's get into it. So in terms of visuals, we're sticking with a pretty neutral color palette as you saw. The vibes
Hi,
are dusty,
Katie.
faded shadows, soft and wispy. We're going all in on texture. Knitted, frayed, tasseled, tattered. Old and crumbly, but comfortable and homely like a teddy bear worn with age. In terms of symbolism, the Moth Witch as a character, I envisioned as kind of a cross between a fantasy hospice nurse or Charon the ferryman.
Now
or
my
the Reaper
face is
herself.
my.
Appearing when
I'm
those
barefaced
in
now.
her last days need comfort to ease their passing. She chooses moths as her companions as a
Yeah,
symbol
I'm gonna
of
be
gentle decay. Less rot and more something
not
drying
barefaced
up into
on
ash. And not to get too heavy
on the
or
18th,
philosophical, I think I
I'm
am
going to
about way channeling and confronting my own existential dread in this
an event
character.
called
And so
Trunk
I
or
wanted
Treat.
this character to reflect some of the sentiments that soothe.
Yeah, I can
and
see
so she'll
the
have
things
these
I got
aesthetics
from
that
the
feel
con
unnerving
today.
yet comforting. A character of death,
So
yes,
that's
but
why
soft and
you
gentle,
saw
albeit
this.
creepy. A character that represents
That's
some
the
sort of
armor.
peace, a reassurance
This
that
armor
this is
right
the
here
natural way of things.
was
Okay, thank you
all
guys so much for putting up with
Glacier
me waxing poetic
armor.
about the symbolism behind this character and the plan. I think it's about time we got stuck into it. And for that, I am way ahead of you all because I actually started this in September last year and then stopped for ages due to a combination of like health problems, other commitments, and waiting for supplies to arrive. So
I'm gonna
we
be
had
on
to
here until
ask
like
me,
9.
And heads up, this is when I was still using my crappy little phone and no proper
Or just-
recording equipment. So the footage is, well, it is what it is. Honestly, looking back over it, it's just nice to see how much I've improved, even in the space of a year. So, this giant witch hat was the first thing I made. Check out this gigantic straw hat that I've got. This is going to be absolutely perfect for my witch hat base. I think I'm going to keep the straw texture underneath because it's still kind of those beige tones that I want. And I'm going to like fabric all this up into a giant witch hat. Maybe not with the point, I might just keep it low like this. I haven't decided yet. I'll see what looks good. So to cover up the straw hat, I have just stretched across this grey jersey fabric.
Yeah, even though I'm 20 years old, I still sleep with stuffed animals.
Out of this jersey and sewed on some stabilizer
I
because
still
this
sleep
is
with
going to be
a
the
stuffed
crown of the
animal.
hat, so I wanted to have a bit of structure.
Yeah.
Folding this piece in half,
I'm
right
letting
sides
my inner
together, and
child
sewing down that
dictate
line to form my cone.
if
I
I
wasn't
sleep with a
aiming
stuffed
for a
animal or
super tall,
not.
pointy hat anyway, so I'm happy with this. It was really nice doing this project, knowing I didn't have to worry about having
remember
lovely
your
finished
name.
edges. I could just zigzag stitch it
Libby.
straight onto the
Libby.
hat. And since I was using beige thread against the grey hat, I just kept going with this one to create some cool
Right, you'll
lines
be in the
around the hat.
background
I
with
know I say
Sophie.
this about every project, but it
You'll be in
really
the
is
background with
just
Sophie
vibing the
until
whole
I'm
way.
done with
I
my
had
live.
this really cool
So it'll be
spidery
like
looking
2
cone
hours.
that I got ages and ages ago, and I just had some leftover
Yeah, I'm
leather
gonna
dye
be getting
from
off of
who knows
here
how long
in
ago.
2
So I'm
hours,
just gonna
so
paint the edge of this one and sew it on.
this
I
is the
just kinda wanted
final
a cool trim around the hat, and so base hat so far looking pretty good.
hour,
Step 2 for me
2
was
hours
modifying this skirt.
of this
Using
live.
a pre-made skirt just
And then
because, like, I
I
have
feel
the
like
perfect
I'm
skirt
gonna
for this.
be
This is one of the
posting
Holy
this
Clothing skirts.
this
Lovely, my
live.
own, no plans, just vibes philosophy. I'm just trimming a bunch of jagged edges into the bottom here, and my plan is to basically like tease the edges a little bit to try and
Oh, I
encourage
am
some of that fraying, which
smelly.
sort of worked. My thoughts are to basically layer up different ways of distress
First time I ever tried coffee stain.
Alright, I'm back.
Anyway, I'm using an existing wrap top as like a bit
It
of
was
a
really
guide
smelly.
to try and help
And
me
I
figure
was-
out my patterns, along with draping,
here.
which from my understanding is basically just pinning things to a mannequin to try and get the right shape you want. This is your daily reminder that I have no idea what I'm doing at any given moment. My entire life is trial and error, and once you've done enough errors, you just start to be pretty good at trialing things. Once I had a vague idea of my patterns, I'm just sewing all these pieces together. I did do some finishing
Yeah,
and
my day
reinforcing
was a
stitches
lot
on the seams
was
here
long
because that is gonna hold the
because
top together. So you
I
can't
got
really
up
have
at
those ones
6.
free. And much like
I was
the
going to
hat,
take a
I
shower
started
at
to do some
6,
zigzag stitching and
but
satin stitching,
I
this time in gray against
but
the
it was
beige,
still
just
dark
really for some
out
extra
when I
texture
got
and
up
details.
at
Okay, so
6.
the top is done, and I love this.
When I got
love
up
the, like, muzzle
at
texture
6
of the dyeing. I love the
to go
texture
down
that
to
these,
take a
like,
shower,
random little,
but
satin stitch lines
I waited
give.
until
It
7
definitely gives
to
me,
go down
like,
and take a
insect
shower,
wing vibes.
and
with the leftover linen
and then
pieces,
I
basically
got
just sewed them
into
all into one big
Glacier,
strip with, like, some of those frayed
which was
edges
all
showing on
this,
the outside. I figured it would make a nice textured
which
belt.
was all of
And
that.
it was a smart move because I actually love these. I have a
Armor
love-hate
pieces,
relationship
all
with
those armor
airbrushing. I
pieces,
love the effect, but I constantly have
and
issues with blockage. See that
and
tiny
I was
cube
like,
on the bottom right? That was the
I've
compressor
learned my
I was using,
lesson.
so now you might realize why I
I've
was
learned a
having
lesson.
issues. Don't worry, the airbrush
While putting
retention
those
arc
on.
is coming later in this video.
I need to be
I also had a
standing
ton of
to
feathers,
put those
beads,
on
and
in the
yarn
right
left over
way.
from previous
Right way.
projects, so I'm making
The
a couple
right
of hanging
way.
bits just for decoration too.
This was, I think, the first time I have done any knitting in like over a decade.
Oh, I'm good.
These bits are all just various bits of braided yarn, as you
And
can see. But honestly,
and I'm from Green Bay. I do not want to specify where I live. It's safer if you don't know exactly where I live because I don't want to be doxxed. And I don't want to.
Well, you can't have a moth wedge without
Want to be
moths.
Now I knew I
stalked.
wanted a lot of moths, and I was not
But
about to hand paint
I,
or hand draw them. So I got some decent quality photos printed, cut them out, and glued them
Yeah,
back to
so
back.
I'm a
Then I need to
cosplayer.
seal them so they're not going to disintegrate in the rain.
I'm a
So I've got
cosplayer,
some matte Mod Podge.
and
This took
plus
ages
here,
because I made so
this is
many
all the
dots for
armor
this. Of
for
course,
my
I had to
character
make sure I
Glacier,
got all the edges as well, and then once
and
it
I
was
was
dry, I had to do the
Glacier
other side as well.
all
For the body
day
of the moth,
today.
I've literally got a
So I
tiny
went
piece
to
of
a
faux fur
convention.
that I am hot gluing together. And then I hooked
Because
this
I
piece
went to a
straight to the
convention
wings. For
today.
my fuzzy little moth antenna, I
And-
have no shortage of feathers.
and
so
it was
I
a
cut
very
some of these
small
pheasant
convention,
feathers into a sort of
and
point, and then just glued it straight into the fur.
it was a
And
small
that is a pretty
convention,
decent-looking
and
moth, if I do say so myself.
it was just a small
So this is
convention.
making these, a lot of them have like
Just at
names, but I'm gonna
I'm
put
sorry
in
if
there
I'm
because I've
repeating
got some
myself
fans.
multiple
You know,
times.
you may have spotted my
But-
little fuzzy friend here sitting in the back of my videos for the past year.
Welcome
I've been so
to-
impatient to tell you about
the
him,
kingdom.
and from some of the
Welcome to the
comments,
kingdom.
You guys have been impatient to hear about him too. So
'Cause
here's how I made
here,
my Witch's Companion, my
on my
giant
channel,
Okay, so I got
you
this
are
really
considered,
cool,
if you subscribe, you are considered
off Amazon. I thought it'd be really cool to make a
um,
giant moth out of that's gonna
a
sit
brave
on my
warrior.
couch. But I didn't read the listing fully because
Yeah, that's what I named my subscribers. Brave warriors.
And you can't turn on the music. Okay.
My
but
brave
you can
warriors.
press it a second time to turn that off. So I guess anytime I want the moth to be flapping, I just have to hit it twice really hard so nobody has to be subjected to that. So after wrestling with this for a bit, we've got the case.
You are welcome.
So now I know that this is the mode that controls
I
the
post
wings,
more
and this
shorts,
here is the
short form
speaker.
videos
I don't really want to
rather
around and
than
try
long
to, like, cut any wires
videos
or anything like that because I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to
than long.
electronics. I have no
Because
idea
I
how
just
speakers
find
work, but I
that
ripped this
creating
off
shorts,
and like it
YouTube
works.
shorts,
There's no freaking sound anymore. Thank God.
So I'm chucking together a cone of upholstery foam,
Once you have
gluing
time to
it
come
around
online,
the base of these fairy wings to basically
not actually
elongate
sure.
the body
I
a little
just
bit. I had just enough left of this foam to make a head as
I
well.
just go
Next,
live
I'm
whenever
hot
I
gluing
feel
some
like
faux
it.
fur over the head and the body,
Could be,
making
like,
sure the faux fur
spontaneously.
direction was all facing the same way. For the legs, I used
I
some
don't
armature
know.
wire to create the
I-
shape, bulking up the legs using a little bit of tape, and then wrapping
Today
them in the
was
same
crazy
faux
for
fur.
me.
And for the eyes, I just sculpted some pieces
Today
of
was
foam
crazy.
plate.
Okay, so this guy is looking fantastic. Like, look
Seriously,
at
it
these
was.
little fuzzy leggies and his little moth.
I woke up at
paws. I love
6.
this so much. I'm very happy. It is like a little bit spiky.
Took a shower at
but I
7.
think that'll probably be solved
Got
when I
into
get some
Glacier.
wings
Got
on.
into cosplay at
For the
8.
wings, we're ironing some heat and bond.
Got out of cosplay.
Test number 1. I got the wire and a little plastic bit here, and so I'm just hoping that that stays in place when I'm ironing this down. Just gonna kind of
press that out. I guess they're moth wings. They don't have to be super perfect. Moths have weird scaly texture on their wings, right? Kind of go like right along the edge of the wing.
I can't exactly remember my. Oh wait, I got 3 Instagrams.
I'm just cutting out the wing shapes
Yeah,
themselves.
I got
A
3.
quick test run with this one was
I
looking
got
pretty promising. Once the back wings were attached, I did the same
Midnight
sort of
Breeze.
technique
No,
using the heat
no.
blonde satin to create some antenna. I just kind of painted
Lightning
them in with a bit of
Breeze.
beige, and to attach them, I could basically just stab the armature wire
Wing
into
Clan.
the head. I was a little bit apprehensive about
FJM
these
Arts
wings because,
slash
like,
Art
drawing
Studio.
and painting aren't really my strong point, so I just
And
took it slow, tried
Sunny Joy
patience,
Massive,
which is not something that
which is
comes
my
naturally to
personal.
me. I was using a lot of that stippling technique where you sort of dot the
I got a
paint on.
personal,
I think I was just trying to
I got
give
an
it some
art,
extra texture and make it feel kind
and
of
I
fuzzy.
got-
But for the record, this was about 2 days, I think, worth of painting. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, though.
All right, little buddy, let's see if those wings
got-
still work, hey?
I got it. Art,
Hey, so I
personal,
guess we're all done. Now, you guys know me by now. This is merely the base.
and
We've got so much more pizzazz to add to this.
my
Starting
fandom.
with these little guys.
My
We're
fans.
gonna get some
My-
upgrades. So I'm pretty sure I remember
my-
having clips
the
like this
first
as a
fandom
kid,
that
because
I
the
was
whole
ever
thing is
in,
that they've got
Warrior
these studs
Cats.
on them, so that like most of the time you move,
Warrior
the
Cats, yeah.
wings kind of quiver and flutter. And
That's
obviously
why
this
the
is supposed
name
to
of
be
my third
butterflies
one
and not moths,
is
and also they're far too
Midnight
bright and shiny
Lightning
for what
Breeze
I've
of
gone
Wing
for.
Clan.
But who's to say that I can't take these existing moth wings and sort of melt them over the
Yeah.
top of these?
So
I
cut
just
the
have
wings
3
off my
because
paper moths and hot glued them
I don't wanna
basically
have
just straight
2.
over the metal. I glued another piece to the underside so the metal was as covered
I'm
as
not
it can be.
in like a
Body of the moth is
romantic
getting glued
relationship.
straight over the metal as well. So this
I'm just
worked
basically
incredibly well. I was
single
expecting to have to
right now,
troubleshoot this a fair bit
but-
more to get it working, but no,
but
it's
just to let you
moving
know
beautifully. It looks great.
that
If I clip this onto myself,
I'm-
I'm still getting some movement and swaying through those wings. I think the degree of
Ah!
movement is going to depend a lot on where I clip it
I
onto
do not want
myself.
to lose
I
you.
can imagine having a couple
Do
of
not
those
wanna
on
lose
my
you.
hat and like fluttering slightly every time I move
I'm-
my head is going to be just
If I can
awesome.
find
And
that
just
sweat,
really
that's
bring
my
this
jacket,
costume to
my
life,
black
which is
jacket
ironic for a character about death.
that I have my
You know what I
pins
mean.
on.
So now I've got a bunch of moths with just like
I
some
have
extra
a bunch of pins
flappiness to
on.
them, I guess. But I'm not done with my flappy moths.
Right
You can
here.
go flappier.
They're right here. Okay.
Nope, that sounded better in my head. Anyway, I bought a bunch of these, which is essentially like a little tiny
I'm
wind-up
in-
toy. So how
I'm-
this works is you wind it up and then
I'm-
elastic band in the middle gets tighter and
I've
tighter
been
and tighter. And now I'm gonna let
lesbian
this go, but
since
I'm just
2019,
gonna-
so I'm only into women.
Get out of my personal space, thank you.
Ah! My
Okay,
banana
so
fell.
maybe if I do this and then
And
I wasn't expecting that to work that
And
well that
a
first time.
non-binary.
Let me see if I can get that
So I
working
use-
again because that was really cool.
don't mind
these
if
aren't gonna be
the
part of
words are upside
costume
down, but it
necessarily,
says
it's gonna be like a
she,
thing that
they.
I can hold in my hand and
But
release.
really,
I think it just be cool
I'm-
for a dramatic effect, honestly.
I have
We have to get rid of
she,
all these
her,
lovely bright
they,
colours.
them.
So I'm removing the elastic band from the middle of each of these, and they're all getting a spray
Then my
of
other
white
one, my
and then
other
a smattering of
pin
either grey or beige. After this,
is
I'm just using a Sharpie to draw on some very rudimentary
Sylveon
So with the
from
spray paint
Pokemon.
and the permanent marker on these, well, they kind of
I
look like
do not
us,
know
like
why I
this.
just said
But
that.
the
Why I
thing
just
is,
said
you're
that.
not gonna really see them like
And I've
this. You're
been
gonna see them like
lesbian
closed in my hand,
since,
and then I'm gonna be releasing them. So all I really
2019.
have to do is
So-
look good while they're
So
fluttering, and for
a
that,
good
all I
majority of my
need
life.
is, like, the
So
basic
going
color
on.
and some crude enough
Wait,
markings that they're
I had my
really
7-year
visible
anniversary of being
while
lesbian.
they're out.
Yeah, I
Now for some
did.
hat touch-ups, and I'm removing some of the
That came
straw
out
from
in
the
August.
here because it was sitting too high
Of-
on my head. I have a brown
No,
fabric-friendly paint
July.
from Jacquard
July.
just to add some extra color to these straps.
That
that
came
go
out
my picture. And I
on
figured
July
since I started this page out, I would
25th
add a little
of
bit more detail back
2019.
into the top too. Honestly, I think I was just having fun painting and didn't want it to stop once I finished.
You
the hat.
too.
And my
You
little moth
too.
body needs some upgrades as well, so I need to cut.
How do you
into this
pronounce your
very
name?
bottom here, and I'm using a beige twill
I have a
tape
hard
that
time
has a
pronouncing
strap. My
names
goal
correctly.
here is to basically thread
So
this
don't.
under the fur all
I
the
have.
way around
I
his
just
body,
have a
hence
hard,
why I'm cutting into the fur a
hard
little
time
bit, just so I
pronouncing
can pull it
names.
all the way around. There was a strap added around his shoulders and then some just around his lower abdomen here. Once he was done with the cosmetic surgery, we're going to glue this fur back down, but my cutting was not great, so there were a couple of little cut marks still visible once he was patched up. So once again, I'm getting out my Jacquard dye and painting a bit of this more fuzzy, shaggy faux fur. This paint is designed for
I'm not trying to be
airbrushing, so
rude,
it
it's
does
just
actually soak in
I have a
quite
hard
well.
time
Once it
pronouncing
was
names.
dried and combed through, it wasn't really very sticky or tacky. I think I was just having so much fun with this paint, I decided to give my moth buddy a little bit glitter eyeliner too, and some cute little socks. Now that my little main piece was fully dry, we're just gluing that on, and now my little buddy's got a trendy new look and a couple of extra little straps to function. I'll show you why I attached the
I can
straps
see
later,
my
but
top-
firstly, I
my
have these
top
wooden
floor.
rings that I got from a $2 shop. Again, we're bringing out that jacquard dye. I don't know, guys. I
No,
think
there's
I'm just
no
obsessed with
sense.
this right
Yeah,
now.
great.
The twill tape that I attached to the moth, I'm just gonna sew through this ring.
Alright,
Yeah, I'm gonna be on here for another 2 hours. I'll be on here for another 2.
Pampers Swaddlers keeps babies dry.
Just trying to put my cosplay awards away. Just trying to put my cosplay awards away. So I don't lose them. We don't lose them. I make crazy faces. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I just make crazy faces.
Good. My concept with the straps is basically to allow for a lot of versatility
So
in
not
how I
in the
carry
men.
him. So for example, if I want him just like sitting on my hand like
That's
this,
just my
I can
preference.
just like
I'm not
grab
in
the
men.
straps, wrap it around
I don't swing towards men.
my palm. So he's just kind of hanging out here and I can hold him like this. If I want to, because he's got wires in his legs, I can kind of like bend them down so it looks more like he's gripping onto my wrist rather than me just like holding him precariously in the air. And then even with his wings going, I can just kind of like hold him there, you know? Or I can sit him on my shoulder like a parrot. So I've got this strap forward. The longer strap is in the back. There it is. So I can thread it through this little loop that I've made and then essentially like tie it off around there and have him sitting here. If that's getting in the way, I can slide him back a little bit like this. And this is definitely giving me Pokemon vibes. So in terms of moths, I think I'm all set. Next, I want to add some base.
There.
Today we're talking about my husband's not gay, and I don't mean that my husband is not gay. I don't think he is, but we're talking about the viral TLC show, My Husband.
While there are thousands of gorgeous K-pop idols debuting every year, netizens believe no one could beat the following names when it comes to their perfectly aligning with a strict criterion of South Korean beauty standards. Of course, it's hard to deny that the beauty standard of South Korea is rather extreme. But on the flip side, it also helps single out the prettiest faces in the industry thanks to its widely accepted benchmark. Number 1, small face Karina and Sullian. If you have been in the K-pop community for long enough, you will certainly know that if one idol is recognized as pretty, their faces must be the size of a fist. While such a feature is not well celebrated in Western discs,
Yeah, I had to get out of Glacier because I was in her all day. It doesn't mean I don't like being Glacier. This is a lot. Her cosplay is just here. I don't know why it keeps disconnecting me and reconnecting me. I don't know why that happened.
Ratio of face, since a small face will pull facial features closer, making them look bigger and more prominent. Among the infinite pool of beautiful idols in the K-pop scene,
I do not know
Karina
why I
and
just
Sullivan
made that
remain
noise.
unbeatable with their unimaginably small faces.
I'm weird.
Until now, there have been
I
countless
honestly
times these
love
two girls took the
this.
internet by storm just for the size of their faces.
This print because of the
Especially when
of
standing
saying
next
I
to other
do.
iconic visuals of K-pop. The striking difference
Now
between
my
Karina
now
and Sullivan's
my,
faces
that
versus
section of my
others
wall
make
is
people
no
wonder
longer
even more about
barren.
whether they were humans or
That
CGI
section of my wall is no longer
utopian
barren.
universes. When Aespa debuted,
What?
Karina
Whoa!
made headlines for her unbelievably
Excuse me.
by the rare quail egg face shape. making her features even more appealing.
It's so
While
much fun.
Winter was implied to be the
I did.
visual through the way SM Entertainment introduced
I was at
girls. It was
not
such a small
KitsNeckCon.
phase and
That
some
was
realistically stunning features of Katana
in
that people kept
July.
questioning if SM Entertainment had selected the
I
wrong
don't know why I
visual
just
this
said
time.
KitsNeckCon.
When aespa came back with girls, Katana stirred up the internet
That's
again
fresh
for
on my
looking
mind
exactly
because I
like a
won
CGI
an
character,
award on that
as her
one.
head to body was too bizarre. Some funnily said that they thought her fan
I don't know why I just made that face.
but as they played the video, they
I'm
quickly
sorry. I
realized that she
don't
simply
mind me.
looked
Don't
like
mind me
that.
when I
In
make
raw
those
photos,
faces.
especially this one, her face stood out so
I just make
ridiculously
weird
small that people
faces
had to question
whenever I
if the
talk.
AirPods
Whenever
were
I talk,
because there was no
I
way
just
they could
talk
be
with my
that
hands
big.
and I make weird faces.
Similarly, Cillian has also made headlines countless times for her improbably
This is a weird
small
habit I
face.
have.
And while everyone had already known she had the tiniest face size in
And-
NMIXX, it wasn't
and I
until
got
she
a
stood in the
lot
same frame
of
with Jung Won-young that people
Halloween
started to go into a
characters on the
frenzy
pipeline.
as her face appeared even smaller than
I was
Jung
gonna
Won-young's.
create a
On
new
Panel
character
that
tonight,
day,
but I
threads
just
discussing her face size all went to top trending, and in the comment
I just
section,
thought against it
netizens kept calling Cillian the queen of Gen
because I'm
4
tired
visual. Later,
and
she went viral again when raw photos of her at Isaac
I'm just
surfaced
tired
on
and
the
I
internet,
don't want to
as
put
her face
anything
size
else
was
on.
literally half of that of an
Good night.
ordinary human. And when she appeared at the airport
I don't want to put
wearing a
anything else
kid-sized
on.
mask, people found it even more mind-blowing as to how an adult's eyes, nose, and lips could fit into such a teeny face. Number 2, long straight legs with noticeable thigh gap, Won-young and Yujin.
I think for my next
Starting as a
character,
beauty trend most
she
popular
might
among
have
teenagers in the
my
States in 2013,
have these on
thigh
her
gap
arms.
being
I don't
dubbed as
know
one of the
yet.
most crucial beauty standards gradually expanded to Asian countries, and South Korea was no exception. However, a bit different from the West, where people started to grow out of the thigh gap trend as the public gradually went into the slim thick appreciation era, the belief that thigh gap is
Yeah,
one of
I'm
the
gonna
most
have
crucial beauty standards quickly gained momentum in South Korea, eventually becoming one of the criterias that female
these
idols
on.
should check to be called pretty. That's why in the K-pop
I'll put
industry,
my
literally all
armor
idols
back
have
on.
thigh gaps, but when netizens are asked to pick the names
Those are
representing
simple to
this
wear
beauty standard, most think
without
of Jung
anything else
Won-young
on
and Yujin
underneath.
right off the bat, because 1, their legs are just surrealistically thin and straight, and 2, they were literally born like that instead of forcing themselves into a harmfully harsh diet to check off the standard. As for Jung Won-young, she has already been famous for her Sailor Moon legs since the very first appearance in Produce 48. As regardless of the dumpling, bunny cheek face, her legs had already been thin and long. When debuting with IVE, she hit the headlines again for the unbelievably thin legs that people had seen only in anime. Her legs were so slender that there was criticism pointing at Jung Won-young all the time, accusing her of implicitly promoting an unhealthy beauty standard to young fans. However, those who have been following
Yeah, I'm
her
just
since
gonna
day one all know that the
wear
belief
these
was
for the rest of
obvious
the
that she
life.
was born that way.
If I
Similar
can
to
get
Jung
them
Won-young,
stay
Yujin was
on,
also
then
blessed with enviably straight and thin legs since she
that's
was a kid.
the goal.
However, it wasn't until most recently when I've made a comeback with I Am that people started to notice how surrealistic Yujin's legs were. In the raw video recorded
You will find every last member of the Yoti Six. I swear.
Yeah, I'm just wearing the armor for Glacier again. I'm not gonna put on the rest of it.
$15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends
I'm not
Friday,
gonna put the rest of it on.
This is what
I'm
you need
tired.
to know now.
First, the big story.
There is breaking news. Have you seen this?
Mm.
Wow. Cool.
I'm not getting off the live yet.
We'll be talking
countless praises for her crazy
That was
slender
in it.
legs, and in the comment section, most agreed that she could have debuted
Even
as
though
a
I'm tired, I'm
professional
not gonna get
model
off the
already,
live.
since her proportion was insane. Not long ago, Yujin also went viral when appearing at the airport in a
I
short
don't know
dress
how many
as her
subscribers
long
I have
slender
now
legs
because
made up such an uncanny body ratio that people couldn't believe they were looking at a real human. Number
I
3, Snow
don't
White
wanna
Skin, Cheryl,
put
and Shuhua. In
anything
K-pop,
else
even when
on.
one idol doesn't check off
I don't
any
mind
beauty
if I
criteria
wear
according to the
these
strict
because they're
standard of South
at least
Korea, they can
armor
still
and
make
I could
headlines for
easily
having
take
an
them off and
extremely
off
fair
and get them on and
complexion.
off.
Explaining such a great preference revolving around white skin from a
And
scientific point of
I,
view, many believed this wasn't a mere result
I was
of the
in
influence
cosplay
of
all day.
multi-billion-dollar skin whitening product companies.
was in
but
cosplay
rather a
all
result of
day,
severe colorism.
and
This dates back centuries
I'm sorry if
back
I'm
to the
talking
prevalence
about
of
the
white
same thing.
supremacy in the era of
I just
European
had so much fun
colonization.
today.
People of lighter
I did.
skin were deemed superior and more powerful than those who were darker, and thus skin color was an implication of social and economic status. As time passed, such an implication has proven to be less and less relevant, as many wealthy people nowadays even go tanning their skin. Still, considering the fact that a fair complexion would help idols pull off literally all types of outfits, the K-pop industry still favors this over olive complexion and often chooses Shuhwa and Chaeyoung as the standard. As for Shuhwa, her complexion is so fair that whenever a list of palest of K-pop was created, she would always be at the top. She actually looked so white that when wearing white, her skin and the outfits would actually blend. Most recently, when Shuhwa dyed her hair blonde, reaction towards her fair complexion exploded even stronger, as it literally seemed like she was carrying a glowing beam on her head 24/7. Similarly, Chaeyoung has also frequently been featured in the list of fairest idols in K-pop, and when she dyed her hair pure black in July last year, everyone naturally went into a frenzy as she looked no different than a real-life version of Snow White. Questionably, Chaeyoung used to think of getting tan skin as she stood out too much when standing next to other members in the thumbnail, but after listening to Leah's advice, she made up her mind to take pride in her own skin. Number 4, 90 angle shoulders. It sees Gia
I don't know
and
what
Stacey's
I'm humming.
Being a
I
trend started
don't
to
know,
take
so
over
don't
the
ask me if
industry
I know
after
what
Jennifer
I'm humming, because I really don't know what I'm humming.
highlighted by the surrealistically transferred shoulders. This is considered one of the hardest trends to check off, as idols need to be either born with such shoulders or take lots of Botox
I
to
think that
relieve
was
the
the
trapezius muscle,
Piano Cat.
which considerably and at first
Something
makes
close to the
people
Piano Cat,
sad,
but not really
enhance
the
their
Piano Cat.
capability to execute moves sharply and neatly. Also, for such an endowment quality, only a few idols in K-pop have this feature
What was
naturally.
that? I'm
And
sorry for
among
swearing.
them, Gia
But
and
what the
Yoon stand
fudge
out
was
as
that
two
about?
salient
What the
Gen 4
fudge?
names that
Yeah, what the fudge
effortlessly
stripes?
slay this trend. Whenever netizens talk about idols with the most perfect shoulders line, Leah's almost always tops the list, and regardless of how much people don't like her for the alleged lacking competency compared to other members, no one could ever deny she is the one to turn all clothes into stylish designs, thanks to the perfectly transverse shoulders. Seemingly, ITZY's coordies are also well aware of Leah's goddess shoulders line, as throughout their debut era, Leah would always appear in off-shoulder or thin strap tops to best flaunt her figure. While not being mentioned as frequently, Yoon's shoulders line is actually just as perfect as Leah. First appearing in the teaser
I don't
photos
think I might be
released
able
by
to
High Up
close this.
Entertainment, she quickly hit the
wait.
headlines for not only the doll-like visual,
I have
but
long
also
ones,
the
too.
shoulders as straight as being carved. Stacey's coordies also seem to be well aware of Yoon's goddess shoulders, as out of the 6 members, Yoon is often picked to wear the most experimental outfit, as they know, regardless of designs,
just
Yoon could
getting
still make
my
everything
stuff
fashionable
together.
with her dreamlike shoulders line. Number
Oh.
5, Slim Hourglass
Oh.
body line. It sees Yuna and aespa's Winter. As idols are expected to be as skinny as possible, since their image on camera would often look 15 kilograms chubbier, netizens still want to see idols, especially females, with defined curves on their figures. That's why in K-pop, especially in Gen 4, where idols bear a heavier burden visual-wise than ever, many have opted for hip pads to achieve such an unattainable beauty standard set by the public. However, there are still idols managing to check off these criteria to the surprise of everyone, and here, I'm talking about Yuna and Winter. As for Yuna, her figure is so unbelievably perfect that before this iconic stage, lots of people had accused her of being obsessed with hip pads, tacitly encouraging young fans to pursue such an unrealistic beauty standard. Plus, since her body line of the debut era looked rather different, netizens had even more reasons to consolidate their assumption. However, after the legendary You Go Girl cover where Yuna casually flaunted her well-rounded hips, her hip pads allegation suddenly vanished into thin air, and people constantly praised her for having the best body line in K-pop. More fortunately for Winter, as she debuted with an inherent slim hourglass figure, netizens have always been saving the most flattering words for her. Only several days into the industry, she had already gone viral for the perfect figure, and as some joked, she must have been destined to become a top idol, as she was already born with the physique of a superstar. Even when raw photos of Winter's daily life moments were posted, they still quickly went viral, as people have barely seen such an idol born with a slim hourglass figure like her. So, are there any other beauty standards that I haven't mentioned? And who do you think would be their representative faces?
Okay, still close stuff.
When I'm choosing cookware, I am not nice to the cookware. I chose Maiden because it's built like no other paint.
Yeah, I can still close it. Okay.
It's finely engineered, and that's why Maiden is in every single one of my restaurants. And I can beat the
Still close the
and it comes back.
thumbtack! This is a safety pin!
I'm Chef Evan Funky, and I only use Maiden.
I got all the armor pieces together. All of the armor pieces together. Now I just have to close the.
Number 1, add in Oh My Girl. Despite having debuted in an act produced by a small agency, WM Entertainment, Addin still managed to get a decent amount of love and attention thanks to the peachy, bubbly visual and the personality as bright
I'm
as
just putting my
Many also praised Addin for having a fit figure
my armor with my getting all my armor together so I don't lose a piece, any pieces of it.
Be nothing but a long-term detrimental hit to both one's mental and physical wellness. During that time, her face was already extremely small, yet thanks to the adorable baby fat, she was referred to as the symbol of the cutest chubby cheeks. Her arms and waist were both petite and lean, and thanks to having a pear-shaped physique, Addin still had hips and looked healthily slender. 1 year ago, when her weight started to garner lots of attention because some said she looked so different from her debut days, her YouTube channel decided to make a video about her weight loss, and while she only had about 78k subscribers, this video amounted to 233k views. In the comment section, many netizens expressed the regret
So that's no longer
as to Addin's
an
drastic
issue.
weight loss, since back in the day, she looked absolutely lively and fit. One remark with up to around 100 likes said she had never found Addin fat in her old figure, and in fact, that's what made Addin stand out most compared to other members. Similar to how Joy
Now I
from
got
Red
those
Velvet has
all.
always stood out for her Coke bottle shaped and
I
slightly
love
type of body
that.
that
Love
not
those
many
three
idols
prints
have
I got
or dare
today.
to have.
I
Addin used
from
to
the
be
con.
extremely well known for
I had
having
so
a
much
slender
fun
upper
at that
figure
con
with
today.
noticeable collarbones, yet her overall body is still fit and healthy. Another said Addin was also
I
the very
think
first and
I
only idol
might
that she didn't want to see shred any pounds. even
start
from her
doing a
debut.
live schedule.
And since her face had already been
A
extremely
schedule
small
for
in
my
the
live
first place, regardless of how
for my
one
live
would often
streams.
look 15 kilograms fatter on camera, many believe she was probably underweight that time. However, similar to how Jung
I
Jae-on
might go
was
live.
bashed for her
I
rather
might
thick
create a
legs,
schedule
although
now.
she was super duper slender with shoulders fitting perfectly into the sharp angular shoulders trend of K-pop, extremely tiny arms, and a waist as slim as ants. Addin was also bashed for her alleged disproportionate physique. That's why eventually Addin decided to shred tons of weight, and back in
I don't want to start doing.
she even made
I
headlines for suddenly looking so bony just within a short period. On
I'm
Korea
gonna
Boo, she
find
was said to
some
look nearly unrecognizable, and
from
in
Comic Con,
some
some other Comic Cons near me.
Addin's chest bones were sticking out like a sore thumb. Netizens said while there were many female idols whose bodies were extremely slender, cases where one's rib bulged out like Addin's was rare. Looking at her, some even found it hard to breathe because the chest bones reminded them of severely malnourished people who could barely function
Sticking
and were always
these off.
When
Right now, I'm when I first got out of Glacier cosplay, I was I was super sweaty because I was wearing a lot of layers.
Side, netizens were all shook to see her body was literally paper thin, and while she wasn't even holding the stomach, her waistline could still fit in one hand. Since adding shredded a dramatic amount of weight in such a short span of time, many expressed their concern, hoping that she hadn't opted for the harmful yo-yo diet. And
Alright,
also
I'm gonna hop off now.
slim as Won Young, though Won Young had always